What's good, y'all? Welcome back to Lit Fam Gang. Now today, bro, we got the most painful fast food deaths ever by the boy A Talking Head. Once again, bro, make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel because he makes these awesome videos where, well, they're awesome, but they have dark undertone because they're always about deaths, you know what I'm saying? But it's very educational and stuff, and to just be aware of these type of things that happen. So without further ado, make sure to grab your popcorn and let's see.
Raise the roof.
Raise the roof.
It was just another Saturday night in Harriman, Utah, a quiet suburb 30 minutes outside Salt Lake City. At a local Domino's, orders
Anybody know that area or live there?
were taken, pizzas were baked, and both customers and employees alike conversed with each other.
Since I'm close.
Wait, is he doing dough on the front counter, bro? You know what I'm saying? No gloves, no nothing. Is it just bare on the damn counter? This does not look sanitary.
Since I'm closing tonight, can I get the ox?
No.
Bro,
The
please.
ox?
No.
Please.
No. Stop asking me. Just shut up and make pizzas.
My ox is so good, man. Just look.
Why does playlist say for the hus? For the hut. What do you mean for the hut? You're literally at Domino's right now. What hus, bro?
Man, just look. I got Lil Poomp,
Lil
6ix9ine, Diddy, and Bebopa.
FBI, check that phone. Check that phone right now, bro. What you mean, bro? He's got like the worst playlist ever, bro.
Bopa, Badoa Booty.
But
I also got
Doa
Uno Miles, man. Just please, dude.
That's the only good artist he has on his phone is Uno Miles, bro. That's like, you know, top artist ever of all time.
I want to be on ox.
Shut up. Your taste sucks. That's why your girl left you. Just make the
Damn.
f***ing pizzas.
However, amidst all the friendly banter, an SUV tangled in a 3-car accident would veer off its course and smash directly into the Domino's pizza. And as if the crash itself wasn't bad enough, it would also rupture a hidden gas line underneath the building.
Wow,
Within
bro.
seconds, fire erupted. Bystanders watched in shock as flames consumed the vehicle.
Dude, that's gotta be like a worst fear of, like, you know what I'm saying, working somewhere, especially if you're on like a busy street and stuff, because this stuff only happens when it's like a big crash like this. If it's like on a main street, people are actually going fast, bro. Usually if you're in like a fast food place or something, it's like, you know, a controlled area, just a parking lot, whatever, where people can't go that fast. But yeah, if you're working and there's like on Main Street, people could swerve into that building. Oh my gosh, bro, that sucks. And the fact that it freaking broke a gas line.
Consumed the vehicle. Inside, 2 people were trapped. That's when 2 courageous strangers risked their lives, pulling the driver and passenger out just minutes before the SUV was swallowed by the fire. As firefighters rushed in, trying to control the blaze, the building exploded.
I don't think you could control it with an axe, but okay.
The blast tore apart the dominoes,
Oh my gosh.
sending debris flying into the night sky and causing significant damage to the businesses next door, a Jimmy John's and a Supercuts. Miraculously, nobody was injured and everybody survived. Even the firefighters standing near the restaurant when it exploded managed to walk away unharmed.
Whoa.
The Domino's, however, was reduced to rubble.
God damn, look, wait, is this a real? So the Domino's was right here in the middle? Oh my God, that's like so close. They're literally neck to neck with each other, bro. I'm super surprised at least one of them didn't get like almost completely taken out.
Reduced to rubble. What had been a neighborhood pizza
God, look at that. Oh my gosh, bro. Yo, that looks so much worse from this angle, bro.
joint became the epicenter of one of Harriman's most destructive accidents.
Wow.
The Mayo incident.
Just one car accident caused this, bro. It literally looks like a natural disaster hit. You know what I'm saying? Like a big ass tornado or earthquake or something. It just completely shattered this building. But no, this was from people. Oh my God, this is not even a main street. Like, what kind of street is this, bro? Why were they going that fast? Were they going in here? Oh my God.
The Hood Pizza joint became the epicenter of one of Harriman's most destructive accidents. The Mayo incident. It was supposed to be just another quiet evening shift at a Subway near downtown Atlanta. The kind of Sunday where the streets slow down and customers trickle in for a late night sandwich. Inside, 2 young employees.
Hey, bro, you got boogers, bro.
Slow down and customers trickle in for
you got a little something on your nose, bro. Like your eyes red and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. You got a little too much tonight.
Night sandwich. Inside, 2 young employees were working, doing their job, making
eating
food,
burgers
and chatting with regulars. As the customers sat...
Yo, low-key, bro, you know what I'm saying? If you guys ever work a fast food job or whatever, you know those like little downtimes you have, there's like not that much customers, wherever you and the coworkers just chilling. Those low-key be the best times, bro.
To enjoy their food, the door smashed open and a very odd-looking man walked up to the counter to order a sandwich. What happened next would quickly turn everybody's night into a complete nightmare. With what seemed like an insignificant and easily resolvable issue, tensions began to rise.
Oh my gosh.
The disagreement, which could have ended with a simple solution, instead festered, and the customer's anger...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna have to scrap after that, bro. I ain't letting a grown-ass man walk in and throw a goddamn sandwich in my face. What the
built up until it boiled over. Words turned into threats. Threats turned into physical exclamations.
Bro.
And before you knew it, the psychopath pulled out a weapon.
Oh
In
my
seconds,
gosh.
Before anyone could react, fate was already sealed. The 26-year-old woman immediately collapsed behind the counter, unfortunately unresponsive. And her 24-year-old co-worker was also terribly struck, but they somehow clung to life.
Bro.
To make it worse, the victim's son was inside the store and
his son was in the store too?
all the horror unfold. Police later arrested the suspect, a 36-year-old man who lived just across the street.
Oh my god.
He was charged with multiple felonies and later booked that same night. Investigators said the entire incident started simply because he thought there was too much mayo on his sandwich.
Are you fucking kidding me? Are you? No. The situation didn't start because of that, chat. The one thing I could say from this situation, bro, is that this is a boiled up, amount of anger and stuff that this guy has just in his regular life, man. Like, no regular person in their right mind that has a fucking brain and like is actually okay in life is gonna act like this, bro. Like, you're going in a fucking fast food place, you're mad because they wouldn't put mayo, and you're arguing to the point where you're starting to make threats, you're starting to yell and get crazy, and then you think it's okay to take out a weapon and shoot someone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Multiple people at that. Like, you're just ready to give your life away at that point, bro. I have no belief that this person is okay mentally. This person is not mentally sane. They're going through stuff at home and stuff, and they're taking it out on anybody that comes in their way, bro. And those type of people are the worst, chat. Like, you do not want to run into those type of people. And like, sometimes I could scope those type of people out, when I was working with customers and stuff, and you just gotta leave those people alone, bro. Just give them what they want and everything. You can't escalate it because, bro, like, you just don't know how far people will take things. That's why I hate like just being involved in conflict or whatever, because like, yeah, you want to stand your ground at the end of the day, but you don't have to take things to a point where it escalates into a fight or whatever, because people are fucking crazy, bro, and they don't fight, bro. They shoot. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time. That's just how it is, especially nowadays with how fucking accessible it is to get a firearm, especially in certain states and stuff. And yeah, bro, like, if I was in one of those states that allowed the, to have a concealed carry and stuff for pretty much everybody, I'm not getting in a fight with nobody, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you can take whatever you want, bro. It is what it is, bro. But just, it's always a good note for thumb is that you want to just stay out of conflict as much as possible, bro, because people are crazy and your life is not worth being taken over some dumb fucking argument or something, bro. Like, it's not worth it.
Wild Wings. It was just after 5:30 p.m. at a Buffalo Wild Wings in Burlington, Massachusetts. The dinner rush was minutes away, and employees were scrambling to prep the floor, the food, and the restaurant.
Ooh,
That's
it looks
when a
good.
simple routine cleaning would escalate into a complete catastrophe.
Bro,
you see,
what?
Earlier that day, a worker had to mop the kitchen floor with a standard acid-based cleaner. Just a little bit later, another worker followed up with more mopping to prepare for the upcoming dinner rush. The only issue
Why is his nose running?
Was that he was using a chlorine bleach product.
Chlorine?
The two chemical cleaners clearly state that they should never be mixed, and the employee had just begun mopping the entire floor, entirely mixing the two. On contact, the chemicals fused into a bubbling green explosion.
What?
They created a dangerous, foaming, toxic mixture that began pumping out lethal gas at high doses. The fumes spread instantly. Employees began coughing, their eyes burning, and their lungs felt like they caught on fire. One by one.
Oh my god, that is so scary, bro. This is another reason, like, when you get hired some places and stuff, especially the places where they actually take you through that onboarding process or whatever, you got to take a whole bunch of like tests and things, and it kind of just shows you things like this, like chemicals that you can't mix together. I think it's called, bro, what is it called, bro? I think it's like a food handler's thing that you have to take, bro, in order to be certified to work somewhere. Damn, what the fuck called, bro? I can't remember what it's called, bro, but it's basically teaches you about things like this so that you don't make these mistakes, and it's always just something to look back to. But damn, bro, oh my gosh, they used two different chemicals. I'm sure it was very unintentional, but still, this sucks for everybody in there, because like now people could literally die and shit.
People ran for the exit, but the floor was already slick with danger. That's when the manager of the building acted fast and grabbed a squeegee. He wasn't thinking about himself. He was only thinking about his team and his customers. He ran out to the floor and began pushing the toxic sludge toward a drain, trying to contain it before more people could get injured.
Gosh.
But unfortunately, the fumes overwhelmed him. His chest tightened, his lungs burned, and within moments he
fuck, bro. And like in fast food places or just restaurants and stuff, like they don't have the equipment to carry the the gas mask or whatever so that they don't get infected or whatever. Oh my gosh, bro. Like, shout out to him. He was trying to, but bro, you just got to get out of there at that point. Like, call a professional and stuff. Everybody evacuate and let's try to get some professionals in here, bro. Like, we can't try to do that ourselves.
Co-workers and bystanders tried desperately to get him outside, but the fumes were too strong. By the time they got to him, it was already too late. 13 people were hospitalized that day, and tragically, the only one who didn't make it out was the manager.
So he's the only one who didn't make it out alive. Damn, bro. Man, RIP to that guy, bro. He was just trying to make things better, but it's freaking, oh my god, just overtook him. It was too strong, bro. That's why like chemicals and stuff, that shit you do not want to fuck with. Like you do not want to get involved with that because that shit will overtake you, bro. It don't matter how strong we think we are, how strong you think your body is. Nah.
The McDonald's incident. It was the early hours of a Sunday morning in Lima, Peru. At a McDonald's in the Pueblo Libre district, the kitchen crew was wrapping up another long, grueling shift. A young 19-year-old woman and her 18-year-old boyfriend were finishing up that night. The two had plans to attend college, and they were both saving up heavily to continue their studies. Unfortunately enough, this night would ensure that they didn't ever see that dream. According to police, the 19-year-old was cleaning a soda machine when it delivered a strong electric shock. Her body jolted violently, not being able to handle the voltage. Gabriel panicked. Desperate to save her, he quickly dropped what he was doing and rushed in to help. But the moment he touched her, the same current began surging through him too.
Damn,
Sadly,
bro.
It immediately finished him. By the time emergency responders arrived, both of the employees were already done for. Reports surfaced that the 19-year-old had complained about being forced to clean equipment without proper gloves or boots, while also complaining of being pushed into 12-hour shifts without adequate safety gear.
Bro, see, like that, you could definitely, you know what I'm saying, blame the company and stuff because, bro, like, especially, it's not, I mean, not the company as a whole, but the management of that said company in that area, chat, because I've been a part of teams and stuff, management, where they just kind of don't give a fuck, and things just happen, bro, that's not supposed to happen because they don't, like, care enough to actually enforce rules or make sure that people are doing things right. And especially when you're young and stuff and you just want a job, whatever, like, they don't care. They're just like, all right, you know, just make us money and, you know, I'm gonna sit my ass here and do whatever, you know what I'm saying? So, like, this is sad because it could have been prevented, bro. Like this was something that was built up because they weren't following safety protocols and then making the workers do stuff that they didn't even want to do because they know it's not safe, and then in turn it literally freaking, you know, kills them, like,
while also complaining of being pushed into 12-hour shifts without adequate safety gear. Tina's Burritos. It was just another night in Vernon, California, a strange industrial pocket just south of downtown Los Angeles, the kind of place with only a couple hundred residents but sprawling with massive factories that keep the city supplied. One of those factories is Tina's Burritos, a plant that's been churning out frozen burritos for over 40 years.
I was just about to ask, why is it called burritos? Like, out of all things, but now it makes sense.
Producing nearly 1 million burritos per day.
I ain't gonna lie though, chat, these burritos are good as hell though. You ever these?
But on this
you ever
night,
had these?
The factory floor turned into the scene of a nightmare.
At
around 9 p.m., a 19-year-old custodian was tasked with tending to the plant's massive meat grinder. The contraption was full with burrito meat and was waiting to be cleaned. And so, as expected to by his job, he began climbing into the inside of the machine to clean it.
Bro.
In this case, the burrito meat grinding machine was not locked,
off.
Nor was it secure. It's still unclear as to whether an item fell and caused the machine to turn on, or if an...
Jesus Christ. So it was off, but it just it got turned on while he was in there, bro. Oh my gosh. How, bro?
Or if an employee decided to try to make another batch of burrito meat. But, unfortunately, while the 19-year-old was inside of the machine cleaning out the meat, he would hear the industrial mechanism slowly power up and lock into place.
Oh, hell no.
The man panicked and shouted for the machine to be turned off, but his cries fell on deaf ears. Once fully turned on, the machine began grinding. His screams echoed across the factory, finally grasping the attention of workers who then rushed to stop the machine.
Damn.
But by the time it finally shut down, there was nothing anyone could do. Paramedics and firefighters arrived, but the scene was already unspeakable. The young man's fate was already sealed.
Bro, that's so sad, bro. Like, what the even happened? Like, how can it just be randomly turned on, bro? Like, I feel like, bro, if someone like has that assignment to go clean out a freaking machine that could be deadly if it's turned on, why is there not somebody watching over him or something? Or somebody near to like make sure that it doesn't get turned on? Like, I don't get that, bro.
Fortunately, he was gone in a way too dreadful to describe. The plant shut down immediately. OSHA investigators arrived, and like similar tragedies before, first responders were faced with the grim task of recovering what was left of his body. The process nearly took an hour for them to complete. Life wasn't always like this. There was a time where we didn't have a Whataburger or McDonald's, but rather just nuts, berries, and whatever else we could find to eat that day.
Right.
Nowadays, you have access to places like these for a quick meal if you're in a rush. Fast food is extremely unhealthy, and you should never make it a habit to eat it. But if you do find yourself at one of the stores, have patience with the employees.
Yes.
It's a grueling industry to work in.
Respect,
With no further ado, have a happy day.
The Batman. On June 28th, 2008,
17-year-old Asia LaShawn Ferguson visited Six Flags Over Georgia with his family and church group. The Batman was an inverted roller coaster where passengers' legs dangled freely below the
Bro, you see, rides like this, I feel like I've been on one ride like this at Knott's Berry Farm. Is it Knott's Berry Farm? Where the hell is it? I think it is there. I'm trying to think right. It might be Knott's Berry Farm, and I can't remember. But that was like the first roller coaster I went where it like literally goes in a loop. But yeah, you're like hanging off. And honestly, the feeling of these type of rides is pretty cool, bro. It almost feels like as if you're flying, you know what I'm saying? Your body's just whipping around and stuff. But at the same time, I feel like this is so dangerous, especially if you're like kind of overweight and stuff and you don't buckle that thing down all the way, bro. And that's the one thing I always tell the people, or always do myself. I make sure that shit clicks. You know what I'm saying? We're not going nowhere until this shit clicks.
Where passengers' legs dangled freely below the track. During his ride, Ferguson's hat flew off his head. After the ride ended, he wanted to retrieve it. The hat had landed in a restricted area.
Oh my gosh. And then he goes there and gets hit, dude. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. If you lose anything during the ride, like, it's GG. Like, it's over. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're gonna try to get it, go tell somebody so that the ride doesn't run, dude.
Roller coaster tracks. Warning signs marked the zone as off limits. Ferguson climbed over 2 6-foot fences to reach the area where his hat had fallen. As he searched below, another train approached on the track above him. The train was traveling at 50 miles per hour. A passenger's dangling foot struck Ferguson in the head. The impact was instant. Ferguson was decapitated. Witnesses saw the collision. The train continued to the station while
like, imagine seeing this, or imagine the one doing it. Like, imagine you're the one that kicked his head and it's not your fault, but just imagine that. Damn, like, you just see his head flying after you kick it. Oh my gosh, bro, that would literally scar me for life. Like, I wouldn't be able to sleep right.
Witnesses saw the collision. The train continued to the station while Ferguson's body lay below. Six Flags temporarily closed the Batman ride. It reopened the following day. The park added security.
Bro, honestly, I wouldn't even go on that shit for just a bad karma, bro. Like, I don't know. I just believe in like stuff. When stuff happens somewhere, I just stay away from that. I don't even want that energy, dude.
Around restricted areas.
But I'm weird.
More warning signs.
I'm weird.
Ferguson's death became one of the most graphic roller coaster fatalities in recent years. The Big Dipper. On May 30th, 1972, a warm Tuesday afternoon in London, schools had just broken up for half-term, and Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster that had been operating since 1951. 3 cars connected by a steel cable. The cable pulled the cars up a steep incline. Then
I know this is just an animation. This looks like some ghetto ass.
3 cars connected.
So they say it was from 1951. Wait, hold on. Let me make sure I'm reading this right.
Schools had just broken up for half-term, and Battersea Fun Fair was packed. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster that had been operating since 1950.
It's been operating since 1951. So how many times have they been, you know, updating it and fixing it to adhere to today's standards?
3 cars connected by a steel cable. The cable pulled the cars up a steep incline. Then gravity did the rest. Around 2:30 p.m., 31 passengers climbed aboard,
31?
Mostly children and teenagers. At the front rode a brakeman whose job was to control the brakes. The train began its climb. Then the haulage.
My nigga, wait, hold on. So somebody just stands up on this? Like there's no seat or nothing? What the hell?
Was to control the brakes. The train began its climb. Then the haulage rope snapped. The train hesitated at the top, then started rolling backwards. The brakeman lunged for the brake lever, but nothing happened. The brake system did not respond. The safety devices that should have stopped a rollback were missing or broken. As the train picked up speed, it hit the curve at the bottom at full speed. The wooden track couldn't handle the force. The first car jumped the rails, smashed through the barrier, and plunged 15 feet. The other 2 cars followed. Passengers were thrown from their seats. When the chaos ended, 5 children were dead, and 13 others were seriously injured. Later,
if you're one of those 13 that got away with that, I know that's got to be the most traumatizing thing. That would make somebody never go on roller coasters again, bro. Like, I'm already kind of wary of roller coasters. Like I said, I'm super big on safety, but at the same time, you can't just not do things. But yeah, bro, the one thing that I always say though is like, if you go to fairs and stuff and the ride even looks a little creaky or looks like it hasn't been worked on in a while, don't go on that shit, bro. Don't go on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just go to like Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm, where they have to make it safe. You know what I'm saying? All the time, they have to be working on it. And yes, things can happen still, but at least it's like less of a risk than like one of these janky ass fairs where they have rides since fucking 1950s, bro.
And 13 others were seriously injured. Later, a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed beneath her feet. She fell to her death.
Oh my gosh. Yo, that had to suck, bro.
13 others were seriously injured. Later, a 15-year-old girl who had survived the crash was standing on a wooden walkway when the platform collapsed.
Like, did she walk back over here or was she already just standing there?
She fell to her death. The subsequent investigation revealed 66 safety violations.
You think?
The rope was in poor condition. Most safety devices were missing or broken.
Bro, okay, when you say safety devices were missing, are you telling me there were some seatbelts that were literally missing? This is why I say don't go on these fair rides, bro. If they look any type of sus, don't do it, bro. Don't do it. It's never worth it.
Safety devices were missing.
Like, bro, if you're missing seatbelts, my nigga, hell no. If I even see a ripped seatbelt or it looks a little damaged, hell no, I'm not doing that.
Investigators also found that employees had been drinking and using drugs while working.
What?
Manager and engineer were later acquitted of manslaughter charges.
Yeah.
The Big Dipper was torn down.
They need to be.
And Battersea Fun Fair closed by 1974.
Wow. This is just a pure example of negligence, bro. Just from the top down, like to the employees and stuff, like drinking and doing drugs and stuff. Like that should be literally, I mean, I'm sure it is legal. That's why they got in trouble. But bro, that shouldn't even be acceptable at all. Like if you see employees drinking and stuff, that should be instantly reported, call the cops or something. Because dude, you're literally operating rides where people's lives can be threatened or not. You know what I'm saying? Like
by 1974, Britain brought fairgrounds under safety laws following the incident. The Shockwave. On August 23rd, 1999, 20-year-old Timothy Fan visited King's Dominion with a friend. The Shockwave was a stand-up roller coaster. Passengers stood upright.
A stand-up roller coaster? Oh my god. That does not sound good, bro.
By shoulder harnesses and waist bars. Fan boarded the six-car train. As the train climbed the lift hill and began its descent, witnesses noticed something wrong. Fan was wiggling and struggling against his restraints.
Oh my gosh.
He managed to work one arm free from the shoulder harness. His body began to contort sideways
what the hell?
as the train gained speed through the course. Near the end of the ride...
Wait, why would he do that though? Why did he try to get out?
The coaster entered a 180-degree curve.
Oh.
The forces acting on Fan's body proved too powerful. He was violently ejected from the train and thrown 40 feet onto a catwalk beside the tracks. Fan died instantly from head trauma. When the train returned to the station, Fan's restraints were still locked. He had deliberately worked himself free during the ride. The Shockwave reopened 3 days later. The mind bender.
Yeah, this one's like kind of all on the kid, bro. Because like, why would you wiggle yourself out? Like, for what reason? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know this ride has a big drop and stuff. Why would you even risk that, dude? That's really dumb, bro. Like, RIP to everybody in this video, but come on, guys. We can't just do things that's gonna automatically put us in danger. You know what I'm saying?
Shockwave reopened 3 days later.
Like, that's not really the ride's fault. I mean, unless the thing wasn't tight enough, then, you know, it's the park's fault and the workers and stuff. But it just looked like he literally wiggled himself free because they said, didn't they say that it was still locked?
He had deliberately worked himself free.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so it was literally still locked. So that means he himself got him out of that, you know, thing and stuff. And it's kind of weird. Like, how are they even able to? But it just depends. Like, some people are skinny and stuff and can slip out and everything. Not everything is gonna be like super tight where it just holds you. Like, that's why they tell you to keep your arms and legs inside things. And there's rules like that because, you know, everybody's body is different and stuff. So that's like pretty much all in the fault of the writer, bro.
On June 14th, 1986, the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta was packed with visitors. The mall housed an indoor amusement park featuring the Mindbender, a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The Mindbender had 4 cars connected in a train. It reached speeds of 60 miles per hour and took passengers through 3 complete loops.
It literally looks like a pencil. Did they purposely build it off of a pencil?
The ride had passed a safety inspection the day before. That evening, Rod Chico and 3 friends climbed into the last car of the train. The train launched and completed the first 2 loops. As it entered the 3rd loop, 4 cap screws in the wheel assembly failed. The last car began to fishtail wildly. The wheel detached from the track. The car derailed completely.
Wow.
The lap bar restraints unlocked, ejecting all 4 passengers 30 feet to the concrete floor below. The train, slowed by the derailment, rolled backwards and crashed into a concrete support pillar. Rescuers found 3 passengers dead. Rod Chico survived, but was critically injured. Both his legs were shattered, along with his ribs, shoulder, pelvis, and lower back. His body was folded in half from the impact. He spent months learning to walk again. The investigation found design flaws.
Well, that would be so traumatizing just to know like you survived and your other friends just died just because you guys wanted to go on a roller coaster and now you're pretty much, you know, I don't know if he was paralyzed for a bit, you know, he has so much damage where he has to relearn how to walk and stuff. Like, this is crazy, bro. And like, it just passed an inspection the last day, so did they not look into it correctly and stuff? Because obviously there was something wrong for fucking screws to pop out and for pretty much the whole ride to fall apart, bro.
Investigation found design flaws in the wheel assembly and inadequate maintenance. The cap screws had worked loose over time. The Mindbender was closed for months while engineers redesigned the system. When it reopened, anti-rollback devices were installed, seatbelts were added, and the train was reduced.
Nigga, there wasn't seatbelts? There wasn't seatbelts in the first place?
Rollback devices were installed, seatbelts were added, and the train was reduced from 4 cars to 3. The accident became Canada's worst roller coaster disaster.
Is in Canada too?
The Big Dipper too.
Is anybody in Canada? Have you ever been on that ride?
July 24th, 1930, a hot summer day in Omaha, Nebraska, Krug Park was packed with visitors. The Big Dipper was a wooden roller coaster. 4 cars connected in a train. The ride pulled passengers up the first hill, Then gravity did the rest. That afternoon,
I was about to say, this literally sounds so familiar, but it says the big difference, number 2.
23 passengers filled the 4 cars. Among them were Gladys Lundgren, C.H. Stout, Anthony Politica, and 15-year-old Ruth Frell. The train began its climb up the first hill. Then a bolt in the brake mechanism worked loose and jammed one of the wheels. The first car jumped.
The worst things, like things could just happen like this, and it could all just be the maintenance of it, like the guy said, or just, you know, somebody being negligent on checking it and stuff. Like, there's so many things that can go wrong. That's why I said I only trust like the big companies and stuff, because they gonna get in hell of trouble, so they arm people's ass, their employees and stuff. And it could still happen, accidents still happen, but it's way less common, you know, with the big companies and stuff than just like these fairs and stuff that can get away with, you know, just saying fuck it to the rides.
It broke through the guardrail and plunged 35 feet to the ground. The other 3 cars were dragged off behind it. Passengers were thrown from their seats or crushed beneath the derailed cars. The impact was devastating. 4 people were dead and 19 others were seriously injured. But the crowd of spectators had surged forward to see.
I'm honestly surprised that many people survived, honestly.
See what happened. Thousands of people surrounded the crash site, blocking emergency access. Ambulances arrived, but couldn't reach the victim.
Bro, get the fuck out the way. Like, what are y'all doing?
Police were forced to break down sections of the park fence to create routes for medical personnel. The investigation found that the loose bolt had caused the...
Wait, why were people just crowding though? Like, just to look, and you guys see that there's emergency responders here and you're not making a path? It reminds me of that cave diving video. You guys remember the cave diving video we watched, where it's like those people were, you know, outside in the cave trying to support the guy or whatever, and then they ended up having fires and stuff, and it was melting into the thing and making it actually harder for them to survive?
The investigation found that the loose bolt had caused the wheel to lock up, forcing the car off the rails. Krug Park never recovered. Attendance dropped, and the park closed by 1940.
Yeah, that park need to go away. I'm sorry, there's too much shit.
The city of Omaha banned roller coasters for years afterwards. The site was later converted into a public park with no rides.
That looks a lot safer. That looks a lot safer, bro.
The Big Dipper accident became known as the deadliest roller coaster disaster in U.S. history at that time. The Matterhorn bobsleds. On January 3rd, 1984, 48-year-old Dolly Young visited Disneyland with 5 friends. The Matterhorn bobsleds featured small sleds that traveled through an artificial mountain at 43 miles per hour. Young sat alone in her sled while her friends took the parallel.
Was this like the original version of Magic Mountain or something?
The sleds began their descent through the mountain's tunnels. Partway through the ride, Young fell from her bobsled onto the tracks. An oncoming sled approached on the parallel track. The family inside thought the figure on the tracks was a dummy. The bobsled struck Young at full speed. She was decapitated instantly. The father in the oncoming sled realized what had happened. He screamed at his daughters to close their eyes as their sled passed over Young's body. The ride operators shut down the attraction when Young's...
Like, imagine you're just at Disneyland on a ride and you just see somebody decapitated head just laying on the rails while you guys are riding that shit, bro. Oh my god. That's literally like a nightmare movie, dude.
Their sled passed over
You would never
body.
think that would happen.
The ride operators shut down the attraction when Young's empty sled arrived at the station. Young was pronounced dead at the scene. Her safety restraint was found fastened on a neighboring seat. The Matterhorn reopened the next day. Disney made modifications to the ride, though the changes were not disclosed. The wild...
Why are they not telling people, bro? Like, that's a pretty big deal, somebody dying like that.
On August 28, 1999, Kimberly Bailey and her 8-year-old daughter Jessica visited Jillian's Wonderland Pier in Ocean City, New Jersey. The Wild Wonder was a small steel roller coaster. Individual cars were pulled up a 40-foot incline before rolling through the course. Bailey and Jessica climbed into one of the cars. As their car neared the top of the lift hill, the anti-rollback mechanism failed. The car lost contact with the lift chain and began rolling backwards down the incline. The car gained speed as it hurtled toward the station. It crashed violently into the loading area at the bottom. Bailey and Jessica were thrown from the car. Both died instantly.
What, are you serious? Damn, the impact was that crazy?
The park had replaced the coaster's anti-rollback device with an unapproved, locally made part. The faulty component had failed to engage. The Wild Wonder was shut down and removed. New Jersey upgrade.
Man, this is crazy, bro. Like, I know I've literally been on rides where it does this. I don't remember which ones, but it literally goes and oh fuck, I think it's a ride at Disneyland actually, or Universal Studios. It's one of them. I'm pretty sure it's Universal Studios. But like, it's a ride that goes and then it goes backwards. It's part of the ride. Like, imagine being like this and about to go down a thing, which is already scary enough. You already get, you know, tingles in your stomach, and then you just all of a sudden just start going backwards and shit and crash like that. Oh my gosh.
The Derby Racer. In 1911, the Derby Racer opened at Revere Beach, Massachusetts. It featured 2 parallel tracks where trains raced against each other in a figure-8 pattern. The ride had no restraints, no speed.
That does not look safe, bro. The figure-8s? Like, what if they malfunction and just freaking run into each other in the middle? Please don't tell me that's what happened.
The ride had no restraints, no speed controls, and basic wooden
no restraints, no speed controls, and basic wooden construction. That is deaths waiting to happen, bro. Like, dead ass.
Construction.
I'm not getting on
simply
that.
held on as the trains raced around curves and hills. Within weeks of opening,
what?
Disaster struck. A man was thrown from his car during a turn and died. Later that year, the company's own treasurer was killed. He had stood up in his car to lecture passengers about safety when he was ejected from the ride.
Are you dead ass, bro? Why are we lecturing people about safety when your ride is not safe at all, bro? It's not built well. There's no freaking seatbelts, nothing. Like, this is dumb, bro. Like I said, RP to all the people. I want to be disrespectful or nothing like that, but like, dude, come on. This is literally stupid, bro.
To lecture passengers about safety when he was ejected from the ride. Authorities closed the coaster and demanded safety improvements.
Safety improvement? They need to just wrap that shit up, bro. Like, the fact that they even thought it was okay to put out a ride like that that's racing, going fast, and there's no seatbelts, no nothing, bro. Like, what the this is not go-karts and shit. Like, what?
Installed primitive brakes and lap bars before reopening, but the deaths continued. On a busy day in 1917, a man lost his hat during the ride. He tried to retrieve it and fell out of his car on a high incline. He landed on the adjacent track. The other racing...
Like I said, chat, if something falls out while you're on a roller coaster, do not try to get it, bro. I know it might hurt, you know what I'm saying? It might be something important or whatever. First of all, don't wear a hat on a roller coaster in the first place. But if you are and you lose it, bro, don't try to get it. It's over, bro. It's over.
He landed on the adjacent track. The other racing train struck him at full speed.
Oh my god.
The wreckage told the story. The impact broke nearly every bone in his body. He died shortly after. Another passenger was thrown from the train in 1929. Despite 3 confirmed deaths and numerous injuries.
And they still going? You have multiple deaths and it's still open, bro?
The Derby Racer continued operating for 25 years. Each incident led to minor modifications, but the fundamental design remained dangerous.
Yo, this gotta be the stupidest shit I ever heard, bro. And honestly, it's kind of dumb on the people too to go on this. Like, I know they've heard of the deaths and they still decide to go on this. Like, I get the whole thrill, the adrenaline you want to feel and shit. But bro, come on, there's been multiple deaths. This thing doesn't even look safe. There's no restraints. They barely put minor modifications on it. And you still gonna go on it, bro? Like, this needed to be shut down years and years ago, bro.
The ride's license was revoked and reinstated multiple times as authorities struggled with the deadly attraction. The Derby Racer finally closed in 1936 when it was replaced by a newer model. It became known as one of the most dangerous roller coasters ever built. The Rough Riders. In 1910, the Rough Riders roller coaster opened at Coney Island. The ride featured an electric-powered system where the motorman controlled speed with a throttle. That first year, the train derailed on a sharp curve. 17 passengers were thrown from the track. 3 people were dead, and many others were seriously injured.
I wonder if that was due to like the speed, because the guy said that operator can just choose the speed. I wonder if it was that or the tracks mostly that made it derail.
3 people were dead, and many others were seriously injured.
Like the design of it.
Coney Island officials made minor improvements, but the ride continued operating. 5 years later, on July 27, 1915, 6 passengers boarded the Rough Rider.
I'm just noticing like these early 1900s and stuff, they did not give a shit about people dying, bro. Like, that's my conclusion I'm coming up with, because there's multiple deaths and they just tweak it a little bit and just keep it open, bro. Like, nowadays, the shit that happens like that with roller coasters, bro, that shit's getting shut down, bro. That shit might never open again. Like, it would be a very fortunate event for it to open.
6 passengers boarded the Rough Riders. As the train gained speed down a steep incline, it approached a sharp turn. The motorman took the turn too fast. The train's wheels left the track. The car flipped on its side 30 feet in the air. Passengers were hurled into an iron railing and fell to the ground below. The damage was severe. 3 riders were killed by the fall. 2 others clung to the wrecked car until police rescued them. A woman and her son survived by hanging onto the handle.
Damn. Bro, imagine how scary that is, just literally hanging on with your son, bro. Oh my gosh. Thank God they could hold on.
Hanging on.
Did they hold on though?
A bystander on the ground was struck by a falling body. The Rough Riders had now killed 6 people in 5 years.
6 people in 5? That's more than a person a year, bro. That's disgusting. How is it still open even after the first 2 years? Even after the first 1?
The ride was shut down after the 1915 accident and dismantled within a few years.
The
repeated tragedies helped establish early safety regulations at Coney Island, including
it only took 6 fucking times. That's all it took, bro.
Requirements for better braking systems and restraints.
That's crazy.
The Fujian Raijin 2.
Like, how does things like that happen more than 2-3 times in corresponding years and you don't, like, it's not completely shut down, bro? How is it able to be still open?
5th, 2007, Expo Land Amusement Park in Osaka was packed with visitors for Children's Day. Fujian Raijin 2 was a stand-up roller coaster. 20 passengers boarded the 6-car train, including 19-year-old university student Yoshino Kogawara. The train launched and began its course. As it traveled 131 feet above the ground, passengers heard a loud crack. The second car suddenly derailed. The wheel axle had snapped, causing the car to tilt violently. Kogawara was thrown against the guardrail at high speed. She struck her head and was killed instantly. The derailed car dragged the rest of the train for 984 feet before stopping. 19 other passengers were injured. The investigation revealed extreme negligence. The park had skipped annual maintenance in 2007. The wheel axle had not been replaced in 15 years.
15? Yo. Bro, honestly, I don't know nothing about roller coasters and stuff, but I would think this would have to happen at least every 5 years. But honestly, if it was up to me, I'm doing it every 1 year, bro. That's just how crazy I would be over it. But 15 years, dude? That's just not giving a shit at all. That's more than a decade, bro. Almost 2 decades.
Good condition, based only on visual inspection. The axle had cracked from metal fatigue. Proper testing would have detected the crack, but Expoland had bypassed all safety requirements. Expoland's attendance collapsed after the accident. The park briefly reopened but closed permanently in 2009 as the owners declared bankruptcy. The Sun...
Yeah, they should be bankrupt, bro. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to cut corners, you know, not paying for safety or inspectors, you know, paying for the right people and stuff so that they can check it right. No, they just want to get it by and, nah, fuck it. If people die, whatever, man. At least we'll make some money. Well, guess what? You're bankrupt now, bitch.
Beast. In 2000,
never works.
Kings Island opened Son of Beast, a wooden roller coaster that reached speeds of 78 miles per hour. The ride had problems from the start, with track malfunctions and rough jolting. In 2001, riders suffered broken vertebrae and a broken neck.
Yo, what the fuck? Yo, don't tell me this shit just kept being open too, right?
Passenger was hospitalized with back injuries in 2003. Wow. On July 9th, 2006, 27 passengers were aboard when one train cracked a support beam while passing through the Rose Bowl section. The damaged beam caused the track to sag. When the next train hit the weakened section, the track dipped suddenly. The jolt was brutal. 27 people were rushed to hospitals with chest and neck injuries. One passenger...
The Son of Beast? The Son of Injuries. That's what it should be named, bro. Like, how do you... Bro, this ride only gets you injured, bro. So I guess if you have a kink for getting injured, you could go here. But, yeah, this is stupid, bro.
One passenger said it felt like...
They've literally been injuring each other for years.
...a brick wall. The investigation found cracked and splintered wooden support beams throughout the structure. Son of Beast reopened after modification.
How the fuck are they even allowed to just use wood? I know a lot of things probably use wood and stuff, but like, that just sounds so fragile, bro. Like, I feel like all this shit should be made from metal or something.
But another accident occurred in 2009. A passenger suffered a broken blood vessel in her head. The ride never operated again. It was demolished in 2012. Son of Beast had become one of the most notorious failures in roller coaster history. The Cobra. In 2008, the Cobra roller coaster opened at Tivoli Friheden amusement.
Bro, this don't even look that threatening, but let me see. It's a lot of twists and turns though.
Roller coaster opened at Tivoli Friheden amusement park in Aarhus, Denmark. Months after opening, the front car detached from the track. 4 young riders were injured with fractures and concussions. The park made repairs, and the Cobra continued operating. On July 14th, 2022, riders felt a jolt.
That's a little recent.
And heard cracking metal as the train went through its course. The rear car broke off from the track. The last row of seats detached and hung off the side of the coaster. A 14-year-old girl in the rear car was thrown and killed. A 13-year-old boy next to her suffered a hand injury, but survived. The train ground to a...
Yo, that has to be literally so traumatizing. Just seeing like whoever you're on the roller coaster with just fly off and freaking die, bro.
The train ground to a halt. Park staff evacuated the area. The girl could not be saved.
Wow.
The same structural flaw had now caused 2 major accidents. Tivoli Friheden dismantled the Cobra the next day, and the ride was permanently closed.
Finally, someone has common sense. You see something like this happen, well, this is like multiple times, but at this point, you just close that shit right away instead of keeping it operating, making a few minor maintenance fixes and shit, bro.
The Cobra had failed twice in identical fashion over 14 years of operation. The Quimera. Crazy. On September 28th, 2019, visitors gathered at La Feria Chapultepec Mágico in Mexico City. Quimera was a triple-loop steel roller coaster. The aging Schwarzkopf model had a history of maintenance issues. That day, witnesses saw the last car of a train shake violently and derail on a turn near the end of the ride.
Oh my gosh.
The rear car flipped upside down and detached completely. 2 riders were thrown out from 33 feet. 2 young men,
33 feet?
ages 18 and 21, died from head injuries.
Yeah.
2 women were also...
Even if they didn't fall on their heads, I think they would still die, bro. 33 feet is so high to fall from, especially like falling, you know, fast like that. I mean, they would have had broken things anyways, but yeah, especially if they land straight on their head like that, it's over.
2 women were also injured when the car slammed into the structure. The investigation found that a component in the car's axle assembly had broken, causing it to detach. Mexico City authorities immediately closed La Feria Chapultepec. Investigators found multiple safety violations.
I'm surprised.
And revoked the park's permit. Within months, the historic amusement park was permanently shut down and dismantled.
So this is the chapter right here says Venus. Oh my god. What the? Wow.
If you landed on Venus,
that's honestly how I would think that most deaths would be, going to different planets, because obviously if you're in a different planet, you're like in outer space and like there's no oxygen in outer space, so like, you know, you would literally just die by suffocating most of the time. So I'm actually curious to see like what other creative ways you can actually die in these planets.
This hot planet would crush you like a plastic bottle.
Dang.
It would be painful, but don't worry, it would only last 5 seconds. I
ain't gonna lie, this seems a lot more than 5 seconds, bro. This is like great suffering right here.
Longest 5 seconds of your life.
Oh my gosh.
And just wait till you see what happens on Mars. It's unsettling.
What?
Venus
Dude,
has
this is all
an
crazy.
Extremely dense atmosphere. And with that dense atmosphere comes crushing pressure. Literally, it would crush you. The Venusian atmospheric pressure is 92 times higher than the pressure you experience on Earth. It would only take a millisecond before it started crumpling your spacesuit.
That's insane, chat. Like, low-key, when it talks about this reminds me of the one video we watched with the ocean, right? I wonder if it's like kind of the same pressure as when you go super deep in the ocean, you can literally get crushed by the pressure of it. Like, I wonder if it's like on the same level, maybe even more, depending on if it's the sea or this planet. Like, I don't know. That's a good comparison I want to see.
After 1 second, your suit's integrity would be compromised.
Damn.
You'd be trapped in the imploding spacesuit with no way out. And that's when your body would begin to collapse. In the next 2 seconds, your skin and muscles would compress. Your blood vessels would pop. Your organs would fail.
That's
Finally,
insane.
you'd lose consciousness, and just like that, you'd be gone.
Yeah, honestly, this feels like a very painful and suffering death. Don't you guys think? Because like, bro, I feel like in this whole time you could feel everything collapsing, you know what I'm saying? And then at the same time, you're literally running out of breath. You're about to pass out and stuff. Like, dude, I don't know, bro. I mean, compared to the other ones that we're probably about to see, there's probably other ones that are worse than this, but still, this seems already a top 10 for me.
Venus looks like a beautiful place, but it's deadly. And being crushed by extreme pressure is just one of the many ways you'd die here. Remember the dense Venusian atmosphere? Well, not only does it create crushing pressure, but it also generates the greenhouse effect.
Which is?
Yeah,
Greenhouse
Venus
effect.
is hot, instantly boiling your insides kind of hot.
Bro.
Even if you could somehow withstand all that bone-crushing pressure, the heat would get you.
Oh yeah, this feels hot, like being toasted.
Bro, I want to see like how hot it can get on Venus, bro. The temperature on Venus is the average is about 870 degrees Fahrenheit, bro. Hot enough to melt lead. That's insane. The extreme heat is due to a runaway greenhouse effect caused by its thick carbon dioxide rich atmosphere, which traps heat and keeps the temperature consistently high across the planet day and night. So the greenhouse effect, the natural process where Earth's atmosphere traps the sun's heat to keep the planet warm enough for life. Greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, methane, and water vapor absorb and radiate infrared radiation, sending some back towards Earth's surface. Human activities like burning fossil fuels have increased the concentration of these gases, leading to an enhanced greenhouse effect and global. Bro, so literally, if you think about it, greenhouse effect is literally just global warming. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess people would say the cause of global warming, you know? Like whether you believe it or not, I definitely believe it, bro. Like I think the Earth has been changing. It's been getting like hotter every year. Like chat, like why is it a point where every single year is like a new height of heat or something? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Like I know it's been hot, you know, throughout decades and stuff, but bro, you gotta admit like the atmosphere is changing in some way, whether you believe it or not, bro.
Being toasted. You guys know what toast is.
Warning. Internal temperature rising.
That's crazy. 870
Surface temperature on Venus reaches 465 degrees Celsius.
Oh, wow.
That's almost as hot as the lava coming out of Earth's volcanoes.
Bro, that's insane. So it's like you just go and jump in a volcano. You're going to get the same effect as Venus, bro.
Of this intense heat within seconds.
Wow.
After 1 minute, your internal temperature would start rising.
Oh, hell yeah.
Cue heat exhaustion.
The nastiest fever ever.
I don't feel so good.
Body temperature, 40 degrees Celsius and rising.
Bro.
At this point, you'd experience nausea, fatigue, and extreme sweating. your internal organs would start to overheat.
That's insane. Like, Chad, just imagine like you've been playing sports before. Anybody that's played sports or anything, especially like, okay, for me, like football, we would train in summer, right? You know, there's summer camp and everything. Bro, it would be hot as shit out there. We had to put on our gear and everything. Just imagine that literally like times 100, bro. Like not even times 100, literally times, well, never mind, times 100. I guess it would be like times 4 or 5, you know, since it's technically, it would be 100 degrees like, you know, on Earth right here, but then on Venus, fucking 470 something on surface level.
After 10 minutes, you'd lose consciousness. Now, you just have minutes left before suffering brain damage and complete cardiac arrest.
See, this seems like, wow, that's like a worse way to go.
Heat stroke is no joke. Nothing's a joke here, really.
Are you trying to rap right now, my boy? That was a good bar.
The Venusian air is unbreathable. It's made up of 96.5% carbon dioxide and 3.5% nitrogen.
What the
Which
hell?
means taking just one breath of this atmosphere would suffocate you. And if that's not enough, Venus's sulfuric rain would corrode your spacesuit and burn your skin.
Wow.
As far as the survival...
So there's rain even... I mean, this is probably a dumbass question. I was gonna say, like, is rain even up there? But, bro, rain comes just down from all the way to the sky. But, like, yeah, because of the way that the air is, how it's just literally just carbon dioxide and nitrogen, yeah, I would imagine the rain is, like, pretty much poisonous.
Would corrode your spacesuit and burn your skin.
Oh, my God.
As far as the survival situation on Venus goes, it's a 1 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Jesus. Yeah, that's horrible, bro.
Now this...
It's like, imagine, like, if it rains up there, you know, when you take a little too hot of a shower, chat. Now, imagine that heat turned up by, like, 20, bro. It's like, it's not just one little spot. Like, no. You're literally, your skin's gonna start melting, bro.
Is Mercury.
The closest planet to the sun, like, I haven't just suffered a massive heat incineration already?
I know. You know, for being so close to the sun, it doesn't look like it's close to the sun, if you know what I'm saying. Like, it looks like the moon, kind of like calm and cool. But yeah, I can imagine it's probably super fucking hot there since it's so close to the sun. Unless, let me keep watching.
Incineration already? Come on, what if guy?
Well, Mercury has a little secret. It's actually extremely freezing. At least on the night side.
What?
Surface temperature
night side?
minus 180 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. I knew that. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, so you're instantly freezing, bro. You're turning into ice.
And here, I'll let you in on a little secret. What If Explorers Club on Patreon is on a roll. That's right. Get access to early episodes.
W promo.
Here's the thing about Mercury. Unlike its planetary neighbor Venus, it doesn't have an atmosphere. And without an atmosphere, there's nothing to trap the sun's heat and keep it close to the planet during the long Mercurian night.
So this might be a dumb question, but I want to learn, chat, technically. Why do some planets not have atmosphere? You know what? Let me search that up. Other planets lack atmosphere primarily due to a combination of low mass and gravity, a lack of protective magnetic field, and their proximity to a star, which causes solar wind to strip away gases. Smaller planets like Mercury and Mars cannot hold on to atmospheric gases due to weak gravity, while being close to a star like the sun increases the rate at which the planet's atmosphere is lost to space. Planets with weak or non-existent magnetic fields are particularly vulnerable as their atmospheres are not shielded from the solar wind. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, so literally if it's close to a star like the sun, that's why Mercury cannot have an atmosphere. Weak magnetic field. Yeah, so that weak magnetic field, low gravity, but that's all due, for Mercury specifically, that's literally due to being so close to the sun. That's my conclusion of it.
Planet during the long Mercurian nights. Even though Mercury is just 58 million kilometers from the sun, as soon as night hits, it cools down rapidly.
What happens when the sun
lands? You'll be okay. You could walk around and explore the planet.
Okay.
Yeah, Rico, there's like a little numbness in my fingers. Is that normal?
Numbness in the extremities indicates the early stages of hypothermia.
Yeah, I was about to say, like,
I'm okay.
Something about being cold.
Like minus 180 degrees here, you know? Of course it's a little chilly.
Yeah, at least he's chill this time instead of burning hot like hell. I mean, I honestly rather go out like that, to be honest.
What a shocker.
Oh my gosh.
Hypothermia would take a little time to kick in. It starts with a tingling feeling in your fingers, then suddenly you begin to shiver.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't feel any shivers.
Chat, it's literally insane to me how like just normal things just be too much for you. Like a normal cold day. Like we go outside a cold day. Oh, we're like kind of a little cold or whatever. Put on a jacket or something. Or like, you know, when it's hot. Oh, it's like, nah, oh, it's a nice sunny day, right? But like if you have too much of any of those, too much hot, too much cold, you could literally die from that. Like that's insane to me, bro.
Okay. Maybe I feel a few shivers, but it's not that bad.
Warning,
yeah, you're cooked.
Your body temperature has dropped to 35 degrees Celsius.
Oh, you're so cooked.
Can't feel my fingers.
Dude.
After 10 minutes in this extreme cold, you'd barely be able to move.
Warning, core body temperature at 32 degrees Celsius.
32 degrees?
Return to the spaceship immediately.
Your muscles would feel stiff.
Oh my
You'd feel
God.
confused and cold.
There was at least 102 Dalmatians.
You'd feel extremely disoriented. Everything would...
I feel like your mind would just absolutely go insane at this point. Because like all you could feel, well, you probably can't feel anything, but just imagine what's going on in your brain, bro. Like it's like slowly shutting down, just going crazy while it's like trying to keep up with what the hell's going on with your body, but it can't.
But you wouldn't die. Not yet.
Warning, core body temperature now 28 degrees Celsius.
Dude, that's extremely
Even now,
low.
you'd still be alive. You could barely function, but you're alive.
That's the thing about freeze, like being hot like this is super hot, like how it is in Venus. That would kill you almost instantly, if not, you know, a few momentarily. But dude, at least with freezing, like you have a chance someone come save you something. But hey, no one's saving you here, bro.
It would take about 60 minutes for Mercury's dark side to kill you. Slow, cold, and painful. But hey, at least you'd get to see some of Mercury's views before you collapsed in the extreme cold.
Yeah, at least I'll see the sun for a little bit. Well, probably not now, it's nighttime, but if I make it to when it comes up. Oh my gosh. Damn.
I'd give Mercury's night side a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10.
But Mercury has a day side too.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. What's the day
Burning
side?
hot.
Oh my. So it's literally polar opposites.
Temperature here hits 427 degrees Celsius.
Wow.
Just slightly cooler than the temperature on Venus.
Slightly.
And it's
That's
not the
still
intense
hot.
heat that would kill you. It's extreme radiation too.
Really?
You'd feel all of it the moment you stepped out of your spaceship.
Oh, that makes sense though, chat, because Mercury doesn't have like a magnetic shield to basically protect it from anything or have an atmosphere. So now it's literally getting the radiation from the sun. Because you know how like, bro, you can't be in the sun for a long time and we're down here on the earth so far away from the sun. Imagine being like this close to it, bro. Yeah, that's an instant death. What the hell?
Feel all
instant
of it
radiation.
the moment you stepped out of your spaceship. Your body would start overheating.
Bro.
If you didn't have the protection of your spacesuit, your skin would immediately get radiation burns.
Oh my gosh.
My hands are burning! Ah!
It wouldn't be pretty. All that radiation would quickly damage your DNA. It takes 1/1000th of a second to kick off that process.
What?
Within the next hour, your cells would mutate and die.
Oh my god.
So make sure to wear a spacesuit, no matter how hot it feels.
Danger. Core body temperature increased to 39 degrees Celsius.
Bro.
After 5 minutes of these burning conditions, you'd begin to feel the effects of hyperthermia. If your suit's cooling system were to fail, you'd experience an amount of heat you've never felt in your life.
God, it burns! My hands! Oh, it's like they're on fire! Oh, it's exactly like they're on fire!
Yo. I ain't gonna lie, this guy's getting put through torture for us, man. We gotta clap it up for him. He's dying on every planet. W dying. I mean, no, not W. Never mind.
You're nauseous. After 10 minutes, you'd be like a piece of toast.
Literally, bro. You'd be toast.
Your body temperature would hit 42 degrees Celsius. And if you've ever had a fever like that, you'd know at this point, you'd be in delirium.
God damn. Yeah, I wonder what the highest temperature of like fever someone's had. The highest recorded human body temperature was caused by a heat stroke was 115 degrees. The patient Willie Jones was admitted to hospital in 1980 and survived after 24 hours of treatment. Yo, that's actually insane, bro. Holy. So the normal one rarely exceeds 105. Like, I feel like I've never exceeded like 102 or 3, chat. Has anybody watching had like a super high fever like that?
I swear, there were 103 Dalmatians. Everywhere! Dalmatians everywhere!
Bro. Exactly like that.
He's going crazy.
Are you a Dalmatian?
Your muscles would become weak and your organs would start to shut down.
Bro, you probably feel like jelly, bro. Like literally a pack of jelly just dangling around until you just inevitably fall.
Unconscious in the middle of having heat stroke and being blasted by radiation.
Dude.
At this point, you wouldn't have long.
That's insane, chat. I think Mercury is worse than Venus in this effect because it has like the burning effect that Venus does, but also radiation, bro. I guess that's like a double whammy right there. You know what I'm saying? 2 birds, 1 stone, I guess. So like, yeah, I think it's technically worse than Venus, but they're both hella bad.
Hot side of Mercury rates a 2 out of 10 from me.
2? You think, wait, like 1 being the worst, right?
All right, let's look at Mars. The red planet sounds a lot more promising. Where else in the solar system would you want to establish a human base?
Right.
Well, not so fast. Mars sits just outside the sun's habitable zone. It doesn't have water or a magnetosphere. Its atmosphere is incredibly thin. It's not a place you could settle into comfortably.
But it has something.
Mars is great.
That is, until you try to breathe on it. On Mars, the air is mostly made up of carbon dioxide.
Right.
You'd have to keep your spacesuit on at all times, because if you didn't, you'd die.
Spacesuit breach detected.
Doesn't mean I feel like a lot of like planets are just purely carbon dioxide and stuff. Like there's rarely like anything that has any type of oxygen for humans to breathe. You know what I'm saying? That's why we can't go anywhere without a spacesuit.
Because if you didn't, you'd die.
Spacesuit breach detected.
It only takes a minor suit malfunction for Mars to kill you.
Bro.
The first few seconds of inhaling the air on Mars would feel confusing.
What's confusing about this? I'm dying!
I bet look like Buzz Lightyear.
For oxygen and starting to breathe more rapidly.
Damn.
At the same time, your breached spacesuit would start to decompress, and that would be truly awful.
Ooh.
The atmospheric pressure on Mars is only 0.6% of what you have on Earth. As soon as your spacesuit gave in, all the pressure inside it, the pressure keeping you alive, would escape.
Warning. Danger of embolism. Warning.
Embolism is what happens next. As your suit's pressure suddenly dropped, your body would experience painful, blood-boiling conditions. You see, your blood and other bodily fluids have gases inside them. Exposed to the low-pressure environment on Mars, these gases would boil. Your skin would swell.
So this planet with the pressure is not technically like too much pressure. It's actually a lot less pressure than we actually need. That's what I'm kind of confused on. It's like, okay, if it's less pressure, why is it not safer? You know what I'm saying? Let me search something. Why is low atmospheric pressure bad for humans? Low atmospheric pressure is bad for humans because it can cause physical symptoms like headache, joint pain, and difficulty breathing, and also affect mood and mental health. This happens because lower pressure allows the body tissue to expand, which can increase pressure on joints and nerves, and it may lead to reduced oxygen levels in the body. Okay, so yeah, so your body tissues expand, which puts pressure on the joints and nerves, and then causes you to not like get in enough oxygen for your body. So that makes sense.
These gases would boil. Your skin would swell and puff up. After about 7 minutes, you'd be dead.
See how it's puffing up and stuff? You know, this example what we just looked up right now on how the body tissue just starts expanding.
This is going to be pretty graphic. Somebody put a warning on the screen.
Sensitive content.
Mars would give you hope and then gruesomely kill you the first chance it got.
Bro, so I feel like if you're on Mars, you breathe the air and stuff, you're gonna feel like you're like inflating like a balloon, and you just pop. Like once you pop, that's you dying, bro.
I'd seriously reconsider coming here, because even if you made absolutely sure that your spacesuit was safe and wouldn't suffer a life-ending breach, Mars will find another way to wipe you off its face.
Really? Like
and
what?
that other way would be dust storms.
Oh.
Dust storms on Mars are wild. They can cover the entire planet, and they last for weeks or even months.
Crap in here.
It's not that those storms are strong, they're not, but the dust particles are so fine that they get into your spacesuit easily.
Oh my God.
Scratch it from the inside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then like a lot of this debris, like you say, scratch it and then make that opening so that you actually breathe in the air unintentionally.
Oh man, what? Matt Damon can do this, so can I. Come on.
These fine particles would clog your air filters and do all kinds of damage to your equipment. From cutting off your life support systems to knocking out your heat regulation.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, if you get stuck in one of these storms in Mars, you're pretty much cooked. Cause like there's no way you're avoiding every catastrophe that could possibly happen in weeks or like you said, months. Like, come on, bro. Like, there's no way you're surviving that. Something's gonna happen, bro. You're not gonna get through a whole month of dust storm with all the debris flying around without something happening to your suit or the airways or anything possibly. You know what I'm saying?
Warning. Oxygen system failure.
Bro.
Well, that's Mars for you. I give it a 6 out of 10 just for the epicness of this whole death situation. Oh, and for giving you a chance to live here.
Right.
Just maybe not for too long.
I mean, I guess here, out of all the planets we watched so far, Mars is actually probably the most inhabitable one. But, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you get caught in a storm, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not inhabitable at that point. But if you get lucky and just don't have a storm while you're up there, then you might be Gucci, bro. Your suit is okay. You could be up there for a few hours and come back.
0.
0.
There's one more rocky planet lurking on the outskirts of the solar system. Hold on. My editor is saying it's actually not a planet, it's a dwarf planet.
A dwarf planet?
Anyway, Pluto will be the last deadly place to visit on this list.
Pluto.
Right after the giants.
What the?
Jupiter is the largest planet in the solar system. And
I learned that recently.
As a gas giant, it has a number of ways to kill you.
Jeez.
Being twice as massive.
I ain't gonna lie, Jupiter looks like the scariest planet. Just visually, it's already deeming to my eyes.
As all the other planets in the solar system combined, Jupiter has astronomical pressure. This planet is basically a gigantic ball of hydrogen and helium. It doesn't have a solid surface you could step on. You'd fall all the way through its atmosphere.
Really?
Although it wouldn't be that long of a fall for you.
Wait, why? I'm confused. So there's no solid?
Suffocating, extreme pressure. What else is new?
Lightning.
Bro, just casually going through all these deaths for us, bro. We gotta give him credit for that.
Yeah, that's right. Jupiter is home to some of the most violent lightning storms around.
What?
Okay, well that's
lightning
great,
storms?
I don't see any here.
Well, of course not. In the upper atmosphere, the weather is not as dramatic. The atmospheric pressure here is only 1/10 of the pressure we feel on Earth.
Capsule systems are stable.
That's hella bad, because just like in Mars, you know what I'm saying, how the atmospheric pressure was super low, so your body tissue just gonna explode here. Like even faster.
Some 50 kilometers below Jupiter's clouds, you'd feel serious turbulence. Wind here would be strong, reaching up to 360 kilometers per hour.
Yeah, this gotta be the worst roller coaster ever invented, bro.
Static buildup detected in the atmosphere.
As these chaotic winds violently battered you through the storm clouds, the lightning bolts would strike too close for comfort. The atmosphere around you would be highly charged. And then one of these bolts would strike the capsule head on. This massive lightning would release enough energy to power a city or two.
All right, check. I probably sound stupid, but bro, this reminds me of like the Speed Force, bro. Yo, if you guys watch The Flash, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about, bro. This literally reminds me of it.
Power a city
the Speed Force.
Two. But for your capsule, it would be game over. The electrical systems would fail. The oxygen supply would fail, and the temperature inside the capsule would drop significantly. You'd now be trapped inside a powerless, leaking capsule surrounded by a deadly storm.
Ah, damn. It's
I give Jupiter a 5 out of 10. Could recommend.
Don't recommend this. No, except maybe Barry, because he'll go in the Speed Force. But that's the only one, bro. That's insane. I didn't know Jupiter was just basically, it's not solid. Like, bro, Jupiter is a gas giant composed primarily of gas, though it likely has a solid rocky core at its center. So it probably has something at the center, but it doesn't have like a solid surface. You know what I'm saying? It's just a layer of gas and liquid hydrogen with a dense rocky core buried deep inside. Okay. See, that's insane, bro. I've never would have thought of that. See, I'm learning so much in this video. I love this.
Could recommend.
No, don't recommend this to me. I'm gonna die.
This gas giant may not be as large as Jupiter, but it's definitely the most majestic.
Saturn's gas
Saturn
too?
is the second largest planet in the solar system, and just like Jupiter, it's a gas giant made up of hydrogen and helium with no...
Hey, so the two biggest planets we have is literally just composed of gas, bro. I would have never guessed, bro. I learned about the planets itself, but not like the actual containments inside of it, or like what it actually is, you know what I'm saying?
Made up of hydrogen and helium with no solid surface. Deep down in its clouds, the unimaginable pressure of this world turns hydrogen into liquid metal.
What?
And intense storms have winds raging at 18...
Wait, hold on. I gotta...
Pressure of this world, deep down in its clouds, the unimaginable pressure of this world turns hydrogen into liquid metal.
How the fuck does that happen? How does hydrogen, bro? How does hydrogen turn into liquid metal on Saturn? Inside Saturn, hydrogen is transformed into liquid metal by a combination of immense pressure and high temperature. This process is known as metallization and causes the hydrogen to lose its characteristic as an insulating gas and become an electrical conductor. That's why, bro. What the hell? Saturn's gravity is so powerful that it creates crushing pressures in the deeper layers of the planet, estimated to exceed millions of Earth's atmosphere. This pressure compresses the hydrogen atoms together much more tightly than on Earth. Yeah, so it basically breaks down the hydrogen and makes it lose its characteristic as like an insulator and basically turns it into a conductor, which explains why it actually turned into fucking metal after.
And
that's
intense
crazy.
Storms have winds raging at 1,800 kilometers per hour.
What?
It's windy.
That's freaking insane.
It's hot. It's dangerous. And you might die before you even enter Saturn's atmosphere.
Yeah, I would think so, just because of all that wind that you're talking about. 18 kilometers per hour wind just around the whole planet, that's insane.
What makes Saturn the most marvelous planet in this planetary hood is also what makes it dangerous on approach.
Wow.
Saturn's rings.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see them all right.
These rings are made up of billions of small chunks of ice and rock, ranging from grains of dust to icy chunks the size of a house. Saturn has had its rings for a few 100 million years, and it'll have them for the next few 100 million years until these icy rocks rain down on the gas giant.
Wow.
The thing is, these rings move extremely fast, like 70,000 kilometers per hour fast.
What? 70?
If you're not careful, your ship might just crash into them.
That's fucking insane. I would have never thought that the rings, I thought it was just one static thing that was just around the planet, bro. It's actually just fucking going around. It's 700,000 kilometers per hour. Do you guys understand how fucking fast that is? Let me just put it in perspective for people that just know miles per hour, bro. 700 kilometers per hour equals 434 miles per hour. And that's rounded, bro. That is literally fucking insane, bro. You know, cars and stuff go 100, maybe 200 and stuff. Just times that by 2. And that's how much the winds are fucking going around the planet, So yeah, if you're flying a spaceship in here and you accidentally fly into this, you know what I'm saying? And you might get caught up into it because the wind is so powerful. It could like if your spaceship's over here, it could kind of suck it in this way. And then all of a sudden you in all these rocks, bro. You're cooked. I imagine all this debris, all these rocks going at you at 400 miles per hour. That's instantly breaking any window, breaking the spaceship. And then, yeah, you're just going to have to feel the wrath of Saturn.
If you're not careful, your ship might just crash into them. Saturn gets an 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Uranus is a beautiful...
My anus, let's go. I mean, your anus, not mine.
Fart-smelling, deadly ice giant.
Is it actually fart smelling? Like, yo, chat, that would actually be so good because of the way it's named. Like, it would match it perfectly.
Fart-smelling, deadly ice giant. It has the coldest atmosphere of all the planets in the solar system.
Oh, really?
And it can kill you in many ways.
What?
One way to go.
This looks calm though. This looks like a background of like a lo-fi, you know, you search up lo-fi music or whatever, and it's just like the constant animation going around in the background. This is like some calm shit, bro. Literally, no, somebody dying in this shit. Somebody choking, dying, everything.
On Uranus would be to suffocate in its gases.
Oh, not the fart gases.
Close enough. 2% of the Uranian atmosphere is methane, a gas that's toxic to
methane?
No.
Yeah, I don't know too much about methane. All I know is that it's extremely toxic. You do not want to breathe that in, dude. Let's actually search up why methane is toxic. Why methane is toxic. It's harmful because it's a potent greenhouse gas, keyword here, greenhouse gas, that accelerates climate change, leading to extreme weather and contributing to human health problems like asthma and heart disease. Oh yeah, I would be so cooked. Yeah, if you don't know, I have pretty severe asthma, bro. I try to get it under control as much as possible, but like recently I was just sick and my asthma is super bad, bro. So if I breathe in methane at all, I am so cooked. It also poses immediate risk, such as danger of asphyxiation. I don't know what the hell this word is. In high concentration and the threat of explosion due to yeah, that's the one thing I do know, is that it can explode very easily. Additionally, methane is often released alongside other toxic pollutants that further harm public health, bro. So yeah, methane is just horrible. Horrible for the planet.
2% might not sound like a whole lot, but it's concentrated enough to kill you within minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe uranium high-speed particles moving at 900 kilometers per hour eroded your suit.
What?
Or extreme temperatures of minus 224 degrees Celsius made it brittle and caused it to crack. Or hydrogen and methane had a chemical reaction with your suit materials, corroding them. On Uranus,
bro, he just described like 3-4 different possibilities of your suit getting fucked and you getting dead. Like already, just at the start.
Corroding them. On Uranus, anything could cause a breach, and even the smallest breach would lead to toxic methane exposure.
Hell yeah. Oh my god, that would be horrible.
But Uranus has other surprising ways to off you. Like turning you into a human-sized diamond.
What?
You'd have to survive the trip deeper into Uranus to be turned into a diamond, all the way to some 10,000 kilometers below its cloud tops.
When he means diamond, does it mean like they're gonna get literally crushed? Because you know how they say like pressure makes a diamond and stuff, which is true. Like, is that what he means by it, or what?
Where the pressure is so intense and the temperature is so high that carbon atoms crystallize into diamonds.
Bro.
About 18% of the human body is carbon, so you'd be about to undergo the most precious change of your lifetime.
You know what? At least if you're gonna go out in a planet, you can look beautiful doing it. Like, dude, that's insane, bro. Oh my god, because it literally turned the carbon dioxide to diamonds because of all the pressure and the heat and stuff. And that literally will turn the carbon dioxide that's inside of us. Obviously, we don't have a shit ton of it, but we do have it. And then we just turn into a diamond. Like, that's insane to think about, bro.
I'd give Uranus a 10 out of 10.
I wonder if any psycho has actually tried doing like a concentrated thing of this, bro. Like putting somebody's finger or something, have like carbon dioxide in it, and then just try to do that experiment, turning it into a diamond. Like some sicko has had to try to do that, bro.
Epic, sparkling, with a bit of fun. Great planet to perish on. Now, this is the last ice giant in the solar system, and the most distant planet from the sun. Neptune.
Neptune.
Neptune. It looks a lot like Uranus.
Uranus?
It's true. Neptune has a similar mass and size.
I mean, I don't think Neptune looks like
giant in the solar system. And the
Neptune. It looks a lot like Uranus.
It doesn't though. Like, it looks different than that.
It's true. Neptune has a similar mass and size as Uranus, and it's even made up of some of the same materials like hydrogen, helium, iced ammonia, methane, and water. Only Neptune has one thing Uranus does not.
What?
Extreme winds detected.
Neptune has the fastest winds in the entire solar system.
Oh my gosh.
These gusts reach speeds of 2,100 kilometers per hour.
I was about to literally guess like maybe 1,000 kilometers at the most. 2,100 is crazy. Oh my. Bro, you go anywhere near this planet, you're cooked right away. You're not gonna have any control of any type of spaceship, bro. Hell no. You're cooked.
They're not just winds. They're supersonic winds.
Dude, it's like being in like 50 big ass tornadoes, bro.
Yeah, and nobody told me that we were filming a Top Gun sequel in here, okay?
What?
It gets worse, too. Not only are these winds extremely fast, but they're also turbulent. They create swirling vortices that would throw your spaceship in different directions.
Wow.
Intense atmospheric pressure, winds, and methane ice would start ripping the ship apart. But that's not all. If you got caught in the Neptunian supersonic vortex, the winds would...
Bro, just look at, I mean, I know this is an animation, but
if you got caught in...
Look at, it looks like there's 50,000 of these tornadoes,
the
bro.
Neptunian supersonic vortex, the winds would violently spin the ship, and this centrifugal force would exert some serious G-forces.
Oh, damn. Chad, I've always like wanted to know exactly what G-force means. Chad, the only thing I remember for G-force is like literally the movie, bro. Look, this movie. Yeah, that's probably what everybody remembers it from. G-force is a measure of acceleration relative to the force of Earth's gravity, with 1 gram being equal to the acceleration due to gravity, about 9.8 meters per second squared. It is experienced during any acceleration, deceleration, or change of direction, such as when a fighter jet turns, a car brakes, a roller coaster goes through a loop. High G-forces can make you feel heavier, while negative G-forces can make you feel lighter. Just like basically a measure of acceleration and deceleration. I guess that's like the best, simplest way to put it.
As Neptune's winds accelerated your ship to about 10 Gs, everything inside your body would feel heavy.
Damn, bro.
That would be your organs getting compressed inside your body. Your blood would pool around your legs and cause oxygen deprivation to your brain. You'd lose consciousness pretty quickly.
I would feel so weird. Like, chat, you know how you get on like one of those like crazy roller coasters where it goes super fast and everything? Like that feeling you get after, like you literally just worked out, bro. Even though you're literally sitting down the whole time, you feel like you literally worked out. Your muscles feel kind of heavy. You're kind of like low key, kind of out of breath and stuff from screaming and everything. Like, bro, yeah, that's just imagine that, but like 100 times worse. Just being in this windstorm going 2,000 kilometers per hour, bro.
It would only take about 5 minutes for the ship and your body to lose their structural integrity completely and disintegrate into the Neptunian atmosphere. Well, that was pretty...
Bro, just imagine literally like bodies just flying around the atmosphere, bro. Or like, Chow, I wonder if you got trapped in Neptune, like your body got just sucked into this, like how it would decompose and how fast it would. Like would the wind speeds actually help you decompose faster, or would it just be kind of normal? Like, I don't know. That's weird to me. Like, I'm just wondering how that process would work.
I give Neptune a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. Okay.
Well, I know you guys like Pluto, so since you asked so nicely, I thought I'd give you a little treat and show you what it's like here.
All right, Buzz Lightyear.
Pluto isn't exactly a planet. It's a dwarf planet on the outskirts of the solar system. It's smaller than Earth's moon, but even this tiny rock has ways to kill you.
I would imagine any rock up there in space can kill me in some way, bro. Like, that's not a surprise.
It's a little cold in here. You feel that?
It's cold.
Temperature reading minus 239 degrees Celsius.
Pluto is even further away from the sun than Neptune, so it barely gets any of the sun's energy. One small malfunction in your spacesuit insulation, and you'd freeze to death.
I feel like you freeze to death regardless. If you're that far away from the sun, outside the solar system,
you'd feel the frostbite setting in after just 30 seconds. Another 30 seconds later, your bodily fluids would start turning into icicles, and you'd get extreme hypothermia as an unpleasant bonus that you didn't ask for.
That's insane,
After
bro.
2 minutes, your body temperature would drop below 30 degrees Celsius, which is the exact moment when you'd lose consciousness.
Yeah, you're done after that. God damn,
After
bro.
3 minutes, your body would freeze and your organs would fail. you'd become one with Pluto's frozen landscape. Quick and almost painless.
I was about to say, like, this doesn't seem like the absolute worst death compared to the other ones where you freeze and stuff, because there was other planets where you freeze and get radiation or just some sort of like second thing, whereas this is just like, okay, you get frostbite, all of a sudden you dead in like the next 10 seconds. Like, maybe that will be the least painful, I guess.
A 7 out of 10 for Pluto.
Bro.
It did hurt.
Oh, really? I would have never guessed. Yo, W guy, bro.
Well, that's it for this solar system's planets. Where should we send Chase to Sorry.
Oh,
Where
hey.
should we send Chase to explore?
I mean, that's basically what you're doing, bro. You're sending him to his death every time.
Or next. Maybe we'll ship him all the way to an exoplanet outside of our planetary corner. But
maybe
that's a story for another What If.
20 seconds.
20 seconds.
In the summer of 2013, in the Swiss Alps near Martigny, one of the world's most daring stuntmen prepared for what should have been another breathtaking descent. His name was Mark Sutton.
Okay.
He's a professional parachutist best known for his role in the London 2012 Olympics opening ceremony.
You see, stuff like this is like things that you dream of doing, but I don't know if I ever have the balls to do it, bro. Like, I really want to, though, chat. Like, just being able to fly in the sky, I feel like that's gotta be like top 3 feeling ever. You know what I'm saying? Just the adrenaline, just seeing the land beneath you and stuff. I feel like that's such a great experience, but it's just like so many things could go wrong, bro.
Best known for his role in the London 2012 Olympics opening ceremony, where he famously jumped into the stadium dressed as James Bond alongside the Queen. But this time,
that ain't no Queen. That's a quick nigga.
His jump would not end with applause. Sutton launched himself into the sky in a wingsuit, soaring across the mountain valley. For 20 exhilarating seconds, he glided.
See, like, chat, this looks like something that would be so cool to do in a game or something, but not in real life, bro. Not in real life. Like, all it takes is you just, swerving a little bit too much to the right and you're done.
Like a bird, cutting through the air at speeds over 120 miles per hour.
Like, I'll do this in VR.
Few people on Earth would ever get to experience. But then, in an instant, it was gone. At 20 seconds into the flight, Sutton lost control.
Bro, you
His trajectory veered off the correct pathway, and before he could recover, he slammed into the side of the mountain.
Oh my god. Yeah, you're going way too fast, bro. That's the thing is, chat, this is what I told you. Like, so many things could go wrong. Not even your own human error, but literally just nature itself, bro. Like, the wind, can just blow you just the right amount to just kill you, bro.
The side of the mountain.
Oh my gosh.
When they found him, his body was unrecognizable, and they were only able to confirm that it was him through DNA scans.
Wow.
Investigators later examined footage of the jump to understand what went wrong.
Oh my god. Wait, I wonder if he was like actually head first, if his body just kind of compressed, or it just like his limbs just dislocated into all different types of places.
If it was a miscalculation, a heavy gust of wind, or simply the razor-thin margin of error that comes with flying inches from the ground in a wing.
Could be all three of that, man.
No matter the cause, the outcome was the same.
Damn, bro.
One of the sport's most skilled pioneers had paid the ultimate price, and there was no bringing him back. Friends described him as fearless, committed, and unforgettable. A man who had lived his life in moments that most people could only dream of. But in extreme sports, even 20 seconds can be enough to determine your fate.
Anything extreme like that, it's not even 20 seconds. Every second counts. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you tilt just a little too much to the right, or you don't pay attention to the wind, the way it's blowing and stuff, like, and you're going that fast, there's very, very little margin for error, bro. Subway surfing.
Imagine clinging to the side of a speeding train. You climb to the roof with its steel rattling beneath your feet, wind screaming in your ears, and with your body being pumped full of adrenaline. That's train surfing, one of the most...
So people really be doing this, bro? Like, I heard of it happening mostly in third countries and stuff where they, just hang on to the cars or whatever and just like ride around like that. But they really be doing this on trains, like going that fast? Like, how do you even hang on?
Dangerous extreme sports out there. Although in reality, it's more reckless thrill-seeking than an actual officialized sport.
Oh yeah, that's not a sport.
In places like South Africa, Russia, and Germany, spreading worldwide as a dangerous daredevil subculture. One of the most...
Bro, this is like taking parkour to the absolute next level, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, I would think about doing some shit like this as a kid, kind of, but I would never actually go through. It would just be a thought in my head, like, damn, what would happen if I just grab onto that, you know what I'm saying, that train, just hang on like I'm Spider-Man or some shit, but, you don't actually do those things unless your impulses are that strong.
One areas train surfing has become a part of is New York.
Some people don't care, though.
On a Saturday afternoon in the Greenwich Village, down in the tunnels of the West 4th Street
I was listening to King Von, bro.
Subway station. Trains thundered through the darkness, with their steel frames rattling the walls as they sped past. For most, it was just another commute, but for one man, it was his opportunity to go train surfing. Police say he had been riding on the outside of a southbound F train as it tore through the tunnels. For a few moments, he clung to the side of the moving car, then he climbed to the top, where he felt the rush of air and the roar of the tracks, giving him a thrill like none other.
Like, bro, I get it. You feel like a dog. You know how dogs be hanging out the window just to feel like the wind and shit? But this is completely different, bro. Like, you're going really fast on a big-ass train, bro. Like, any move, you're done.
So most of you have played Subway Surfers at least once in your life.
Hell yeah.
Whenever you hop on top of a train and make the mistake of hitting a tunnel, you'll fly off in a cartoonish manner where you're then arrested by that big back that's chasing you.
Why say big back? Why you say it like that, bro? That was funny. But yeah, bro, this is not gonna happen in real life. You're not gonna just get caught by a big guy. You're gonna get caught by freaking heaven or hell, whatever you're going.
Get a good laugh at it, then you play the game again. Yeah. It's nowhere near as hilarious in real life.
Nowhere.
As you could assume from this extremely dangerous and
why you make it look so goofy though, bro? Like,
extremely dangerous
why you got his tongue out?
Sport. While the man finished climbing to the top of the train to get a gust of fresh air, he'd get more than he bargained for. A tunnel showed up, and before the man could even process what he saw, because of
God damn, man!
The extreme amount of air pressure being thrown at his body at the moment, he fell and was caught underneath the train.
Oh my gosh,
At 3:11 p.m., a 911.
That's the thing, bro. Like, one thing that always gets me is just like how fast we're going in just regular cars or public transportation, like trains and stuff. Like, you don't really feel it when you're inside and you're just, you know, you're actually taking the ride or you're driving. But bro, if you're outside that bitch, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna feel how fast you're going, especially if you hit something, scrape by something. Like, it's way more damaging than you would think it would be, like being inside the transportation vehicle.
Someone said they had seen a man slip beneath the subway earlier, and sure enough, when officers arrived, they found him under the train with his body decapitated. Whatever adrenaline he had been chasing ended instantly, and it was replaced by silence and horror in the underground.
Yeah, bro. RIP to this guy, but it's like, at that point, you gotta just not do stupid shit. Like, come on, bro. You're really gonna try subway surfing in real life, bro? Like, how do you think that was gonna go? There was only one way that was gonna go, bro.
For the unfortunate commuters forced to pass the site, it was a grim reminder of the dangers lurking in the cities.
Don't do stupid stuff like that.
It was just another entry in a long list of subway surfing tragedies.
Oh my god.
Quick little moments of thrill.
Well, that's like a popular thing. Like, a whole bunch of people be doing this.
Subway surfing tragedy.
It's a teenager too. I feel like it's mostly teenagers, young people that do this, because they're like the only ones that are agile to do this type of shit. And you know, those are the type of the daredevils and shit. But oh my gosh, bro. Wow.
Quick little moments of thrill that collapse into traumatic memories that both strangers and loved ones alike will never forget. The adrenaline is never worth the risk.
It's never worth it, bro. Like, there's other things you could do for adrenaline, bro. Go on roller coasters and stuff. Like, there's things you could do to get better adrenaline. You know what I'm saying? Play your sports at a competitive nature. Playing competitive esports. Like, there's a lot of different things to do, bro. Instead of running on top of trains and trying to jump and shit and like just trying to be cool. Like, no, hell no.
While we're on the topic,
don't do that.
The same goes for your mind. The whole reason I make these Stickmen videos is so that you don't have to witness the real thing. Don't go searching for these videos online. The effect it
bro, people are definitely gonna search for these though, bro. Sometimes when things pop up on my Twitter page or whatever, I'll look or whatever, but I hate looking at it. I hate looking at gore things or anything, you know, where people are getting hurt and stuff. It just like makes me cringe in my soul. Like, I hate it. Even in movies and stuff, I'm kind of like that. Like, I can watch things, obviously a lot of adult things have blood and killings and stuff like that, but it's like, it gets to a point, bro. I can't watch like those Saw type of movies where it's just completely going on and shit. Like, it just makes me freaking cringe, bro.
On your brain is horrible, especially if you're young. Traumatizing yourself.
I feel like you're okay with those type of things and you just crave it. Like, you want to keep watching blood and gore. Like, something's dead ass wrong with your brain, dude.
Isn't worth it. And trust me, I can promise you that. The slamming incident.
Slam incident?
High in the Swiss Alps, the snow glistened under a cold April sky. For a young 21-year-old world champion snowboarder, this was more than a mountain. It was her playground, her stage, and most of all, her destiny. She had conquered countless competitions and had practically carved her name into the world of snowboarding.
Okay.
But on this day,
bro, snowboarding looks so fun, bro. I really want to do that. Like, I want to go in the mountains where it snows and stuff and just like actually learn how to snowboard, because I love skateboarding, obviously just on regular land. I feel like snowboarding would be so lit, bro, just going down the hills and shit. Like, has anybody snowboarded? Let me know in the comments.
The woman was being filmed for a project, showcasing her incredible skill as she cut across the steep alpine slopes.
Jeez.
The cameras rolled, her board sliced through the powder, and everything seemed perfect. Then, without warning, the snow itself began to move. Like, a lot.
Oh, don't tell me it's a freaking avalanche, bro. Yeah, that's the risk you take. You know what I'm saying? Going snowboarding and stuff, the avalanches. Because, like, there's very little you could do in this situation, especially if you're, like, so close to it and you can't, like, get away from it in time.
In the blink of an eye, an avalanche broke loose.
Oh, my God.
Tons of snow and ice thundered down the mountain, faster than any snowboarder could ever outrun.
Ah, damn.
It should be known that on average, avalanches move at about 80 miles per hour.
80 miles? You see, it doesn't look like that, chat. Like when you look at it in videos, it doesn't look like it's moving that fast, but it really is.
At that speed, that's enough force to topple any building, rock, or tree caught in its path, most of which are moving along with the avalanche whenever it's crashing down a mountain. It slammed into the woman with the force of a speeding vehicle, and she was swallowed by it instantly. Rocks, debris, branches, and heavy ice carved and tore at her body.
See, that's the most dangerous part of it too. It's not just the impact. The impact alone can be fatal, but it's all the debris that comes in the avalanche from like the trees or any wood and stuff that could just be flying around.
Heavy ice carved and tore at her body.
Yeah, just the ice itself. You know what I'm saying? The ice could be sharp as hell.
Until its eventual finishing slam.
Oh.
Finally, the avalanche stopped, but the woman was missing. She laid buried alive deep within the frozen chaos, crushed and disfigured.
God damn.
Rescue teams rushed in, digging through the snow and desperately searching for her. But by the time they found her, it was already too late. Even with safety gear and avalanche detectors, the force was overwhelming. This woman, once one of the brightest and youngest stars in snowboarding, was gone in seconds.
Wait, she was 21? Oh my god, she was literally a prodigy. She was gonna have a bright future and everything, bro.
Even champions are fragile again.
I mean, she already had a good career and stuff, but she could have had like a 10+ long career at least. You know what I'm saying? It says that she was snowboarding since she was a child, so she's been doing this shit forever, was super comfortable and stuff, and to be taken out like that, man, that's catastrophic, bro. Like, I feel bad.
Even champions are fragile against nature. If you're an outdoorsy person like me, always be alert.
Anyone is not immune to nature, bro. Nature calls, that's it.
The Red Bull incident.
The
arena was packed and its air was alive with cheers and the violent rhythm of tradition. In the center, a matador faced down his opponent. Not another fighter, not another man, but a bull weighing more than half a ton.
Yeah, I couldn't do this shit. I feel like this is low-key a death sentence, bro. All it takes, like, I know you can, use the cape to lure them in, but if they just see you, they don't see that cape, they're like, oh, you gonna keep teasing me? And then they just get mad at you and get you right there? Oh my, you're cooked.
At first, the fight went as expected. Matador waved down his red cape and the bull charged. As you'd guess, in the background, the crowd roared at each narrow escape. With over 2 decades of experience in the ring, this 39-year-old Spanish bullfighter was known
bro, you is not him, boy.
best to do it in his time.
Not big.
He'd toss his cape to one side, effortlessly thwarting the bull's charge. Then he'd do it again, to make the crowd go wild. But then, in a heartbeat, the balance shifted. He'd put up his cape again for the bull to charge past him, but unexpectedly, it caught him.
Oh,
the bull slammed into the matador's face.
God damn!
Struck him in his skull, fracturing up.
Bro, that's like the worst fear, just being around any animal that has horns, bro. Their horns just going straight into your freaking throat or something, even in your chest. That's like the worst way, bro. Just like piercing. I feel like that's worse than just getting a knife in you.
Brutal that the horn struck him in his skull, fracturing upward through his jaw and out his eye. He was hit directly in the head by a 1,000-pound bull's horn.
That's the thing, like, that wouldn't take you out right away. That's why it makes it so bad, because I think he would eventually die from like blood loss and stuff, but that first initial thing, he's gonna feel all that, bro.
1,000-pound bull's horn, effectively splitting his face in two.
1,000 pounds?
Effectively splitting his face in two. The crowd fell silent as blood poured onto the sand. The matador dangled helplessly, impaled by the animal until it heavily thrashed him off of its horn. The worst part is that the man was fully conscious. He rose back from the ground like a zombie.
That's what I said. He's not gonna be completely dead off of that, bro, because it didn't like pierce any brain things. It probably got close, but I don't think it pierced any part of the brain or something to where it could like just instantly kill him. So he had to literally live through that shit, bro.
He rose back from the ground like a zombie and began screaming that he couldn't see, sending the crowd into a horrific panic. Other bullfighters jumped into the ring to distract the bull and to retrieve the man's body.
Shit, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not hopping back in that bitch. That bull already said what he want to do to you. I'm not hopping in that shit. I ain't gonna lie. We gonna call some authorities, get this handle. We gonna take that bull out or something, bro.
His teeth were shattered, his jaw and cheekbone were fractured, and the horn head punctured out his eye and pierced him right through his skull.
Oh my gosh.
But, to everyone's complete and total shock, the man actually somehow survived. The horn pierced his skull and was dangerously close to his brain.
That's what I said.
Against all odds.
If it would have got his brain, that would have been it.
He returned back to the ring less than a year later, and he'd continue his passion. Juan Jose Padilla is now known as the Pirate of Bullfighting.
Oh my gosh.
In 2018, he'd experienced another horrible incident where he was scalped by a bull. Honestly, This man...
Okay, this guy just, you kept doing bull stuff even after. You know what? I'm gonna give you a round of applause just for that, bro. You had the balls to just keep doing this shit even though after what happened to you. Oh my God. And then it happened again, bro. Like, what?
In 2018, he'd experienced...
I'm sorry. If that happened to me, bro, anything even close, bro. If I even get a scare, I'm not touching a freaking bull ring in my life again, bro.
The horrible incident where he was scalped by a bull.
Like, you got fortunate enough to survive that.
This man might just be invincible because he'd somehow survive once more, and he'd return back to the ring again to continue the sport.
Okay, bro, you
Extreme
just...
sports are, well, pretty
You just asking for it.
And honestly, there's really nothing wrong with living life to the fullest.
Nope,
All I'd say is that adrenaline makes you feel invincible, but reality has no safety net. So, always, at least make sure the risk is worth the reward. As always, have a happy day.
Sterkfontein Cave Incident. It was September 29th, 1984. A cave explorer named Nuno Gomez was exploring unmapped sections.
Wait, why is that low-key a comp name, though? Nuno Gomez? That sounds like a professional basketball player or something. No, not professional basketball player, like a baseball player.
Exploring
MLB.
Unmapped sections of the Sterkfontein Cave in South Africa. He was accompanied by his two friends, Peter Verhulsel and Malcolm, and together they planned to lay a guideline from the entrance to the farthest point of the wet cave area known as Milner Hall.
See, like, how do you look at something like this and it's like, all right, let's climb it. Let's go die, bro. Come on, we'll make it out. Hell no, boy. You going your damn self, not me.
Nuno to go in and place the guideline, while Peter and Malcolm waited outside, assisting him from the surface. Nuno plunged into the water.
So not only it's a cave, but do most caves have water like this or something? But not only is it a cave, I thought they're just going through, you know, cracks and crevices and stuff. No, there's literal water, so you could drown.
Malcolm waited outside, assisting him from the surface. Nuno plunged into the water and successfully laid the line, covering a distance of 396 feet from the entrance to the end. Happy because of the success, the three decided to go back in and follow the new guideline. Once they reached the air pocket at the...
Basically, this first guy that goes, he's risking his life. If he don't come back, then they're just both gonna be like, oh, well, it is what it is. Because, like, they're not gonna go try to find him.
They were satisfied that they had successfully mapped this cave section. So they turned around and began to head out, following the line. As Nuno led the group, he suddenly felt Malcolm touch him. Malcolm was signaling that Peter was no longer behind them. Nuno went back to see where Peter had gone and noticed that he had entered a side tunnel. Nuno tapped Peter to get his attention and signaled him to return to the guideline and exit the cave. As they headed back, however, Peter disappeared again. This time, Nuno and Malcolm assumed he had taken the other exit, avoiding the tight squeeze they themselves used, so they did not go back to look for him.
So he purposely went that different route to, like, make it easier on himself, technically?
The tight squeeze they themselves used, so they did not go back to look for him. When Nuno and Malcolm surfaced...
I'm sorry, bro. You laid a guideline already, bro. Go the freaking way the guideline is going, bro. I don't care if it's rough or nothing. Like, you trying to take different routes in a goddamn cave you haven't even been before. Like, dude, come on.
Peter was not there and still hadn't come out after a while. They submerged once more to look for him. They searched along the guideline and even in the side tunnels, but there was no sign of him. After 4 long hours, they ran out of air tanks, and the stirred up silt reduced visibility to almost nothing. Finally, late that afternoon, they exited the cave and called for help. The fire brigade arrived, but lacking cave diving expertise, had to wait for the police divers to continue the search in the evening.
So I'll say a typical firefighter or whatever, police is not gonna just go in this freaking cave, bro. Like, I'm not doing it.
So stirred up that visibility was heavily impaired. The police called off the search for the night, convinced they would now be searching for a body rather than a survivor. What no one realized was that Peter was not dead at all. He had been...
But he wasn't dead? Where the hell was he then?
Sidetracked by a secondary tunnel, and the cave's complex 3D structure, combined with the lack of a guideline, the stirred up silt, and the darkness, made it nearly impossible for him to orient himself. After trying many possible paths, Peter found a small room and decided to wait there for rescuers.
Oh my gosh. Just imagine how scary that is. Just like, oh shit, just I lost where I'm going. I can't feel my friends. I can't see anything. Yo, he's so lucky he found this room.
Thrown his light into the water in hopes of signaling his friends. But when no one came for a long time, he switched it off to conserve the little battery life remaining. He tried making noise by banging his tank on the rocks, but to no avail.
Yeah, that ain't gonna do nothing, bro. You deep in there. They is not gonna hear you.
Eventually, he became exhausted, fell asleep, and lost track of time. After that first night of searching, the police closed off the cave so no one else could enter.
Bro, why does this kind of remind me of like a Mr. Beast video? Who can stay in the cave for 100 days, 100K per day?
Fortunately, the silt took a long time to settle, so visibility remained poor. Convinced Peter had not survived, the police decided to wait a full week before resuming the search.
Oh my gosh, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna lie. If I was his friend, I'd be on their ass like, nah, you guys need to go in there now. Like, there's a chance he could be alive. But at the same time, I also get it that they would think he's dead. Because, like, bro, it's underwater. You know, nobody's gonna survive that long.
On October 6th, 7 days after Peter's disappearance, they returned but found no sign of him. Another week passed before they tried again, but he was nowhere to be seen. Meanwhile, Peter was still alive. He had spent 14 days in complete darkness.
Oh my gosh, he's gonna go insane, bro. I feel like this is worse than being in a freaking asylum.
Starving and having lost much of his weight. Hoping for a way out, he decided to follow a passage leading from the small room where he had sheltered. After traveling 120 feet away from the water, he discovered it was only a dead end, so he returned to his spot near the water to wait once more for rescuers. The police—
Bro, that had to be so devastating because look how far this is. He probably thought, oh, I'm getting somewhere. And then for it to be a dead end, oh, I'm pretty sure that's heartbreaking, bro.
But they never found him.
Ah, damn. How did they not find just that one crevice he's in, bro?
Search with no result. At that point, they reopened the dry sections of the cave, but kept the water section closed. Volunteers then began looking for a connection between the dry and wet cave systems, and Nuno joined them. His contributions were crucial. He was the one who discovered the connection where they could enter the wet section of the cave. It was there that they found a set of footprints leading to a dead end, and soon after, Peter's body. Beside his body was a message that read, "I love you, Cheryl and Ma." It was later discovered that one—
Damn, that's actually so sad, bro. Like, he knew he was going out, like, just writing messages and stuff. Wow, bro. That had to be, like, one of the worst ways. Like, just starving to death and just, like, you know you're about to die. Like, there's nothing you could do about it. It's not quick or nothing. It's super slow. And you're just hoping somebody could save you day by day, and then it just never happens.
One diver had come really close to finding him as he entered an opening that was just 100 feet away from Peter's location. The autopsy revealed that he died of starvation after 3 weeks in the cave.
Yeah, that's the main reason. There had to be, you know, a good opening for oxygen, so he didn't, like, drown. But yeah, not eating nothing, bro. I wonder if he tried, like, drinking the water or something, or if he just didn't try.
3 weeks in the cave. Although we may criticize Peter's decision to explore on his own, we should also respect the fact that he fought to survive until the very end.
Nah, he was definitely a fighter. To go weeks, you know what I'm saying? Just waiting. Nah, that's definitely fight right there. But yeah, this is why I wouldn't do this type of shit, bro. This is way too much risk. And on top of that, bro, if you're gonna take risks, don't take even more risks. You know what I'm saying? Like going a different route that you're not even familiar with. Like, come on.
It was March 27th, 1982, and Donald Welch—
RIP to everybody in this video, though. RIP.
With his 2 sons, Christopher and Roger, were about to lead a group of 12 Boy Scouts on a day of cave exploration. This wasn't Donald's first time caving, and even though the passages in the Crooked Swamp cave system were notoriously narrow, he wasn't too concerned. Donald was bigger than the other participants, so if he could get through, the rest of the group could too. At 2 o'clock, they entered the cave through its 16 by 28-inch entrance and
Oh, that looks so freaking small, bro.
In a room inside. Donald was on the eastern side and noticed several smaller tunnels leading from the room. However, because they weren't sure which passages would be too narrow, Donald decided to check one. It involved a tight squeeze but appeared to open to another section, so he tried to push through. The squeeze measured 18 by 20 inches.
Oh my gosh, that's nothing.
Couldn't move his arms backwards
I'm saying,
lift his
like,
head to see ahead. He was followed by his—
Bro, as soon as you even feel that, we moving back. We're moving all the way back. Oh, hell no, boy. I can't move on arms and shit. Nope. It's not getting improved. We going home today.
And while moving forward thanks to the mud, making the terrain slippery, he reported back to them what was happening. Everything seemed normal until something unexpected occurred. As he pulled himself along, he realized—
No way. He, like, slid down?
The ground below him was disappearing. Donald slipped down into a tight crevice, and the slick mud prevented him from stopping his slide. His hands were trapped, leaving him no leverage to pull himself up. Making matters worse, the path angled about 30 degrees, so he had to fight against gravity. The crevice was just 5 inches wide, and the slippery mud caused his body to settle more and more. He told his sons to pull on his feet, but after several failed attempts, he told them to get the other adult in the cave, Jim. After a while, Jim also realized they wouldn't be able to free—
Damn, so he was just stuck in that bit, like not even pulling could get him out?
Donald on their own. Donald explained that some rocks had loosened when he slid and were now wedging against his body. Each time they tried to pull him backward, the loose rocks would slide forward and block the passage. Jim exited the cave to call for help.
Bro, that has to be the worst, bro. Just knowing you're just right there, somebody trying to pull on you, they just can't, bro. Just knowing that.
Cave rescue specialists and the police arrived, and because only one person could squeeze into that narrow space at a time, they tried using ropes to free Donald. This didn't work either, so they brought in tools to try breaking some of the rocks. However, given how tight the space was, hours of work led to only small breakthroughs, and Donald's situation grew worse. He was thirsty, hungry, and in a very cold environment.
This type of stuff take hours, because first of all, each of them have to go in, they have to figure out their game plan, what exactly they're gonna do, and then actually getting in the cave, and then seeing if it works, then it doesn't work, then they go and start over and over again. Like, that's hours and hours and hours.
Considered entering from the other side to give Donald food and water, but they found that the passage leading to where he laid was extremely narrow.
Yeah, that looks way too tight, bro.
2 very small cavers, sisters Lynn and Nancy Taylor, were able to fit, but even then, they couldn't reach Donald's head. This meant there was no way of delivering supplies, so rescuers had to act quickly. They
didn't have, like, no type of robot or something like that. Like, damn, it was that tight?
Delivering supplies, so rescuers had to act quickly. They decided to dig from above ground, down to where Donald was stuck. The process lasted all day Sunday, getting them close to the required depth. Unfortunately, though, they were about 12 feet away from Donald's position, so they needed to dig laterally. Meanwhile, Donald began giving only grunting responses, which indicated he was likely suffering from hypothermia. On Monday morning, as 2 days passed from when he—
That's crazy. You would think like being in the cave would actually be like too hot and stuff, but it's actually super fucking cold.
Stuck, the digging continued, but the team encountered another problem: extremely hard bedrock layers that were impossible to dig through. At this point, they weren't sure if Donald was still alive, so they sent a nurse into the cave with a handheld Doppler machine to see if he still had a pulse. She couldn't detect one, but this wasn't definitive proof of death, since she only had access to his very cold legs. Sometimes, the body's core organs can continue functioning after the extremities have stopped registering a pulse. Seeing how quickly Donald's condition was deteriorating, rescuers started using their most extreme tools, including dynamite, which was extremely risky.
Dynamite?
But appeared to be the only option left. On Tuesday—
God damn, what if that blows his head off though?
Finally managed to reach his location, and a doctor was sent in immediately, but as many feared, Donald had died. It took an entire day to retrieve his body, and an autopsy later confirmed he had succumbed to hypothermia sometime between Sunday night and Monday morning. Following his death, the cave system was restricted to limited access. Agent Allwed incident.
Bro, I feel like all these damn caves need to be limited, bro. Just get rid of, because like, I don't know, it's just literally so much risk. But you can say that about anything, bro. You're taking a risk when you drive, you know, when you walk outside, when you do anything's a risk. But like things like this, it's like, bro, you're choosing to do this. But this is super unfortunate because he literally slipped, bro. Like he was a professional trying to scope out the area and stuff, and it was just because of some mud and stuff that he slipped and got into that little groove, bro. And that's just, oh my god, that's so unfortunate.
Roger Solari and Martin Farr, aged 26 and 23 respectively, wanted to map out the Agent Allwed cave system in South Wales. At the time, John Parker, another explorer, had abandoned the mission after discovering a third sump in one of its longest passages. Martin and Roger, however, wanted to keep going to see what lay—
Now, like, caves just freaking scare me already, and I can imagine a cave with water too, bro. Like, that's just a double whammy. Like, you're either gonna drown, you're gonna suffocate, you're gonna have hypothermia if you get stuck. Like, dude, there's so many things that go wrong.
First trip was done by Martin alone, because Roger had hurt his knee, making it extremely dangerous for Martin to continue solo. Reaching the third sump was a feat in itself, since the route was not only tortuous, but also extremely long, lasting for hours, as the first sump was about a mile into the cave. The first two sumps measured—
Bro, a mile in a cave is crazy, bro. Like, just imagine that. I feel like just walking a mile on a treadmill or anything is like super long. Imagine just crawling through a cave for a mile.
249 feet and 82 feet, so Martin passed through them relatively easily. However, the third sump was much longer, and nobody had fully explored it yet, so Martin could only hope he—
Like, how do they even do this? They have to go down. Like, I don't know if this is the exact pattern of this is drawing, but if it is, you know, accurate to the drawing, they have to go down and then swim up, bro. Like, how is that not super dangerous?
And nobody had fully explored it yet, so Martin could only hope he had enough air to reach the end. Fortunately, he managed to swim through it about 850 feet, and on the other side, he found something else interesting: a zigzagging passage, roughly
Oh, hell no, bro. No. Swim your ass back, bro, please.
800 feet long, leading to another sump. Nobody had known about this fourth sump, and Martin realized he probably wouldn't have enough air to explore it and then return. He spent the next 4 to 5 hours heading back out, planning to wait for Roger so they could tackle sump 4 together.
Like, just imagine that, bro. Just spending 4 to 5 hours in a freaking cave. Like, how scary that would be. Like, just not knowing if you're gonna make it and shit. Like, it's just like the physical capabilities of your body just slowly declining.
Planning to wait for Roger so they could tackle sump 4 together on the next trip. When they returned on June 15th, 1974, both Roger and Martin brought extra air tanks. They successfully reached sump 4 and began diving it with a guideline to help map the route. After about 400 feet, Roger finished his guideline, and he had sinus problems, even though it wasn't the first time. Despite this, they decided to continue. Martin then took out his own guideline, and they kept going, but they made an important mistake. In cave diving, there is a concept called the rule of thirds for air consumption. If you use 1/3 of your air supply on the way in, you need another third to get out, leaving the final third as an emergency reserve.
So they probably messed up and took a risk, even though like they knew this rule, but they probably took a risk, huh?
They had already used their first third and should have turned back when Roger's line ran out. Because Roger had a smaller tank than Martin, Martin assumed Roger would head out while he continued forward. He eventually came to a gravel wall of rock, which could have indicated the sump was ending, and possibly an air pocket. By this point, he was well past the halfway mark of his tank, so it was becoming extremely risky. He pushed on until he reached solid rock, confirming there was no air pocket. Spotting a passage to the right, he explored another 29 feet, but it ended in a dead end. When he backtracked, he was shocked to see Roger still there. Martin quickly signaled that they had to return. Roger, likely realizing he didn't have enough air to make it back, attempted to locate the same air pocket Martin had been searching for.
Oh my gosh. He thought there was an air pocket, so he was like trying to rush to there just to find out it's just dead ends, bro.
Continued about 130 feet until his main tank ran out, forcing him to switch to a reserve tank. That would give him only about 300 feet in sump 4 and another 850 feet in sump 3. Barely enough. However, he had previously placed...
Imagine having to switch your freaking oxygen tank just to get you through the rest of the swim. Like how scary that is.
Partially filled tank between sump 3 and sump 2, and he aimed to reach that. Finally emerging from sump 4, Martin sat on the bank waiting for Roger, who, remember, had a smaller tank. If he didn't appear soon, it would be a huge problem. After 20 minutes with no sign of Roger, Martin realized that if Roger had surfaced from sump 4 at that moment, he likely wouldn't have enough air left to get through sump 3. After an hour, Martin was certain Roger's air had run out. Martin entered the water again and tried pulling the guideline to make it tense, but it didn't. It was no longer connected. It had been cut at about the 430-foot mark. This was probably where Roger needed to change tanks, because switching them wasn't a simple task at the time.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how the hell is the process of switching? Like, you take it off, pretty much not breathe, and be able to do that, you know, in time to get back so you don't freaking drown.
Arm through the line to avoid losing it, twisted his body to reach the valve and become tangled, forcing him to cut the line to move freely. This, combined with the silt kicked up by movement, likely reduced his visibility, and he may have swum the wrong way. At that point,
oh no, you like went the wrong way, dude.
No doubt Roger had exhausted his air. Martin stayed calm.
That's the thing, it's dark as hell in these caves, right? So like, that's why they have to use those guidelines and stuff.
Managed to navigate the next 3 sumps safely. He alerted the authorities immediately, and the search for Roger's body began. Martin himself joined the search, along with many others. However, Roger's remains were not found until 1986, 12 years later. Recovering the body was deemed too risky, so it was left in the cave, and a plaque was placed near the entrance of Sump 1 in Roger's honor. In 1987, another explorer passed through Sump 4 and finally located the air pocket, 875 feet in, the very one Roger and Martin had hoped to find. It was called the Against All Odds Chamber.
Yeah, that's exactly what this freaking cave is, against all odds.
That after this incident, he never broke the rule of thirds again. He went on to have a remarkable diving career.
I'm sorry, there is absolutely no excuse for breaking any type of rules when it comes to doing things of this risky, you know what I'm saying?
The entrance to the cave system is locked, and only specific, experienced divers are granted a key. Floyd Collins incident. In late,
like, even if you do get a key and go in this cave, like, and then you see the RIP thing in there, bro, that should just make you turn back. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go in there.
Floyd Collins incident. In late December 1924, Floyd Collins discovered a cave called Sand Cave, which was easily accessible to tourists because it was near a highway. He quickly struck a deal with the land's owners to receive 50% of any profits from the cave's exploration. Afterward, he immediately began working there. Since there was no significant entrance, however, many tourists avoided it. As a result, Floyd spent hours every day over the next few weeks digging deeper and deeper. On January 30th, 1920,
you got too much balls, man. Like, I would be too scared to dig, and you know, all of a sudden the land comes out from underneath me and it's wraps.
It was snowing outside, and once again Floyd went into the cave, only to find...
You went into the cave while it's snowing?
Shocking. Crawling forward with a lantern, he reached what was known as the turnaround room, called that way because...
Yeah, that means turn the fuck around. Turn the hell around.
Cavers would stop there and turn around, deeming it too risky to continue. The only way to go farther was through a tiny narrow hole called the Squeeze, which measured only 9 inches in height.
9 inches?
Floyd, however, managed to push through. Beyond the Squeeze, he saw a...
What the f... Yo, come on, bro. Why would you even risk that?
Dropping about 10 feet. He went down feet first and reached the bottom, where he found yet another pit. Squatting down...
Like, bro, you're not even thinking about how the hell you gonna get back. Like, yeah, thank God you got through, but dude, you have to get all the way back too. And then you're going down, you know, down into the hole and shit. Like,
he removed the remaining rocks and debris and finally saw an opening into the main cave. He tied a rope in place and descended an 80-foot drop. Reaching the cavern floor, he was amazed by the sight, but noticed his light was starting to dim. Wanting to avoid being left in the dark, he climbed back up the 80-foot drop and began returning, moving backwards and pushing his lantern with his shoulder. Unfortunately, his lantern slipped into a tiny hole and shattered, leaving him in total darkness. Because the cavern was extremely unstable, Floyd knew he had to move carefully to avoid dislodging loose rocks. Unable to see, however, he kicked one loose, and it fell onto his left leg, trapping him. him. He tried.
That's the thing. These rocks in these caves are big as hell. Like, they can just trap you, bro. It's not one of those little ones you just kick off, you know.
With his right leg, but the more he moved, the more rocks tumbled down, further wedging him in place. It was 10 a.m. and he began shouting for help, hoping someone would hear him. He remained there all day, and by 9 a.m. the next morning, nearly 24 hours after he had become trapped, two of the cave's owners arrived with their 17-year-old son, Jewel Estes, to check on him. They saw Floyd's coat hanging outside the cave and called his name, but no one answered, so they ventured deeper. Before long, the two owners turned back because the passages were too tight, but Jewel continued and eventually found Floyd, who asked him to call his brothers for help. Soon, Marshall Collins, Floyd's brother, and Lee Collins, Floyd's father, reached the entrance, finding a growing crowd watching the rescue attempt. Marshall and another man went inside to widen the passage, digging carefully so as not to send loose rocks tumbling onto Floyd. At 4 p.m., Floyd's other brother Homer arrived. Floyd had previously asked Homer to come along that day, so Homer felt guilty for refusing and did his—
I imagine how intense this has to be, like, as his relatives and stuff just trying to go save him, bro. And you just know the time is just ticking. You know what I'm saying? He could get hypothermia too. The rocks can continue falling, probably fall on his face or something. And you guys are just trying every single way to get him out, but every single way just doesn't work. Like, how bad that has to feel, bro.
To help. He did reach Floyd, but a new problem emerged. The crowds outside had started multiple bonfires. The melting ice funneled water into the cave, creating—
Bro, are you serious?
Mud and sending freezing cold water down toward Floyd.
Why the fuck would they do that? What the— Bro, so nobody gave him a warning to not do that stupid shit? Oh my gosh, bro. That would piss me off. If I was the brothers, bro, I would go out there and freaking beat everybody up, bro.
After 8 hours with Floyd, his brothers had to rest. Upon emerging, Homer grew furious at the huge crowd, telling people to leave.
Saying, like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, if y'all not gonna help or something, like, what are you watching, bro? This is not a TV show. This is somebody's real life in their hands, bro.
However, none of them listened. Reporters began arriving, hoping to
Reporters? You know, oh my gosh, bro. This is like some dystopian shit for real. Like, dead ass, like, reporters coming up and showing up. Like, dude, we're trying to rescue somebody and you guys are trying to make some money off there, get some clout or get some videos and shit.
Told them to see for themselves inside the cave.
Bro, you know how fast I would flip off this freaking reporter, bro? Like, get the fuck out of my face.
Some claimed Floyd was already dead or that the cave had collapsed entirely. Determined to prove otherwise, Marshall offered a $500,000 reward to anyone who saved his brother. As rumors spread more, however, he went in to check on Floyd himself and found him alive. Floyd managed to free one hand, suggesting they tie a rope around his chest to pull him out. But as soon as they tried, he begged them to stop, saying he felt like he was being pulled in two. Homer worked continuously.
Probably because the rocks are on his legs, so like they're just literally pulling his upper body only.
Removing dirt and debris until he was utterly exhausted and needed medical attention. By Tuesday night, 95 hours after Floyd had become trapped, a reporter named Skeets entered the cave and installed a light bulb near Floyd. While removing rubble, Skeets exposed more of Floyd's legs, but still couldn't free him. His story and interview with Floyd were published, drawing even larger crowds.
He really interviewed him, bro? Like, oh my gosh, dude, this is pissing me off, bro. Like, why are people just trying to take advantage of the situation? Like, I get it, bro. Like, I know it's like good for entertainment and everything, but at some point, bro, like, you're crossing a certain line sometimes, bro.
And at least 1,000 people gathered around Sand Cave. All this activity further weakened the cave walls, putting it at risk of collapse, though nobody realized it at the time.
Bro, oh my gosh, bro, this has to be the worst one because it's literally getting influenced by a whole bunch of dumbasses outside, bro.
As everyone was rooting for Floyd. At hour 123, the entrance to the pit collapsed, blocking any access to Floyd and cutting off deliveries of food and water. By hour 144, a team of workers formed to dig a new tunnel to reach him. The only way they could know if Floyd was still alive was the light bulb Skeets had installed. It was connected to another bulb outside, which would flicker when Floyd breathed. They dug relentlessly, but with no food or water reaching Floyd, combined with the cold temperature, his chances were fading quickly. By Friday, February 13th, the men had nearly reached him, and one worker reported hearing groaning about 10 feet away. However, at 1:30 a.m. on February 16th, a worker reached Floyd and found him already deceased. Initially, Floyd's body was left in the cave.
Bro.
After some time, though, his brother Homer arranged for its removal and gave him a proper burial.
The Hershey's incident.
Hershey's?
On a Halloween night in 2011, a small home on Winchester Avenue in Chicago quickly became the scene of a nightmare. After trick-or-treating, a grown 55-year-old man fell into a fury with his partner after discovering that his bag of Hershey's candy was missing. He was convinced that the...
Please don't tell me, man. Please don't tell me he's about to crash out over some goddamn candy, bro. Because I wouldn't be surprised. The last video we watched, I don't know if it was Talking Hat or not. I'm pretty sure it probably was. But we're watching the gamer deaths and people were crashing out over because they weren't playing the game right or something. Is this going to be the same thing?
49-year-old woman had taken it. And what started as a petty accusation quickly escalated into a heated argument.
Bro.
The shouting grew louder and tempers boiled over. In desperation, and perhaps in an effort to also protect herself, The 49-year-old woman hurled a plate at the man's head.
Oh my gosh. Oh my, wait, what warranted her to do that, bro? Like, I know he's saying probably self-defense or whatever. I need the full story. Like, did she just randomly just throw the plate at him first?
Man's head, striking him in the face and cutting above his eye.
Wow.
The injury, later visible in the mugshot taken of him, only stoked his anger further. With blood dripping down his face, the man reached for a kitchen knife, and consumed by rage, he lashed out in frenzy, striking the woman multiple times.
Bro, it is not this serious, bro. It is never this serious, bro. Like, both of them don't need to be doing shit, but for him to like take that fatal blow and just you do a knife, bro. Like, come on, dude. Like, just walk away or something. Like I said, I need more context in the situation, but killing is never the answer, bro. Come on.
Striking the woman multiple times. Neighbors later recalled hearing chaos and screams echoing from inside the home.
Wow.
Unsure as to what.
Like, imagine this all over a fucking Hershey stick, bro. Are you serious? Nah, I'm not gonna sit here and be dense and just think that it was just because of Hershey. Like, there had to been some boiled over feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way they just got to that point. If they did, that's even more restarting. You know what I'm saying? But I have to believe that there is more complex than that, you know, than just about the Hershey situation. Like, there had to have been something boiling up, you know?
Unsure as to whether or not the noises were Halloween decorations, police were eventually dispatched to the area. When officers arrived, they found the woman gravely injured. She was rushed to Cook County Hospital, where she lingered in critical condition for nearly a week.
Wow,
Despite doctors' efforts, her injuries proved fatal, and she later passed on November 5th.
Damn.
The man was arrested soon.
That's crazy how you could be like completely, you know, beat up in the ICU and everything. And like they said, she was in there for about a week or so, just still conscious, I guess. Or I don't know if she was unconscious, like in a coma or whatever, but just still alive. And then you could just pass, bro. Like, your body just, it can't fight no more, you know?
Arrested soon after and booked on felony charges. What had begun as a trivial Halloween quarrel between two adults ended in one of the most brutal of ways.
That's insane,
Costume malfunction. On October 31st, at a thriving Halloween carnival, a 51-year-old man would step into the bustling streets dressed in a costume of burlap and straw.
What? Like, bro, are you trying to choke yourself to death? Like,
step into
what
the
is
bustling
this?
streets dressed in a costume of burlap and straw.
Why would you do that?
Eager to join the thousands celebrating beneath pulsing lights and music. But in a sudden, tragic turn, the man's night of festivity shifted into pure trauma. The man joined the crowd in an energetic dance, and in the midst of the excitement, he wanted to take a break and light a cigarette.
Okay.
In his attempt, the flame from his lighter caught the edge of his costume's hood, and in an instant, his entire outfit ignited. Due to its material, the costume was extremely easy to burn, but difficult to put out and take off. The man would try ripping the costume off of his body, but its contents had already begun melting.
Yeah, once that flame gets, you know, going and stuff, and it gets to a certain point big enough, like, that's wraps, bro. Like, it's all on you. Like, you're getting burned regardless. That's like another worst fear of mine is like getting caught in a flame accidentally, you know what I'm saying? Like, your clothes getting caught and it just goes up on you and you don't have enough time to take it off or something, or put water or anything. Like, that's, oh my gosh, but burning has to be like the worst way to go out, you know, either going out or just the injuries that you preserve after it.
The costume off of his body, but its contents had already begun melting into his skin. As for the crowd around him, they at first thought it was a prank or some sort of fire stunt woven into the Halloween event. It should be noted that most of them were heavily intoxicated, so their rationality and judgment skills were extreme.
Yeah, they probably thought like, oh man, like, that's a cool costume, bro. Yeah, oh my god, he's burning. Wait, oh fuck, he's burning. Like, dude, imagine how crazy that would be, bro. Just seeing somebody burn alive, pretty much. Like, oh my gosh. And they all drunk as hell, too. So it probably feels like a fever dream.
Extremely impaired at the time. As the blaze spread violently, it swallowed him whole like a torch. His figure staggered into the mass of dancers engulfed in fire, with his arms flailing in a desperate panic. People continued cheering. Individuals were so impressed by the stunt that they had begun to record the screaming victim.
Bro, so nobody noticed at this point, bro? Like, come on, you guys are not that gone, are you? I'm not even gonna ask that, because, bro, if you're in a certain type of intoxication, bro, like, you could just be completely gone.
Only when the man...
Like, I literally know some people, chat, they get drunk and they turn into a completely different people. Like, it's not even recognizable. And it's so weird, bro. That's why, like, I don't recommend drinking nothing. I mean, you shouldn't anyways, but, you know, do it moderationally, because, dude, if you're one of those people that literally turn into a different person, you're going to do a whole bunch of shit, say a whole bunch of shit, and the next day, you know, your family, people that you're around is going to be mad at you because you did, and you're going to be like, I don't even remember what happened. It's like, bro, like, I don't know. Just the thought of even not having control over myself, it just scares me, bro. Like, that's why I don't even get drunk and stuff. Like, even if I drink, like, I won't get super buzzed or anything because, dude, I'm just scared. Like, I'm pretty sure I can handle it and stuff, but I'm just too scared of it.
Screams got louder than the music at the carnival did a few sober witnesses realize what was going on. They rushed in to help and tried to rip off the burning pants and jacket that were now clinging to his skin.
Wow.
People took water bottles from their backpacks and emptied it onto the blaze, while others in the crowd continued chanting, snapping pictures, and dancing to what they perceived as a stunt. When the flames finally calmed, he was barely recognizable. Despite being rushed to the hospital, the man ultimately passed away from his wounds.
I wonder how long it took him to die, though. Like, it seems like they're saying, you know, the flames calmed down, got put on a stretcher and rushed to the hospital. Like, did he die on the way? Was he already unconscious? Like, I would like to know more about that. That's crazy, though. Hey, chat, if that incident does anything, I hope it encourages you not to smoke, bro. Because if he wasn't a smoker and shit, that shit wouldn't even happen. But also, don't wear a Halloween costume that's literally so flammable as well, bro. The Hello Kitty incident?
A 23-year-old
whoa, this one says viewer beware. Holy.
Mother in Hong Kong would continue navigating her life in an environment tainted by hardship. She was an orphan as a child, and as she grew up, she became addicted to abusing substances.
I had to censor a lot of things for this case too graphic. She was kicked out of her orphanage and became homeless when she became a teen.
And other things.
Damn.
She worked at a nightclub in one of Hong Kong's red light districts, Tsim Sha Tsui, where a 34-year-old mob boss frequently visited her for services.
Wow.
The gangster was known to be extremely dangerous as he had a horrible temper and would often do cruel and unusual things to people who wronged him. One day...
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's like a typical gang leader, bro. Cause like, I feel like they have to, you know, keep up this persona to keep the respect from their, I guess, inferiors, you know?
After the two met with each other, the mobster would accidentally forget his wallet at the venue. Upon seeing that it contained 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, the woman would secretly steal it to help her own financial situation for herself and her son. The mob boss found out, and out of fear of what he'd do...
Bro, oh my gosh. Like, I know you're trying to get by and stuff with that, bro. Like, if you know a mob boss, like, any type of game, and anything, anybody that's involved in that type of life, that's the last thing you want to fucking do is steal from them, bro. That's an automatic death sentence.
She immediately returned the money back to him. However, he wasn't satisfied. He demanded that she pay an additional $10,000 back to him as an interest fee for her thievery. Obviously, she couldn't meet those requests. On a calm night, as the woman made her way into her apartment after her shift, she'd hear knocks at her door. It would be 3 members of the Triad gang and a young girl who claimed that they wanted to settle the dispute with a more reasonable fee.
Okay.
Also, side note, the young girl seen here is actually the mob boss's girlfriend. Remember how I said he's 34? Well, she's 20 years younger than that. Just...
Bro. 20 years, bro. That means she's 14 fucking years old. Jesus Christ, bro. Oh my God. Like, that is so weird, bro. Like, how? Like, I just never get that mindset. It's so weird, bro. Like, how can you just be okay with doing something like that? Like, how do you feel okay with yourself? Like, you wake up every day knowing you got a fucking 14, 15-year-old girlfriend as a 30-year-old. And you just like, oh yeah, this is my girlfriend. Like... What? And the fact that that's like normal in some societies is so fucking weird, bro. I don't care if I'm being judgmental at all. I will be judgmental to this shit. No. Come on.
Yeah. Anyways, as soon as the woman opened up...
People should just go to jail for that shit, for even fucking entertaining.
They ripped her out of her apartment and drove her to a rundown flat on Granville Road in Kowloon. It was there that her final horrific month of torture began. Her captors beat her with pipes, suspended her in the air with wires, burned her with wax and plastic, and rubbed peppery spices into her wounds. Each day blurred into the next.
That's insane,
It was a cycle of torment designed not only to punish her, but to strip away at her humanity. Neighbors.
Reports say she was forced to smile and pretend that she enjoyed the violence. Like, bro, I feel like people that do things like this, chat, like it all stems from, you know, a base of insecurity and shit. Cause like for you to do this to another human being and then basically make it like a fucking game as well, like there's something very wrong with you mentally. Like there's no way you feel even comfortable in your own skin at all. Like how, bro? This don't make
nothing
sense.
Beyond the walls, but within them, suffering was routine. After nearly a month of agony, her body could no longer endure the mistreatment, and she would pass away from the monstrous acts of the gang. Upon realization, the mob boss had his men disposing of her remains in bags and...
What is that? What is it saying? Dismember? Let me search it up on my phone because I don't want to pop up on the screen. Is it dismember? If it's dismember, that means, oh, cut off the limbs. Yeah, I was assuming that. I just wanted to make sure. I knew it was like cutting off something. Obviously, decapitate is like the head, so dismember is just, you know, cut off any limbs.
Of her remains in bags and pieces to clear themselves of any evidence. However, in a grotesque and cruel twist, the boss would have her skull boiled clean, polished and preserved, and then stitched into his girlfriend's Hello Kitty plush.
Bro, you're actually a fucking psycho. No, this nigga dead ass a psycho, bro. Like, he needs to be locked up forever, bro. He needs to be put under. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Like, this shit deserves some death penalty. I don't know, bro. We can't have humans like this just existing, bro. Nah.
Actually, I don't really feel comfortable considering her his girlfriend. I mean,
yeah,
the man's quite literally old enough to be her father.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's
but nonetheless,
so fucking weird.
Night after night, the young girl would be faced with the doll as she lived with the mob boss, and he kept it in the flat they were living in. She wouldn't be able to escape the sight of the toy, and as time went on, it began haunting her. She'd start seeing hallucinations and apparitions of the woman's ghost. The spirit would follow her every day, weeping dreadfully. It'd stand by the corner of her bed, staring at—
Hell yeah, that, bro. If I was that soul, bro, I'm haunting the fuck out of everybody there, bro. Like, imagine, like, that's the way you go out, you know what I'm saying, torture like that and everything, and they over here using your skull as some fucking decoration for a doll. Oh yeah, that's so— Chad, I don't know, you guys believe spirits and shit, you know what I'm saying? I know it's like hard to believe, whatever, but that shit, I don't know. I would believe it. You know what I'm saying? From this much traumatized that it's went through, yeah, I would believe it's there, haunting everybody.
It'd stand by the corner of her bed, staring at her every night, and if the girl ever fell asleep, it'd show up in her dreams as well, and turn them into nightmares. In her words, she said that it kept haunting her while demanding justice. It got so—
Just even thinking about it, like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, bro. Like, just having something like that in my house, bro. Like, I even get weird about thinking about, like, ashes and stuff too, you know? And I know, like, some people have that for loved ones and stuff, but even that, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's just, not that it creeps me out, but it just makes me feel at unease a little bit, you know? Like, just knowing that the remains of someone just dead is just in my house or something. Like, I don't know. That's just me, though.
Bad that the girl developed insomnia, and for weeks, she'd barely eat or sleep. Eventually, she broke.
Like, I feel like, I don't know, I believe, you know, when people go away, that your soul gets set free. I feel like you keep it somewhere in a contained space or whatever. Unless, like, obviously you bury them and stuff, but I feel like their soul's not able to escape if you just, like, have them in your house or something, you know?
She ran to a nearby department, and reports from the Kowloon police station say that she turned up at the building shaking violently. As mentioned from witnesses, rather than her saying that she has a crime she needs to confess, the first words that left her mouth were something around the lines of, "I keep seeing her. I can't sleep. Please, she won't stop crying. She won't leave me alone."
Wow.
She was literally traumatized. The girl told police absolutely everything they needed to know, and officials set out to arrest—
Why the f— Yo, I'm such a scaredy kid. No way I got just scared about his fucking cop cells, bro.
No. And officials set out to arrest everyone who was involved.
Jesus Christ.
The three men. Actually, they don't really deserve to be called that. The three criminals were—
They're three bitches, bro.
All sentenced to life in prison with a 20-year minimum before parole.
Bro,
the young girl was placed in protective custody, and after the trial, it was noted that she was seeing the ghost less. However, she'd still go on to experience nightmares and auditory hallucinations.
Nah, that's something that's gonna stick with her forever, bro. Like, just the fact that she was even witness the torture on his own, and then after the fact of just, you know, all the hallucinations and the haunting that she felt, shit like that doesn't just go away, bro. Like, at all.
Of the woman weeping. The last thing that was heard of her before she was relocated with an identity change was that she was being given psychological treatment and correctional therapy. These aren't just horror stories, they're real events. And they're all so wrong, in so many ways. Halloween is meant to be scary in a fun manner, not in a cruel and dangerous one.
Exactly.
To ensure that happens, make sure to group up, stay close to your friends, drink responsibly, and always check your candy twice. Take care of yourself and keep your loved ones safe.
Facts,
Without further ado, have a happy Halloween.
Yeah, happy Halloween. Oh, okay. All right, Charlie. What the fuck's wrong with you? Why would you do that?
Did I jump scare you?
No.
Yeah, I bet I did.
No.
You coward.
Shut up.
You make me sick.
Shut
your
your
weakness is pathetic.
All right, bro. All right, bro. Yo, talking hat though, bro.
The donut incident. It was just another midday drive for this 28-year-old man in Ohio. The sky was clear. The roads were stretched.
He's in Ohio, so that's already a red flag.
Like any other time. And for him, his morning had officially started. The only thing left for him to do was to get some breakfast. So he'd stop by a store to grab some donuts and coffee before taking off.
Bro, this just reminded me right now. Sorry to yap, but this reminded me, like, people have their seats all the way freaking back sometimes, bro. And they be like 4 foot 5. Like, how are you doing this, bro? Like,
left for him to do was to get some breakfast. So he'd stop by a store to grab some donuts and coffee before taking off for work.
Okay.
And just like that, His morning was entirely complete. The man was sipping a coffee in one hand and biting a donut in the other.
Okay, now who's controlling the wheel, bro?
Things really couldn't get any better than this.
What the hell?
But somewhere between the first sip and the next bite, everything went sideways.
Oh.
Literally.
I was about to say literally.
You know
Wait,
what
that's
would
not
make this day better? Some music. Hey Siri, play some Diddy.
Nigga, what? That's the first. It's right in the morning. That's the first thing you put on is Diddy, money. Check his hard drive. Check his hard drive right now.
What? No. I said play Diddy. Like, you know, Puff Daddy?
Now
Puff Daddy. Yeet. Playing Yeet.
I'll just do it myself.
While eating his donut, it'd slip out of his hands and knock over his coffee.
Oh, no. Oh.
In a panic to stop the spilling, he quickly reached for the beverage to steady it. And just like that, in a split...
That's like the worst thing that happened while you're driving is like any type of distraction inside the car, bro. Like something hot dropping on you and obviously you get that muscle contraction reaction, you know what I'm saying? And then it could like swerve your wheel or something. Just that split second you can lose focus can make the difference if you crash or not.
The car veered left to the opposite lane of traffic. I forgot to mention that this was all occurring in the middle of the highway on an extremely busy Wednesday morning.
Not on the highway.
Unfortunately, at 50 to 60 miles per hour, that's all it takes.
That is all it takes.
Cut across the lane and slammed head-on into two westbound cars, completely flattening one in the process. The impact was violent enough to leave 3 vehicles completely mangled and scatter their debris across the field of the road like an explosion.
Oh my gosh, that's disgusting, bro. All because of goddamn coffee.
Witnesses said it was chaos. One driver was trapped inside their vehicle with crushed metal, pinning them in place, while first responders worked frantically to cut them free. As for the flattened car, it sat in the ditch with its airbags blown out, windshield shattered, and frame completely crushed. When paramedics arrived at the scene, they worked desperately to extract the victims from the wreckage. They would even try to bring out the body in the flattened vehicle, and to their sheer horror, the victim was still alive. The crew would immediately transfer both individuals to the university hospital.
It's so crazy, like how car crashes. I feel like there's so much probability in like, you know, the chances of you surviving. Everything has to go right for you to survive, especially in a very big crash like that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get crushed anywhere, a specific organ or something, or you just end up bleeding out, the paramedics or someone just takes too long. Like there's so many things that can just easily go wrong, but it's like a blessing if you're just able to get out of there. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sure some people probably did not survive this though, right?
Medical Center, while a third refused further treatment. To everyone's total shock, Ogre Medical Center, while a third refused further treatment.
Why?
To everyone's total shock, all the victims in this accident survived with no life-threatening injuries. The man responsible was quickly identified and questioned. His rambunctious craving for donuts and coffee on the highway had turned a quiet Ohio road into a disaster scene.
That's like dumb as shit though. Like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to have things in one hand while you have your other hand on the wheel. But bro, you're having both hands occupied and you're on the freeway. Like, god damn. Like, you're not even on the regular streets. You're on the highway where it's way more, you know what I'm saying, risky and stuff. And you're still having both of your hands occupied. You're not in a Tesla or nothing. You're not, you know, in one of those cars that can just drive by themselves. So why are you doing that? That's literally stupid, bro. You're putting other people's life at risk just because you want to, like, be impatient with your coffee and fucking donuts. Like, just do it one at a time, bro.
Police instantly cited him on the spot. Sometimes it's not speed or weather or a drunk driver that causes the crash. Sometimes it can simply just be a donut. So don't drive while distracted.
Just any distractions while you're driving is bad, bro. It doesn't matter what it is. Whether it's drinking or doing anything. Literally taking your eyes off the road is a distraction. You know what I'm saying?
35. Honestly, this one was a little too depressing, so I decided to take it out. Instead, for this incident, you can just look at this cute rabbit for a bit.
What? Was it really that bad? God damn. That's cute, though. I want to eat it. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Train incident.
On February 3rd, 2015, in Valhalla, New York, commuters boarded the Metro North.
What the hell? Wait. Why is Solid thumbnail there, bro? You was watching Solid? Yeah, that's a W, though, but damn.
That was headed for the suburbs after a long
day. Made a cameo. My video next? Just kidding, I wish.
At the same time, a 49-year-old mother from Edgemont was behind the wheel of her Mercedes SUV.
Edging?
She had just left work and was cutting through unfamiliar back roads due to an earlier accident on the highway. She approached the Commerce Street crossing, a dangerous grade-level track where warning lights flashed and gates descended. But instead,
I'm pretty sure I've said this in past videos, but another one of my worst fears. I have so many worst fears, bro. Am I pussy? What's going on? Anyways, like just going past a train track, I don't care if there's red lights or not. I'm literally like looking both ways, bro. Cause oh my gosh, you get hit by a train, it's GG's. Like there's no recovery from that shit. Those motherfuckers go fast, bro. They might not look like it, but they going fast as shit.
Stopping, as you might have already guessed.
And they big.
The SUV ended up in the worst place possible.
Oh my
the tracks.
Gosh.
Like any other normal person, you'd think that she would reverse her car out of harm's way, right? Well,
you'd
be wrong. Instead, she drove forward, accidentally stopping on the rails as the crossing gate came down behind her.
Oh, damn. What is...
She panicked quickly, trying to find an escape, but without a second to react, headlights pierced the dark.
Oh my
gosh. The Metro North train, carrying hundreds of passengers, slammed into her SUV with catastrophic force.
So she had like no time to react to that at all? Like she couldn't get out the car? That's the thing. Even if she did get out the car, there's probably still a chance it was too late, bro. I'm telling you, trains go fast, bro.
Pack drove the 5,000-pound vehicle nearly 1,000 feet off the tracks before ripping it apart. But that's only the beginning of what made this situation so terrible. When the train impacted her car, the rails snapped off the ground and speared through her SUV, right into the train's passengers. These rails would shoot up from the floor and send fire and sparks exploding onto the passengers. The first carriage completely erupted into flames as metal debris tore through windows and seats like shrapnel.
Dude, that's a suck, bro. Like for the passengers, like imagine you just on the train, all of a sudden some fucking big ass wood just pierces through the damn ground and like pretty much stabs you and shit. Or you could just die from it. Oh my gosh, bro. That would be oh wow.
Seats like shrapnel. At the rear of the train,
I said, bro, like you know what I'm saying? We taking a risk every day with transportation in general. It's crazy.
It only felt a slight bump, but up at the front, it was a pure nightmare. Smoke filled the cars, people screamed, and sections of rail shot through the cabin like burning javelins. People desperately clawed at jammed doors, but the heat was unbearable and too suffocating. The smell of burning seats, fuel, and flesh is all that survivors could remember when trying to escape. The scene was described as literal hell on a train. When the fire finally died down...
That's crazy, bro. Like how you could just be like in the front of something happens to the train and the people all the way in the back just chilling, bro. They'll never know what you guys are going through until you guys get off the train or something.
Finally died down.
Or it just stops.
6 people were gone and 15 others were severely injured. When the fire finally died down, 6 people were gone and 15 others were severely injured.
6 people
the SUV
died?
was obliterated and the train was left mangled and scarred by the flames.
Damn,
This remains the deadliest crash in Metro North Railroad's history. And the moral is as simple as it is brutal. When you're on the road, always be attentive and learn to react quickly. Most of the time.
Oh my god, that's great. How the hell did she even... It says she got pinned by something, but how you even get in that situation in the first place? You know what I'm saying? Like you're just not paying attention.
Most of the time, roads are actually pretty boring. And honestly, they don't...
Like the lights that come on before the train comes on, they come on a good amount of time before the train even gets close there. You know what I'm saying? That's why it kind of sucks when you get stopped there. It's like, oh damn, now I gotta wait, you know, all this time for this train to go by. But it's for a reason. So stuff like this don't happen where the car is literally stuck in the middle and then like they don't have no time to react, bro.
Crazy things like this happening all the time. But in the rare case you end up in a situation like this, be prepared and always act fast.
I don't think you act fast for that. Guillotine?
The stands were packed. Families,
isn't guillotine like, you know what I'm saying, chopping the head off?
Fans and journalists gathered shoulder to shoulder, watching the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Oh, something with race cars? Oh, I know this could be bad, bro. You know how freaking fast they go on these tracks?
Cars from Mercedes, Jaguar, and Ferrari screamed down the straightaways, pushing limits that the track itself had never been designed to handle. Then came lap 35. Mike Hawthorne darted toward the pits, braking hard in front of the Austin Healey driver.
Oh no.
Macklin swerved to avoid him, but in doing so, he moved
I'm gonna swerve on that corner. Whoa. Okay, this is serious. Let's stop.
Moved directly into the path of Pierre Levey, who was going at over 120 miles per hour. What happened next was unfortunately pure carnage. Levey's car struck Macklin's rear end and was launched into the air like a missile.
Right in his ass.
The man's car literally started flying. And of course, it'd be aimed at nothing other than tightly packed crowds of bystanders enjoying their favorite cars.
Oh no!
Would smash into the spectator in front of the grandstand, and on impact, it would immediately disintegrate. The car's heaviest components like the engine block, suspension, and radiator.
Yeah, everything just, you know what I'm saying, from a crash like that, it's the debris parts that's so scary about things like this, bro. Like even with plane crashes and stuff like that, it's like bystanders can get so hurt just by debris and stuff. Like,
tore free
oh my god.
And hurled into the crowd with the force of artillery shells, obliterating dozens on impact. However, the worst part was the hood. It was sharp, silver, and launched out of the car the fastest, making it form a spinning motion like a saw.
Oh, hell no.
Crowd and sever the heads of multiple spectators watching in the stands.
What the f?
Survivors would later describe this scene as the hood decapitating tightly jammed spectators.
Dude, just imagine being in this crowd and just witnessing that happen, bro. Like just a couple of people just getting decapitated. And imagine they're just right next to you and it missed you just by inches, bro. But you see like 3 other people next to you just get decapitated. Oh my. Yeah, that is definitely what it says right here. Nightmare fuel, bro.
Like a guillotine. By the time the smoke cleared, at least 82 people were gone and hundreds more were injured.
Wait, 32?
By the time the smoke cleared, at least 82 people...
82? I'm talking about some 32. 82, my nigga? God damn. Oh my God. And it's all because of the debris from the crash, bro. Yo, that's actually insane.
This event would later on become known as the 1955 Le Mans.
Dude, that's a massacre, bro. 82 people? How many people gotta die to be considered a massacre, bro? Let me ask. There isn't a single universally agreed upon number of kills that defines a massacre. However, under U.S. federal law, mass killing is defined as a killing of 3 or more people in a single incident. Yeah, I mean, it's a mass killing for sure. I didn't know if there was like a specific like definition for something that catastrophic, bro. Like, that's crazy.
And it would remain the most catastrophic accident in racing history. A little fun fact about this event is that the organizers wouldn't allow the race to stop. They'd ensure that the drivers kept competing.
Are you serious? Why the fuck would they keep going? What the hell?
So that the venue didn't ensue into a mass panic and block medical response.
My nigga, 82 people died. Like, everybody's gonna panic, bro. Who the fuck is not gonna panic? Like, did people not see that?
Responders from being able to enter in. This event would be into a mass panic and block medical responders from being able to enter in.
They blocked medical responders? Okay, whoever's behind this, bro, you need to go to jail, like, immediately, bro. What the like, this is disgusting. What you mean they was blocking people from getting in and trying to save lives or do anything just because you want to save your ass, bro? Like, what?
This event would be so shocking to the world at the time that multiple countries across Europe banned motorsports altogether until safety standards could be improved. No matter how exciting or important something feels in the moment, it's never worth risking lives by ignoring safety.
Hell yeah.
One bad decision can hurt not just you, but everyone around you. Don't speed, don't be distracted while driving, and always drive safely. With that being said, have a happy day.
The beating that changed baseball.
Baseball,
on August 16th, 1920.
No. This is something that like is a reason I don't play baseball that much and stuff. I'm dead ass scared of the ball, bro. Cause that ball's hard. Those balls are hard, and they throw right at your face sometimes, bro. Oh hell no. I would be wanting to scrap with someone over that. But that could literally hurt you. Like, I'm pretty sure this story is gonna be about them getting hit in the right place in the head where it just knocks them out or something.
Fans packed New York's Polo Grounds to watch the Cleveland Indians face the Yankees. Chapman was Cleveland's star shortstop, known for his quick reflexes and exceptional fielding. The afternoon game moved at a typical pace until the 5th inning when Chapman stepped to the plate. Yankees pitcher Carl Mays threw with a distinctive submarine delivery, releasing the ball from an unusually low angle. The ball, dirty and scuffed from previous plays, was difficult to see against the late afternoon shadows. Chapman leaned in slightly, preparing for the pitch. The baseball struck his head with such force that the sound echoed through the stadium. Many spectators, including the umpire, thought it had hit Chapman's bat. For a moment, Mays fielded what he believed was a bunted ball and threw to first base. Chapman took several steps toward first base, then suddenly stopped. He dropped to his knees, a look of confusion crossing his face. Blood began to seep from his left ear. Players from both teams rushed to his side as he collapsed onto the dirt infield. Team doctors reached him within seconds. The crowd fell silent.
That's the thing. You're losing blood flow to your brain and shit, bro. That's hella dangerous. Like, way more dangerous than like just bleeding from your arm, your leg, or whatever. Oh
Chapman
my
was helped to
god.
his feet, wobbling and disoriented.
They basically crack your head open.
He attempted to walk off the field with assistance, but couldn't maintain his balance. At New York's St. Lawrence Hospital, doctors discovered his skull was fractured.
Yeah,
the impact had driven bone fragments nearly an inch into his brain. Surgeons performed an emergency operation, removing a piece of his skull to relieve pressure. Chapman.
That's fucking insane, bro. Just having pieces of the baseball inside your... Yo, oh my gosh. I wonder how fast the pitch was. It has to be over 90, right? That's the thing you gotta realize, bro. I mean, especially when you get professional. But even like at a, teenager age or whatever, this still could throw the ball hella fast for this to happen to you, bro. That's the main reason I don't like playing baseball, bro. Like, I like the idea, you know what I'm saying? Hitting the balls or whatever. I like hitting balls, but... yeah, bro, getting a pitch right at your skull, even though I'm sure it wasn't on purpose, but still, just that possibility is scary.
Emergency operation, removing a piece of his skull to relieve pressure. Chapman never regained consciousness. At 4:40 a.m. the following morning, he was pronounced dead.
Oh,
the 29-year-old became the only player in Major League Baseball history to die from an injury sustained during the game. The tragedy changed baseball forever. The league soon banned the spitball and other pitches that doctored the ball.
The hell
More
is a
importantly, umpires began regularly replacing dirty balls with clean ones, making them easier for batters to see.
I mean, everybody loves clean balls, so I don't know why they wouldn't do that in the first place, bro.
Practice that continues to this
I mean, a Major League Baseball game, like, why would you play with a dirty ball? That don't make no sense.
Goalkeeper blocker gone. On November 29, 2017, spectators filled the small gymnasium in Barras, Brazil, to watch a regional futsal match. Santos Sousa was the 38-year-old goalkeeper for Flamengo de Piripiri, a team competing in the local amateur league.
Okay.
The indoor arena was humid, the crowd energetic as the match entered its final minutes. The referee's whistle cut through the noise. A penalty had been awarded to the opposing team. Santos Sousa positioned himself between the goalposts, bouncing slightly on his toes. His teammates stood silent at midfield. The opposing striker approached the ball with measured steps. The shot came hard and fast, aimed at the center of the goal.
They hit his
Santos
nuts?
Sousa didn't dive. Instead, he stepped forward, making himself large,
Wait,
and
what?
blocked the ball with his chest. The impact was solid but unremarkable. The ball deflected harmlessly away. The crowd erupted in cheers. Santos Sousa raised his arms in celebration. His teammates rushed toward him, congratulating him.
He looks fine right here.
For a few seconds, everything appeared normal. Then, without warning, his expression changed.
Oh,
a look
shit.
of confusion crossed his face. He reached out to a teammate.
What if his heart got damaged?
His legs gave way. His body went limp as he collapsed to the court floor. The celebration instantly turned to panic. Players from both teams signaled frantically for medical help. A team doctor reached him within seconds and began CPR. The gymnasium fell silent.
Damn.
Children in the crowd were ushered outside as the medical team continued resuscitation efforts. For nearly 20 minutes, they fought to restart his heart. Paramedics arrived and took over.
Chat, you know what's so crazy about this? Is things can happen at any second, bro. That's why you always gotta be grateful, you know what I'm saying? Thank God or whatever you believe in every day that you woke up and, you're able to walk and watch videos and do everything you gotta do in life, because, bro, it could be taken away at any second. Just imagine, he would literally just cheering and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And obviously, we're gonna probably learn that the ball, made a certain impact on his heart or something, but still, that's just so sudden. You just don't know, bro. If your body wants to give out, it's gonna give out, and there's nothing you could do about it, and that's scary.
Applying a defibrillator. The electric shock.
This actually reminds me of one time, I probably told the story before, but you know what I'm saying? You used to play football in high school, of course. And bro, there was one time it was probably the closest I felt to dying, bro. And it was, I think I got the ball or something on a slant route, and I caught it, and then I got hit. No, was it a slant route? I don't remember what it was, bro. But basically, I got hit on my diaphragm. And if anybody's been hitting your diaphragm, that literally makes it to where you can't breathe, right? So I got hit there. I'm crumbling to the ground, right? Play's still going. And one of my linemen, linemen's a big boy. It's about 200-300 pounds worth, you know what I'm saying? Falls right on top of me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just squeeze the air on me. You know what I'm saying? And bro, I swear, I literally thought I was dying, bro. I could not breathe. I would try to breathe in, and I was when you breathing, you're no, I was bro, I swear, bro, that was the scariest moment of my life. And it's just yo, that night was the scariest moment. And I still kept playing. I don't know how, but yeah, that was scary, bro. And it just, shows you just gotta be grateful, man, that you're able to just be alive and shit, bro.
Caused his body to jolt, but his heart showed no response. Despite their desperate efforts, Santos Sousa never regained consciousness. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Medical examiners later determined he had suffered sudden cardiac arrest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Cardiac.
Cordis, a rare but fatal disruption of heart rhythm caused by a precise impact to the chest wall at a critical moment in the cardiac cycle. Lightning's sudden strike on the pitch.
You know what's crazy about that? I always kind of wonder, because bro, I feel like so many soccer players, use their chest to hit the ball and stuff. I wonder if the development of your muscle has anything to do with being able to take in a certain amount of impact, right? So if this guy was hella skinny, does that mean the ball can impact you more than if somebody is more muscly? I consider myself I have a pretty big chest and stuff. Will I be able to take in more impact before something like that would happen? I feel like that sounds like common sense, but I don't know scientifically.
Lightning's sudden strike on the pitch. On October 10th, 2018,
oh my gosh, lightning
gathered over Banyumas, Indonesia, as two local teams competed on a municipal football.
That's why they cancel games when there's lightning and stuff, bro, because it's not safe at all. Especially if you have all the, the bleachers and stuff. It obviously conducts electricity.
A 35-year-old midfielder for FBI Banyumas moved across the pitch with the confident stride of a veteran player. The weather had been threatening all afternoon, with humid air and distant thunder, but officials allowed the match to continue.
Nah, they shouldn't have allowed it, bro.
Play, light rain began to fall.
Oh,
Players glanced upward, but the precipitation seemed manageable. Spectators opened umbrellas as they continued watching from the sidelines. No one recognized the danger as the storm intensified rapidly.
Jeez.
At precisely 4:17 p.m., a brilliant flash illuminated the entire pitch. The bolt struck without warning. Video footage later showed the lightning hitting just above the center of the field. Electrical current dispersed across the wet ground. Raharja, positioned
oh my gosh, literally everybody's in danger.
His body convulsed instantly and fell backward. For a moment, other players didn't realize what had happened, assuming he had slipped on the increasingly wet surface. Then someone shouted for help. Players from both teams rushed to his motionless form. Raharja lay perfectly still, his jersey smoking slightly from the intense heat. Medical staff reached him within seconds. His pulse was weak and erratic. Burns marked his chest and left shoulder where the current had entered his body. The rain intensified as paramedics performed CPR on the muddy field. An ambulance arrived 7 minutes later. Raharja was rushed to Banyumas Regional Hospital as teammates and spectators watched in stunned silence. Inside the emergency room, Doctors found severe internal damage. The electrical current had caused severe disruption to his cardiac rhythm.
That's the thing about lightning strikes, bro. Like, we don't think, you know what I'm saying, that it's that powerful as it really is. But, dude, a human getting hit by a fucking lightning bolt that's coming out the sky, even if it's just a disperse of it, like, dude, that is catastrophic to our body. And yeah, like, you know, it could disrupt the heart beating pattern and just literally just give you huge burns and stuff. Like, there's just so much that could go wrong, where it's like, I feel like lightning bolts are probably one of the most fatal things that we can, you know, in storms and shit, you know? Like, bro, wait, hold on. Let me search something up. Bro, I just randomly searched this up, right? I searched up, do people die more to lightning strikes than tornadoes? Because I was genuinely thinking that that's the truth, right? And the AI overview says, yes, lightning strikes kill more people than tornadoes in the US annually, though tornadoes often receive more attention due to their destructive power. The annual number of lightning fatalities is higher because lightning can strike anywhere, while tornado deaths are geographically concentrated. That's what I'm saying. Like, I literally thought this in my head. I'm like, I feel like more people can die from lightning strikes because, dude, it's so unpredictable. Like, if you outside at the wrong moment, you could literally be cooked. You know what I'm saying? Whereas tornadoes, you can kind of see it coming, you can prepare for it. Obviously, you know, people have died from it, so I'm not saying that they don't, but like, I would be more just inherently scared of a lightning strike striking me down while I'm outside than, you know, seeing the tornado and giving me a chance to go and run and get away from it, you know? That's crazy though, Chad.
Despite aggressive resuscitation efforts, including repeated defibrillation and emergency medications, Raharja's heart could not be stabilized. The electrical burn pathway had created irreversible damage to his cardiac tissue.
Damn,
At
bro.
5:42 p.m., just 85 minutes after being struck, Raharja was pronounced dead. Meteorologists later confirmed the bolt had delivered approximately 300 million volts of electricity through his body, far more than any human.
300 million volts.
The platform dive gone wrong.
Yo, chat, I just want to give you guys a perspective, you know what I'm saying? A typical US outlet is 120 volts, although 110 is an older term that's often used interchangeably. So chat, like, he got, how much volts was it? 300 million volts, bro. You know what I'm saying? Where there's 120 in a standard outlet, you know, the thing we plug ourselves in, and we already get scared of that. Things can happen very badly with that. So imagine 300 fucking million, bro. That's insane to think about. Like, there's no way the human body's handling that. Nobody's body.
Far more than any human could survive.
Facts, bro.
The platform dive gone wrong. On July 29th, 1983, the Commonwealth Pool in Edmonton, Canada was filled with spectators attending the World University Games. Chalibashvili, a 21-year-old Soviet diver, was considered one of the most promising talents in the sport. His specialty was the 10-meter platform, where he regularly executed dives of the highest difficulty with seemingly effortless precision. For his fourth dive of the competition, Chalibashvili prepared to attempt a reverse 3.5 somersault in the tuck position. One of the most challenging dives.
Bro, I give hella credit to people that do these diving shits and they do like 3-4 flips in a row before they hit the water, and they can, you know, get themselves to still dive and stuff, bro. That shit's so scary just even looking at it.
Dives in the sport. He stood at the edge of the platform, concentrating intensely. The crowd fell silent as he began his approach. His takeoff from the platform appeared normal. He gained appropriate height and initiated his rotation. But something went wrong in midair. Chalibashvili's body opened up slightly too early from the tight tuck position. This critical error threw off his rotation speed. As he descended toward the water, it became clear he wouldn't complete the required rotation.
Bro, that's the thing about doing stuff like this, is that it's literally like any little movement can throw off your whole shit. And this is coming from someone that, like, I know how to do flips and shit, right? Like, if I used to like try to learn different flips, and like, if anything goes wrong with a certain backflip or a 360 or whatever, like, you don't turn your head all the way, or you get kind of psyched out, so you turn your head the opposite way, and all of a sudden you're falling straight to the ground, bro. So imagine like being this high up in the air and messing up, you know what I'm saying, falling into the water. Like, that can be catastrophic, bro.
Instead of entering the water vertically, Chalibashvili struck the back of his head directly on the concrete platform. The sound of the impact echoed through the suddenly silent arena. His body fell limply into the pool. Blood immediately clouded the water around him. Fellow divers jumped in to assist as medical personnel rushed to the scene. Chalibashvili was unconscious when they pulled him from the water. A deep gash exposed his skull where it had struck the unyielding concrete. Paramedics stabilized his neck and applied pressure to the wound. His vital signs were weak, present as they loaded him into an ambulance. Doctors at the University of Alberta Hospital found that the impact had caused severe trauma to his brainstem and cerebellum.
That's the thing. Once you like, if you crack open your skull at all, I feel like that's like a 90% or more chance of you know, doing something to your brain, bro. Your brain is not too far from your skull. Like, your skull is the thing that's protecting it, you know?
Chalibashvili was placed on life support in the intensive care unit. For 9 days, he remained in a deep coma, showing no signs of neurological activity. Despite aggressive medical intervention, the damage was irreversible. His brain had been critically injured at the moment of impact. On August 7th, 1983, Sergei Chalibashvili's heart stopped beating. He died without ever regaining consciousness. His promising career and young life ended by a split-second miscalculation.
Wow, bro.
Collision with the...
That just shows how dangerous, you know, any sport is, but especially things like this where you're jumping from high lengths and doing flips and all that shit. Like, it's huge risk that you take, you know? Like, I get scared, like, when I go in the pool and stuff and I do backflips into the pool. Like, I always, like, purposely jump hella back, way more than... So I'll be on one corner and I'll end up in the middle of the pool because I'm too scared of, like, doing just a straight backflip.
On February 22nd, 1992, the Crisp Mountain Air of Les Arcs, France, was filled with anticipation as athletes prepared for the speed skiing competition at the Albertville Winter Olympics. Bochetaille, a 27-year-old Swiss competitor, was among the favorites in this demonstration sport, where skiers regularly exceeded 125 miles per hour down specially prepared slopes. The morning was perfect for training. 125? Clear visibility, firm snow conditions, minimal wind. Bochetaille and several teammates decided to take a warm-up run before the day's official practice. They set out on a marked trail adjacent to the competition course, building speed gradually as they descended. Bochetaille accelerated into a gentle depression in the slope, his body in the aerodynamic tuck position that speed skiers use to minimize wind resistance. His specialized suit and helmet were designed for maximum velocity. At approximately 68 miles per hour, he approached a small rise in the terrain. As he crested the...
Bro, that has to feel so real, just literally going that fast. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're in a car or nothing. You're literally feeling the wind push against your skin and stuff. Or I know you have the suit on, so it's built for things like that, but it's just still, just like that feeling. Like, I don't know if you ever just went super fast on a bike before. You went, hell, you know, down a hill, you're going super fast. Like, there's a certain feeling you get where it's like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? You kind of get a little nervousness in your stomach and shit. Like, I just can't imagine. On like snow on a mountain and stuff too.
Bochetaille had no time to react. Snowcat, a large machine used for grooming ski slopes, was parked directly in his path. The machine had been maintaining a service road that intersected with the training run. No warning signs or barriers had been placed to alert skiers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually there's a whole bunch of signs, a whole bunch of, you know, construction warnings, nothing. He just literally he saw the truck and that was it.
The impact was devastating. Bochetaille's body struck the metal vehicle with tremendous force.
Oh my
His momentum carried him into the machine's steel frame and treads. The sound of the collision alerted nearby skiers and course workers, who rushed to the scene. Medical personnel arrived within minutes, but there was nothing they could do. The trauma to Bochetaille's head, chest, and internal organs was immediate and fatal. The impact had caused massive internal hemorrhaging and multiple compound fractures.
That's crazy. Like, I feel like that's on the people that are doing the construction or whatever. Like, how do you not have signs and stuff, you know, especially if you know you're on a training trail, bro? Like, what the fuck? How is there no sign, no nothing?
Instantly upon collision, spectators and fellow competitors gathered at the scene, many in tears as news of the accident spread. Olympic officials quickly announced the postponement of all speed skiing events. Flags at the Olympic venues were lowered to half-mast. An investigation later revealed critical failures in communication between course officials and maintenance crews. The Snowcat operator had no radio contact with event coordinators and was unaware athletes would be using the training run that morning.
I just don't get how they're unaware, bro. Like, they don't know where they're working. They just went somewhere and just like, all right, fuck it. Like, I don't know. That's just so weird. You know what I'm saying? If I know I'm going anywhere where there's potentially, like, you know, people going down the hill and the slide or the snow or whatever, like, how do they not even think in their head, like, wait, maybe this is a trail or something. Maybe we should get in contact with the people and see, you know, if people are going to come down here so we know we're in the clear first. Like, that should just be an automatic requirement.
On March 15th, 1971, a modest crowd gathered in the small Belgian town of Retaille to watch a local cycling race. Montserrat, the reigning world champion, stood out immediately in his distinctive rainbow jersey, the coveted garment awarded only to world champions. At just 22 years old, he was already considered one of cycling's brightest stars.
Bro was young.
The race was a minor event on the Belgian calendar, nothing like the major classics or grand tours where Montserrat normally competed. For him, it was a chance to build form early in the season while racing close to home. The 10-kilometer circuit wound through narrow country roads lined with spectators enjoying the first hints of spring. Montserrat quickly established himself at the front of the race. His powerful pedal stroke and professional positioning in the peloton made him easy to spot, even without the distinctive jersey. As he approached the 4th kilometer of the course, he was riding confidently near the front of a small breakaway group. The road ahead appeared clear. Race marshals had blocked most intersections, but not all local residents had been properly notified about road closures. A small British-made car suddenly appeared on the course, driven by an elderly man who was unaware of the ongoing race. The vehicle moved directly into the path of the oncoming cyclists. Other riders swerved frantically. Montserrat, positioned on the outside of the group, had nowhere to go. His bicycle struck the car's front bumper at approximately 30 miles per hour. The impact launched him over the handlebars. Montserrat's body hit the windshield before being thrown onto the asphalt. His helmet, basic leather protection by modern standards, provided minimal protection. Spectators screamed as they witnessed the world champion lying motionless on the pavement. Blood pooled beneath his head.
Damn, and he just like, he basically kind of got unlucky too, bro. Just being on that side of everybody, and he was the one to go. Like, imagine if he was just behind everybody, then nobody would have got hurt, but he was just the one to get hurt, bro. That fucking sucks, bro.
Medical assistance arrived within minutes. A doctor from the crowd immediately began resuscitation efforts as race officials radioed for an ambulance. Despite their desperate attempts, Montserrat's injuries were too severe. The impact had caused severe trauma to his skull and cervical spine.
Yeah, that's
At
where it goes.
4:15 p.m., less than 30 minutes after the collision, Jean-Pierre Montserrat was pronounced dead at the scene. The rainbow jersey, cycling's most prestigious symbol, was stained with the blood of its youngest champion.
That's actually crazy. It's crazy to think that the last 2 deaths were basically, you know, just test runs for the, you know, not even during the actual event or nothing, just literally for them to improve their skills or just go through a little training phase, like, and they just literally die from it, bro. That's sad.
Miscalculation. On July 14th, 1912, spectators gathered along the marathon route at the Stockholm Olympics. Lazaro,
this nigga got ribbons on his dick?
12 spectators gathered along the marathon route at the Stockholm Olympics.
Why he got ribbons on his... Never mind, bro. It is what it is.
A 21-year-old Portuguese runner was among the 68 competitors prepared to tackle the 26.2-mile course. The weather conditions were unusually brutal for Sweden. Temperatures reached 89 degrees Fahrenheit with high humidity and no cloud cover. Before the race, Lazaro made a critical decision based on faulty medical understanding of the time. He covered large portions of his body with a thick layer of suet, animal fat typically used for cooking.
Oh, wait, didn't we see a certain story like this too? I could have sworn we saw this in a different video. Where it, like, you know what I'm saying, basically made them overheat
this among some athletes who believed it would prevent sunburn and reduce water loss through the skin. At 1:45 p.m., the marathon began. Lazaro started conservatively, settling into a steady rhythm as the pack made its way through Stockholm's streets. Spectators noted his determined expression as he passed the early checkpoints. For the first 10 kilometers, he appeared strong and composed. As the race progressed, the temperature continued to climb. By the 25-kilometer mark, many runners were showing visible signs of heat distress. Lazaro began to struggle. His pace slowed. Witnesses reported seeing him stagger slightly, his gait becoming irregular. The suet coating, rather than protecting him, was preventing his body from cooling through natural perspiration. At the 30-kilometer mark,
I heard something like this before.
Lazaro suddenly veered to the side of the road. His legs buckled beneath him. He collapsed onto the dusty surface, unconscious. Race officials and medical personnel rushed to his aid. His skin was alarmingly hot to the touch, yet completely dry. Doctors at the scene recognized the symptoms of severe hyperthermia. Lazaro's core temperature had risen to dangerous levels. His pulse was rapid but weak. Despite having water poured over him and being transported quickly to a nearby medical facility, his condition deteriorated rapidly. For several hours, medical staff fought to lower his temperature and restore fluid balance. His organs began shutting down one by one as the accumulated heat damage.
Yeah, that's the thing, bro. Once the internal, things start going wrong, that's when you have very, very low chance of just recovering from things, bro. Because hypothermia, your body goes into shock and then the organs just start working. Just certain things stop working that are essential for living, and that's just it, bro. There's not really much you could do externally.
Spread throughout his system. His heart, already strained from the race, could not sustain the additional stress. At 7:30 a.m. the following day, Francisco Lazaro died without regaining consciousness. He became the first athlete to die during competition in the modern Olympic Games.
Yeah, I remember this story, bro. I can't remember what video specifically. Wait, was it the Olympic deaths? I'm pretty sure there was Olympic deaths video. This is an Olympic heat miscalculation. I'm pretty sure.
Revealed extreme dehydration and electrolyte imbalances that led to multiple organ failure.
The StarCraft incident. On August 5th, 2005, 28-year-old Lee Sung-siop entered an internet cafe in
Lee Sung-siop. Why does that sound like
2005? 28-year-old
What
Lee
name does that sound like?
Entered an internet cafe in Daegu, South Korea. He ordered a soda, logged into StarCraft, and began playing. Hours turned into days. Witnesses said he rarely moved from his chair, taking only short breaks to the toilet. By the second night, he had been at the keyboard for nearly 50 hours.
50 hours on the keyboard in a random restaurant or wherever the hell he is. Why? How does that even commute, bro? I'd be, recording reactions or doing other videos and stuff, what I do for the main channel. And after a few hours, my eyes start hurting, my back start feeling weird, bro. I hate it. I can't do it for too long. How is he able to do this?
His eyes bloodshot, but he kept clicking. The cafe manager urged him to stop, but Lee shook his head and loaded another match. At dawn on the third day, he suddenly collapsed. Paramedics arrived quickly, but he was unresponsive.
He literally gamed till he died. Like, he's like, all right, if I'm gonna die, bro, I'm gonna go out a gamer, which I guess I can respect. But bro, 50 plus hours just sitting in a cafe playing on your computer, that's the way you want your story to go? Like, out of all ways?
Medics arrived quickly, but he was unresponsive. At the hospital, doctors confirmed cardiac arrest brought on by exhaustion, dehydration, and blood clotting from immobility. He was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. Oh my gosh. The Pokemon electrocution.
Bro, that one is actually so weird to me. And the reason is because, like, chat, you know how your body, like, if you go without eating, if you go without drinking, if you go without doing stuff that is actually essential for you to survive, your body literally fights against it so bad that you actually get so desperate to just eat anything, to drink anything, right? And then you just end up surviving. That's like how our bodies are wired to be. So for him to literally sit down on a computer for so long and have honestly the mental capability to just let himself die is insane to me, bro. Like, do you guys know how this sounds crazy, but how hard you have to try to die? Like, especially in this condition. Like, he's literally in a cafe sitting down. He could walk out any second, get drink or go get food and something, bro. And he literally just decided to be there just to play a game. Like, bro, I mean, does bro deserve a round of applause for that? I don't know.
The Pokemon electrocution. On July 9th, 2017, in Iloilo City, Philippines, a 12-year-old boy was playing Pokemon Go with friends. They wandered near a construction site while searching for digital creatures. The boy, holding his phone, climbed onto a metal structure close to overhead power lines. Witnesses said he lost his balance and reached out for support.
Bro.
His hand made contact with a live electrical cable.
Why are you doing this in the first place, though? What made it a good idea in your head? Oh yeah, let me climb this electrical pole that can literally shock me to death. Like, that's common sense no matter what age you are, bro.
A loud crack followed, and he collapsed instantly.
Oh my god.
Friends screamed for help, and bystanders rushed over. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the boy showed no signs of life. He was pronounced dead from electrocution. Authorities confirmed that he had been distracted by the game, which led him into a dangerous area. The accident was covered by local news outlets and cited as part of a series of Pokemon Go-related fatalities worldwide.
No, chat, I used to remember being, like, addicted to Pokemon Go. Who would play Pokemon Go, bro? Comment in the comments right now. And I feel like this was hella distracting to just be on your phone, because obviously you're using your phone to, like, find things. But it was like a camera feature, right? So you're still, like, seeing the world, but then, you know, there's different Pokemons that poke out and stuff. But still, it's considered a distraction regardless if you can see things, because obviously you're paying attention whether you see a Pokemon or not, and not whether you're literally climbing up a damn pole or crossing the street and a car is coming right at you. And it's just like a, you know, lesson not only to just not play games while you're walking and stuff, but to just not be on your phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, check it, whatever, do what you got to do. But bro, if you're literally glued to your phone the whole time while you're walking places and stuff, you are susceptible to anything, and you're just making yourself vulnerable to whatever can possibly happen, whether that's getting ran over, you know what I'm saying, someone running up on you, stealing shit. Like, bro, if you're out in public, you know what I'm saying, keep your head on the swivel and just enjoy the fucking walk, bro. Why you so stuck in your damn phone? Like,
worldwide, where players focused on the screen entered dangerous environments. The Minecraft incident. On July 19th, 2015, a 17-year-old boy entered an internet cafe in Pampanga, Philippines. He logged into Minecraft and began...
Oh my god, don't tell me he's about to stay in there for 50 hours too, bro. What's up with these cafes? Are these cafes inviting death?
And what became a marathon session. Witnesses said he played for almost 3 straight days, taking only brief naps at the desk. Staff grew concerned when they noticed he had not eaten properly and had barely moved from his chair.
How is he, wait, okay, how is he even able to stay in this cafe for this long, bro? Usually when places close and stuff, they will literally call the police if you don't get out. Like, how is he able to, bro?
Third day, as he leaned forward to type, his body went limp. He collapsed onto the keyboard and did not get up again. Friends called for help, and staff attempted first aid. Paramedics arrived, but pronounced him dead at the scene. Local doctors later cited cardiac failure linked to severe exhaustion and dehydration after continuous gaming. The call of...
Bro, it's literally the same thing as the first game. That's literally the same thing. So I guess you could say that this can be the #1 way to die while playing games. It's just, you know, literally playing until you get severely exhausted and severely dehydrated. You haven't had food and nothing, and you'll literally collapse. But again, it's just an amazing feat, because how are they just letting their bodies just collapse like this? How are they just going without water? How are they going without food, bro? Are they thinking whatever they're eating in Minecraft is in real life or something? Because that could be the only explanation, bro. I know they feel like shit. They feel like complete shit, and they just keep playing. Is it really that addictive?
Continuous gaming. The Call of Duty swatting.
Like, I've had gaming sessions where I played for long periods of time, yes. But bro, after a minute, bro, your eyes start hurting, your head start hurting, you get hungry and shit. Like, bro, then you just put it down. Like, I feel like that's what normal people do, right?
2017, 2 Call of Duty players in the United States got into an online argument over a $1.50 wagered match. One player, Casey Viner, asked another...
They were arguing over $1.50? Really?
One player, Casey Viner, asked another, Tyler Barris, to swat his opponent by calling police to his address.
Bro,
Barris
that's
dialed
insane.
911 in Los Angeles and reported a fake hostage situation in Wichita, Kansas. The address he gave was not his rival's, but belonged to 28-year-old Andrew Finch, who had no connection to the dispute.
Wow, bro. Don't tell me he's gonna end up dying because of this shit. Oh my, yo.
Police surrounded Finch's home.
Don't
When he
tell
opened the door, officers ordered him to raise his hands. Confused, he
What?
moved slightly, and an officer fired a single shot. Finch was killed instantly in front of his family. The case shocked the gaming world. Barris was later sentenced to 20 years.
Bro, man, bro. I mean, like, I know it's hard to get life for something like that because he didn't directly murder someone, but still, bro. Like, that almost feels like a life-deserving sentence, to be honest. Because, like, bro, this guy was completely innocent, and he got swatted. You know what I'm saying? Usually, most of the time, it goes well, whatever, if you don't know. But, dude, he was confused as shit. He thinks it's a prank or whatever. He just moves a little bit, and this fucking ass SWAT cop or whatever shoots him. And I know it's like their job or whatever to shoot on site if they don't absolutely respect what they're saying and stuff, but still, that's so sad, bro. And then all because, you know, some people get mad online, bro. That's like, oh my god, people are so fucking weird online, dude. And then, like, they think it's cool or something. They think they're getting back. And look, literally, you know, you literally gave somebody the wrong ass address, and now you got an innocent person killed, bro. Like, you should be locked up for life for that.
The case shocked the gaming world. Barris was later sentenced to 20 years in prison, while Viner received a shorter sentence. The Wii Fit incident. On December 28th, 2009.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try to guess this one. Wii Fit, so obviously you're doing, you know, exercises and stuff. But could they have been doing too much exercise to the point where they literally exhaust their body to the point of no turning back? Like, their body's just done.
25-year-old Tim Eves from Sittingbourne, Kent, received a Nintendo Wii Fit as a Christmas present. Excited to try it, he began using the console's fitness programs on Boxing Day. Family members later reported that he exercised intensely for several hours with the balance board and aerobic mini-games. That evening, after finishing a workout, he complained of chest pains and shortness of breath. His mother urged him to rest. Minutes later, he collapsed in the living room. Paramedics were called immediately. Despite resuscitation attempts, he was declared dead at the scene. An inquest found that Tim had suffered a sudden cardiac arrhythmia. Though rare, doctors noted that strenuous physical activity can sometimes trigger fatal heart irregularities in young adults.
I was literally about to guess that arrhythmia, the cardiac arrhythmia, means that there's, like they said, irregular heartbeat. So you know how the heart goes doom, doom, doom. So it can go doom, 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 like a whole bunch of different type of beats, and that's really bad for your heart, bro. Because it's like it doesn't know what it's doing, is working or is not working. Like, that's a bad thing to happen.
The case was widely reported in the UK as the first known death linked to Wii Fit activity. The Counter-Strike incident.
Insane.
On February 26th.
What do you think? I mean, you can't blame the company for that, really. That's just someone absolutely doing the most. And to be fair to this guy, I ain't gonna lie, the Wii Sports, I never had the Wii Fit specifically, but, you know, I could see myself addicted to Wii Sports. You know what I'm saying? Actually having the Wii and stuff and playing the bowling games, playing all the sports games, bro. Man, they don't have nothing like that no more. I mean, I know they have the Switch and stuff, but it's just not the same. But maybe that's just my nostalgia.
The Counter-Strike incident. On February 26, 2010, in Chongqing, China, two men in their 20s sat in an internet cafe playing Counter-Strike. They began to argue over strategy and insults in the game. Witnesses said the argument grew heated.
Don't say they started fighting
loud enough to attract attention across the room. One man stood up and pushed the other.
Oh my god.
Staff intervened and briefly separated them, but the fight continued outside the cafe.
Are you serious, bro? Over a fucking video game? Like, dude, I know shit gets intense and real arguments can happen on the game. I understand that, bro. Like, game, you get toxic, especially you talking online to someone. Just like that one incident, or even in person when you're teaming up with somebody. But bro, to take this outside and just start fighting, and obviously this is most likely going to escalate to some type of death. Like, that's insane, bro. Just put the fucking controller down.
The aggressor grabbed a knife and stabbed his opponent multiple times in the chest and abdomen. Bystanders called for help, but the victim collapsed on the pavement before paramedics arrived.
Are you fucking kidding me? It was that serious? It was that serious. Bro, there is absolutely nothing that serious about a fucking video game that you feel you need to stab somebody, bro. Like, are you, like, what are you gonna tell to this guy's family? Or what is this family gonna have to hear? His cause of death, just getting stabbed by his friend. Oh, why? They have beef, you know, prior things. A video game. Yo, oh my.
Bystanders called for help, but the victim collapsed on the pavement before paramedics arrived. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Police quickly arrested the attacker, who admitted to losing his temper.
Nigga said he will respond, wait a few minutes. That's not funny.
During the argument. The killing was widely reported in Chinese media as another example of internet cafe disputes turning deadly.
What's up with these cafes? Yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Yo, these cafes need to be banned or something, bro. I ain't gonna lie, because every single one we've seen where the gamers go in a cafe, they end up dying. Somebody end up dying.
Authorities use the case to highlight the growing problem of violence connected to online gaming in public space.
Either close the cafes down completely or take all the electronics out, bro. Like, it's gotta be one or the other.
GTA incident.
What?
On August 3rd, 2008, in Bangkok, Thailand, 18-year-old high school student Paul Watchino hailed a taxi late at night. When they reached his destination, instead of paying, he pulled a knife and attacked the 54-year-old driver. He stabbed him multiple times before dragging the body from the car and attempting to drive away. Witnesses quickly alerted police, who intercepted him only minutes later. He confessed that he had been playing Grand Theft Auto and wanted to know what it felt like to hijack a car in real life.
You are the definition of restarted. Oh my god, I can't believe that shit, bro. There's a couple of things I need to talk about here. So first of all, the guy's literally restarted, not mentally capable of having any fucking normal thoughts in his head. Second of all, bro, this is a reason why I can never do like these driving people around jobs, Uber and all that stuff. You know, respect people that do that or nothing, no disrespect, but it's like, for me, bro, the only way I would possibly feel safe, bro, I gotta have a strap with me or something, bro. Like, people are so fucking weird. And, you know, they're just in the back of your car. You're just driving, trying to look at the road and stuff. You don't know what people's intentions are. Like, or you gotta pick up drunk people and all that shit. Like, bro, yeah, I could never do something like that. But, dude, this guy literally said he wants to feel what it feels like in GTA. Like, what kind of sick joke is that, bro? You just took somebody's life because of fucking GTA, you dumb... I ain't even gonna say what I need to say, bro.
Investigators said he showed no signs of intoxication or mental illness.
No signs of intoxication, mental illness. I mean, that's definitely mental illness, though. He's ill. He's ill in some type of way.
Only fixation on the game. The teenager was charged with murder and robbery.
Bro.
He was convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. Thai authorities responded by temporarily pulling copies of Grand Theft Auto 4 from store shelves.
See, dumbasses like you get games banned and shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's why games are rated mature, so that dumbasses like you can't get it and freaking want to, you know, do it in real life. But this could happen to anybody, chat. You know what I'm saying? This could happen whether it's a young person, an older person and stuff. You know, games just comes with that risk. You know, when you play violent games like that, you can want to reenact it in real life or just see what it feels like, the rush and stuff. And that's a real thing that people get a high off of, you know, the exhilaration of doing something bad, doing something you shouldn't be doing, you know? It's just like kind of in our human nature, I guess, to go against the grain. But it's like at some point you gotta know, bro, like this is way too far. Like you're literally gonna take someone's life, you know, either whether you injure them or take someone's life, you're creating an event that they're gonna remember for the rest of their life regardless, or their families are gonna remember, you know? Like, and it's like all because of your stupid wants and theories about how you're gonna feel about something. Like, it's just so stupid, bro.
Evidence of dangerous influence. The crime received international coverage and became one of the first game-inspired homicides. The VR incident.
That's wild.
On December 21st,
VR?
2017, a 44-year-old man in Moscow, Russia, was at home using a virtual reality headset. He moved through his apartment.
Now, I could definitely believe something happened in VR because on my gaming channel, chat, I played VR games before, but every time I hop in VR, I get a headache. Like, dead ass. Like, I can play it for 30, 40 minutes. That's why I don't do a lot of VR games. And I want to because I really like playing VR. But I'm telling you, I get motion sickness or whatever it's called, but my head just starts hurting. So I can imagine if you have a VR on for a very, very long time and you're sensitive to it and you're like dehydrated and all that shit, bro, you could definitely fade out. You could definitely, you know, really hurt yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you fade out and he like hits the table in front of him, busts his head open or something.
While immersed in the game, unaware of obstacles around him. Investigators later determined that he stumbled while playing and crashed directly into a glass table. The
what did I just say,
shattered
bro?
The surface,
oh
slicing
my God.
deep into his body. Alone in the apartment, he was unable to call for help.
Wow.
Neighbors reported hearing a loud crash, but did not enter. Hours later, family members found him lying in the living room surrounded by broken glass. He had bled to death from severe wounds to his head and neck. Moscow authorities confirmed the accident, noting that it was one of the first recorded cases of a fatality linked directly to the use of a VR headset. The unusual circumstances attracted international attention, with headlines highlighting the hidden dangers of playing immersive games in unsafe environments. The World of Warcraft.
Nah, that's definitely, you know, a true fact right there. When you play with VRs and stuff, I mean, my VR literally makes me create enough space to play a game, but it still could be dangerous. Like when I was playing one time, like I accidentally smacked my desk or something. So there's definitely risk to that. And you definitely don't want to be playing around a glass table, dude. Like if you know you have a glass table, anything sharp around you, something that can be a hazard to you, you know, while you're playing VR, you should probably not play in that area, you know? And obviously it's not completely his fault, but I feel like, bro, you got to kind of think about that type of stuff before you put a VR on. But, you know, it's just unfortunate, man. All these are unfortunate.
On February 1st, 2007, a 26-year-old man walked into an internet cafe in Guangzhou, China. He sat down,
Guangzhou.
opened World of Warcraft.
Bro, why is it? Dude, that's such a cool ass name, bro.
Man walked into an internet cafe in Guangzhou.
Guangzhou. Like, bro, I would love to live in a city called Guangzhou. That shit sound tough.
Sat down, opened World of Warcraft, and began to play. Witnesses later said he barely spoke, only pausing for instant noodles or brief toilet breaks.
Bro.
Day 1 passed, then day 2. He remained in the same seat, eyes fixed on the screen.
Here we go again. Again with the cafe.
Fingers steady on the mouse. By the 3rd day, his movement slowed. At 10 a.m., he suddenly slumped forward onto the desk.
Wow.
Other customers thought he had fallen asleep. After several minutes without motion, staff went to check. They shook his shoulder, but he was limp. An ambulance was called. When paramedics arrived, he showed no pulse. Doctors at the nearest hospital declared him dead.
I wonder how long, because they said they walked past him and thought he was asleep and stuff. I wonder how long he was just like knocked out and he was still conscious, you know, before he went completely just dead.
He showed no pulse. Doctors at the nearest hospital declared him dead, citing cardiac arrest linked to extreme exhaustion and dehydration after 3 days of continuous gaming. The Halo incident. On October 20th, 2007.
Bro, Halo is one of the best games ever, bro. I be wanting to play it on my game channel, but I know you guys are not going to watch that shit. But bro, I used to play Halo all the time. And my memory's bad, so I can't just, you know, remember certain missions and stuff. But dude, I just remember playing like with my little sibling and stuff. Like we used to play co-op and that shit was lit. Especially like Halo 3, Halo Reach. Yeah. When was the last time I played Halo though? I guess the last Halo I played was like the Halo Infinite, but that was just like mostly based on multiplayer. I used to love the campaigns, like the storylines of it. You know?
Arlington, Ohio, 16-year-old Daniel Petrick argued with his parents after they confiscated his copy of Halo 3. They had locked the game in a safe, believing he had become dangerously addicted. While they were out, Daniel discovered where the key was hidden and retrieved both the game and his father's...
Bro. Why would they lock it? I mean, obviously they don't anticipate him going in there to get it, but bro, like, oh my gosh. How are you even leaving the key at home? You have a safe where you have a gun and stuff, and you're leaving the key in any type of access. This is how these kids end up getting these fucking guns and shit and going and being school shooters or doing whatever, bro. Their stupid ass parents make it so accessible. Like, yeah, they could probably think, oh, that we hit the key or whatever, but why are you not taking it with you or something? You're making sure that there's no possible way he could get a key for this. Like, it's just, oh my gosh, that's so dumb, bro. This is a parent's fault. Whatever's about to happen.
He confronted them in the living room. He asked them to close their eyes, saying he had a
surprise.
Close your eyes. Instead, he raised the pistol and fired. What? His mother, Susan, was killed instantly. His father, Mark, was shot in the head, but survived. Daniel attempted to frame his father by placing the gun in his hand.
Bro, that is a devil child right there. Holy crap, that's a devil child. Like, how do you even have the guts to do this, bro? Over a fucking video game, dude? Like,
paramedics arrived quickly and saved him. Daniel was...
He needs more than adoption center, bro. He needs just complete life in jail, bro.
Arrested.
There's no
and
other
later
fix
sentenced
for that.
to 23 years to life in prison. The case shocked the United States, raising questions about violent video games and teenage obsession. The Pokemon Cliff.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the video game's fault or whatever. Like, video games are not going to go away, bro. Like, they're obviously rated a certain thing, whether it's mature or whatever. So it's like they're already disclaiming that it's not for children, not for a teenager. Whatever age range that is targeted is not towards children, you know? So you can't really blame the company of the games or whatever. I feel like this is more like on the parents. Like, how are you raising your kids to be raging this bad and to feel this way towards you or to even have access to weapons or anything? This mostly falls on the parents, in my opinion, you know? Like, you can't blame the game for this.
September 7th, 2016, 2 men in Tokushima Prefecture, Japan, were playing Pokemon Go along a coastal path. The mobile game, which used GPS and augmented reality, had become a global sensation only weeks earlier. Players often followed the app into unfamiliar areas while chasing virtual creatures. That afternoon, the men, aged 21 and 22, walked together while staring at their phones. The trail narrowed near a steep drop overlooking the sea. Focused on the screen, they failed to notice the edge. Both fell from a height of more than 65 feet. Emergency responders were called immediately by nearby witnesses. One of the men was found alive but badly injured. The other was discovered at the base of the cliff, unresponsive. He was declared dead at the hospital a short time later. Japanese authorities urged players to pay more attention to their surroundings.
Yeah, not just players, just people in general. Like I said, it's just another example of just walking around, head stuck in your phone, not paying attention to your surroundings, bro. That's literally all what it boils down to.
The case received wide coverage in national and international media. The League of Legends incident. On November 14th...
The fact that it's called... I know it's LOLs for League of Legends, but LOL is crazy.
...in international media. The League of Legends incident. On November 14th, 2012... a 23-year-old man entered an internet cafe in Wuhan, China. He sat at a terminal, logged into League of Legends, and began to play. Staff said he had been a regular customer, sometimes staying for long sessions, but this time he remained in his seat for nearly 23 hours without
Here we go
pause.
again, bro.
Other patrons noticed him shifting uncomfortably, rubbing his chest, but he kept on playing. As the morning turned into afternoon, his body weakened. At 3 p.m., he suddenly slumped back in his chair. His arms fell to his side. The mouse slipped.
It's like at any point of these exhaustion points, at any point where you feel like complete shit doing this, does it ever just click in their head like, okay, maybe I should just go home. Maybe I should just stop playing. Maybe I should get some food. Maybe I should get some drink. Something. Like, how do they get themselves to this point where it's just like, there's no going back?
The attendant rushed over, calling his name, but he was unresponsive. Paramedics were summoned immediately. By the time they arrived, his pulse was faint and irregular. He was transported to a nearby hospital, where doctors attempted to resuscitate him. He was declared dead shortly afterward. Medical staff attributed the death to cardiac arrest brought on by fatigue, dehydration, and prolonged immobility.
It's literally the same thing every time when we have these cafe incidents. Like, they usually just go into cardiac arrest. And that makes sense. Like, all those symptoms, the dehydration, you know, not eating and stuff, that all leads to just your heart not being able to fucking function.
One of several such incidents reported in China during that period. The Lineage 2 incident. On March 29, 2005 in Shanghai, two friends, Qiu Chengwei and Zhu Kaoyuan, played the online game Lineage 2. Qiu loaned Zhu a powerful virtual sword, the Dragon Saber. Weeks later, Zhu sold it for 7,200 yuan without permission.
Is that a lot? 7,200 yuan?
Furious, Qiu demanded its return. When Zhu refused, Qiu reported the theft to police. At the time, Chinese law did not recognize virtual property as real, and no charges were filed. On the evening of March 29th, Qiu confronted Zhu in person. The argument escalated into violence. Qiu drew a knife and stabbed Zhu repeatedly. Zhu died from his wounds. Qiu was arrested at the scene. In June 2005, he was convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment with the possibility of parole. The killing became one of the first high-profile cases linking disputes over virtual items to real-world homicide.
That's crazy,
sparking
bro.
debate in China over the value and legal status of digital property.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, in this case, it's not as outrageous as the last one we did that we watched, where they were basically just fighting over the game in general. You know, like they were teammates fighting. This is a little different because it's like there's money involved. And, you know, in this case, a lot of money involved. Obviously, you can't sue, you can't do anything because the courts don't support the whole digital thing at this point in time. I don't know if it's still, I'm pretty sure it's not like that no more. But, you know, there was no way for him to get his money back without feeling the need to do it by force. And, you know, what I would just say in this case is like, bro, this shit sucks. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you're going to argue, go back and forth about it. But it's like, damn, is that 7,200 like worth you just being in prison? You know, going to jail forever? Like, just because you killed someone, like, is it worth it? You know, for 7,200? I don't think so. I don't think nothing's worth being in prison for life. So, you know, when it comes to that, I don't know. That's a tough situation though, because like anybody would be mad about that, you know? But
the Pokemon train. On August 23rd, 2016, in Tokushima Prefecture, Japan, a 39-year-old truck driver was driving on a rural road while playing Pokemon Go. Distracted by the game, he failed to see two women
Pokemon Go while you're fucking driving. This is not the most retarded thing ever, bro.
Crossing at a railway intersection.
Oh
the
my
truck
gosh.
struck both pedestrians. One
What
woman,
an idiot.
aged 72, died instantly. The
Wow,
second,
bro.
aged 60, was rushed to hospital with
Like, imagine you just hear your grandparents die. Not of natural causes or nothing, because some dumbass was playing Pokemon Go while he's driving, bro.
injuries and died shortly afterward. Witnesses said the driver never braked before impact. Police arrested the man at the scene. He admitted he had been playing Pokemon Go behind the wheel. Prosecutors
Wow.
charged him with dangerous driving resulting in death. The case made national headlines in Japan, where the government had...
I mean, he's gonna get charged for manslaughter, right? Like, literally murder people. Not the driving that led to murder. No, he murdered them, bro.
He issued public safety warnings about the game. Following the tragedy, Niantic, the game's developer, added new warnings for players not to use the app while operating vehicles. Despite the changes, the
crazy.
Tokushima crash remains one of the deadliest incidents linked to mobile gaming distraction.
The barbell incident.
Barbell.
It was the early hours of a Tuesday morning in St. Charles, Missouri. The gym was entirely silent. And
Now, I will say, bro, as a person that goes to the gym, Alpha Wolf here, watch out. Just kidding. Nah, but Chad, as somebody that goes to the gym, there is lots of hazards there, bro. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna get hurt, bro. Whether it's like straining your muscle or literally dropping free weights on you. That's why, like, if you're a beginner, bro, you shouldn't like go straight to free weights unless you have somebody to coach you at it, because yeah, a lot of things can go wrong, especially if you're already inherently weak. So yeah, it's just, you know, if you're going to the gym at all, Chad, you know what I'm saying? Be careful, bro. Be careful.
St. Charles, Missouri. The gym was entirely silent, and it was the kind of silent that only came when the world outside was asleep. At around 2:50 a.m., a young 23-year-old woman would be the only one in the gym finishing what should have been just another workout. She was a paramedic, the kind of person used to helping people, saving lives, and bringing the injured to safety. The woman would step into a Smith machine and rack weight onto its barbell, and then she began squatting.
Bro, okay, what could happen here, bro? If it's on a Smith machine, if you guys know what a Smith machine is, it's the barbell is on like a machine, so that, you know how people just free weight the barbell, they get it, take it back, and then go, right? Well, this one is on the machine, so it just stays with you. You know what I'm saying? As you're going up and down, which makes it so you can like go super low without worrying about, you know, if you can go back up or not, because the machine kind of assists you a little bit. But obviously, if you're doing the Smith machine, you're not lifting as much weight as actually on the bar. It's just a whole bunch of things, chat. Sorry, I'm a gym buff, so I'm not gonna keep yapping about this. But either way, the point that I was trying to make is that this is like safer than doing free weight. So I'm kind of confused on how you could hurt yourself. I mean, you could still drop the weight and stuff, but still, I don't know.
Weight onto its barbell. And then she began squatting it. The only issue was that the weight was too much for her. In the middle of her set, she began struggling. She tried hard to re-rack the weight, but no matter how hard she pushed, the bar wouldn't go up. Then, in an instant, her legs gave out. She lost balance and the heavy bar dropped with no spotter to catch her. The machine pinned her down, trapping her beneath the crushing weight. And unfortunately, since she was the only one in the gym, nobody was around to hear or see her struggle. For nearly half an hour, she laid pinned and crushed under the pressure of the weight before another gym member finally walked in and found her. But by then...
Bro, imagine just going to the gym and you just see somebody dead laying on the floor with freaking weights on them, bro. Oh my God, that would be so sad, bro. I would be like, what the hell? And also traumatizing. Because like that could have been you know what I'm saying? This is like definitely one of my worst fears, chat. But that's why like there's like some rules, you know, when you feel like so bad to the point where you're gonna like drop something. I don't use Smith machines that much. I know of them, but I don't use them that much. I don't know if some of them have like a, you know, a certain release point that you can alter, or if it just drops her down no matter what. I don't know. But in this case, obviously it just drops her down. I don't know if there was something she can do, like, you know, like maybe go forward, you know what I'm saying? Just like if she had it right here and she knows she can't give up, like just go forward like that so that the bar just drop that way. I don't know if she could have done that or whatever, but yeah, it's never worth the chat. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you're about to literally pass out, bro, just get away from the bar. Let it slam on the ground. Like, it doesn't matter, because that's way better than something like this, bro.
Half an hour, she laid pinned and crushed under the pressure of the weight before another gym member finally walked in and found her.
And also, it's just a lesson to not lift, you know, weight that you cannot lift, because shit like this could happen.
But by then, it was already too late. The member tried to help and called 911.
Damn, bro.
By the time paramedics arrived, they couldn't do anything for her. Her co-workers at the Christian hospital remembered her as vibrant, full of energy, and always lighting up the room with her smile. But that promise, that brightness, was extinguished in a freak accident that lasted only seconds.
That's crazy. It was a 23-year-old. Damn, she had her whole life ahead. 23-year-old paramedic. I feel like that's pretty young to be a paramedic too, chat. Like, I would think being there would require like a lot more years in college and stuff. Like, you know how it is for doctors and everything. But I feel like that's super young to become a paramedic and to have that type of career. So, damn, had the whole life, bro. Whole good life, and just, damn.
Accident that
just taken away.
Lasted only seconds. Even in a place meant for health and strength, danger can hide in plain sight.
Oh yeah, everything at the gym's dangerous.
Always remember to bring a partner. There's been a number of times where I've gotten trapped underneath weight without a spotter, but I was fortunate enough to have friendly passerbys help me out. So even if you don't have a partner to work out with, try to work out when the gym is active and has other people in it. May this woman's soul rest in peace.
And always another tip too is like to always make sure that you have like a safety thing. Like for bench press right there, you saw how speed like got stuck right here. Like I guess some benches can adjust or whatever, but if you're gonna do a certain weight, make sure that there's like a hook that you can put it on. Like the gym that I go to, like there's a hook on the bottom so that if you get stuck right here and you can't go all the way up, you can still put it on that hook right there. You know what I'm saying? And if it doesn't have that, then that means do not do weight that's way too heavy for you. You know what I'm saying? Your body, you could tell when you work out a lot, you could tell like what's a certain weight that you could do, certain reps and stuff, so you could just do it carefully. But if you're at a gym, public gym and stuff, and you know you're about to lift heavy, then ask someone to spot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ask someone to spot so they can help you once you get to this breaking point or whatever, and then they can just lift it up for you and help you do it, bro. But never just try to do it yourself, because dude, anything can happen, man.
Incident. 8
leg
years ago,
press
in Vadodara, India, a middle-aged man walked inside of a gym for what should have been a normal workout.
One of the best quad
exercises.
exercises.
One exercise to another until he finally settled in front of the leg press machine, a piece of equipment built to test and improve raw lower body strength.
Yep.
The man began.
You can use it for your quads, or you can use it for your glutes too, as well,
and
hamstring, a little bit hamstring,
until it was fully loaded with plates stacked heavy on both sides. Ahmad climbed in, positioned his back against the pad, and began pressing. At first, everything seemed fine. Surprisingly, as his legs pushed the machine, the estimated 1,000 to 1,400 pounds he was leg pressing actually moved. But then came the moment of truth, re-racking the load. He tried to lock the machine and began struggling. In an instant, his legs buckled. The massive weight came crashing down.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's such like a worst fear, dude. Chat, if you do leg presses, you know how tough that shit is, bro. Especially if you're really repping it and you're getting close to failure. You know how bad your fucking legs burn, bro. And you know like how it feels when you're just going up for that last one and you're trying to like rack it and stuff. Yeah, just imagine you going for that last one and then it just falls, like your legs buckle, bro. Because that can happen. Like your knees can literally give out and there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to do like a certain weight that you can only do. Don't just put a whole bunch of weight on that bitch just because you feel like you could do it for a couple reps and stuff. But if you're not used to it, you're not working your body up to it, you know, shit like this could happen, bro.
His left leg backwards with a sickening crack. The gym floor filled with screams as people rushed toward the mangled machine.
Oh my god.
The horror of the injury plain for everyone to see. But, by some miracle, the man survived. Nonetheless, the leg press still...
I mean, it was more like a broken leg. I feel like if the leg press would have collapsed with a little bit of his upper body, then that would have been catastrophic. But yeah, I mean, it still sucks that he broke his leg, but luckily it was just that.
Done its damage. It had left him with a horrible, gruesome injury, and a lesson that would haunt him forever. Don't ego lift. It's not worth your leg.
Hell no. No, that's a great lesson right there. Ego lifting is like the worst shit you could do and something that could literally dead ass kill you, but just kill you inside too, bro. Because you're always just trying to show off and do a whole bunch of weight and shit. No, bro. You know what I'm saying? It looks the best when you do weight and you can control that bitch. You know what I'm saying? The more you can control it, that's really your strength right there. Now when you're like... just trying to get it up there as much as possible. Like, no, that shit does not look cool. It looks stupid.
It's not worth your legs. Shake incident. It was the end.
Like, people literally be trying to squat like 400 pounds on the bar, and they be squatting like this, bro. They be squatting like this. Like, no, bro, what the hell is that? You're not lifting a weight. You gotta get down, bro. Ease. That's how you do it, bro. If you could do 400 pounds like that, then you're strong as fuck, boy.
New Year's Eve in Wales. An aspiring musician and fitness enthusiast had completed his day and decided to finish the night off by preparing a protein shake to drink. As you could guess, this was something he had done countless times before, but this time he would try something new, because after all, it was New Year's. His friend recommended that he add a specific powder into his shake, and excited to test it out, the man put a teaspoon of the powder into his drink.
Is that like pre-workout?
And began drinking it.
Bro, I hate like stuff that like pre-workout and stuff because I don't know, it makes me feel jittery, bro. I hate feeling like that. Like I get tingles in my hand and stuff. Anything with just like a high dose of caffeine, I don't like it.
And then nothing happened. The drink was just a little bitter, and so he sent a text message to his friend complaining about its taste, but other than that, he was fine. Then the man went to sleep to end his night. Unfortunately, he wouldn't live to see the next morning. You see, the powder the man put in his protein shake was just caffeine. But it wasn't the regulated kind that you'd find in your Starbucks coffee.
It's a high dose, huh?
Raw caffeine. He only put just a teaspoon of it into his drink, which doesn't necessarily sound that bad. That is, until you realize that one of those teaspoons was equivalent to 70 cans of Red Bull.
Oh my gosh. Holy heart failure right there, bro. Yeah, I'm scared to drink energy drinks in general, bro. I do not drink those shit, but bro, imagine getting a same dose as 70 cans of Red Bull, dude. Even one can of that shit can make you feel weird. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no wonder he didn't make it, bro.
And he just gulped it down.
That's insane.
The man shot up awake in a cold sweat. Almost immediately, his body began revolting. His heart was pounding violently, his vision became blurry, and his chest began constricting as if an anaconda was wrapped around him.
Jesus.
He raced to the bathroom.
My chest hurting.
Vomiting. His system had been overloaded with a stimulant so powerful that there was essentially nothing that could be done to stop it. Within seconds, he collapsed to the ground, hitting his head on the floor and going into cardiac arrest. Later on in the morning, his parents would find him cold on the floor and fall into a panic. They called 911 and paramedics rushed.
Like, how did he not know about like the contents of what he was drinking, bro? Like, bro, I'm sorry. I look at everything I, ingest, bro. Whether it's food, drinks and stuff, I look at the nutrition facts before I just go. I don't just get shit and just, especially if it's something new that I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna just put something new and not know what the hell it is exactly.
To his home, but there was nothing they could do. The cause of the tragedy was later revealed to be the simplicity of one mistake.
Wow.
The scoop he used to measure the caffeine powder was actually meant for protein, not for a fine, potent stimulant. This incident sparked up a huge controversy over the ethics of making something this dangerous.
Yeah, and honestly though, yeah, I was about to say that. Something like that shouldn't even freaking exist, bro. Like, that's actually so detrimental to human health. It's bad. I don't know why it even, like, why can somebody purchase that amount of fucking caffeine in one sitting, bro? Like, if anything, it should be sold in a tiny bag, maybe a little capsule or something. Bro, why is it available to purchase in that quantity, brother? That does not make any sense. Like, oh my gosh.
Accessible as it was. Many argued that powders like these shouldn't be sold on shelves if such a tiny mistake could come with.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's such a tiny mistake. Like, it's just a packet of something. It could look like some pre-workout or whatever, and somebody just gullible, or you know, you don't really pay attention too much, and then you just scoop it and boom, you're dead. Like, come on, that's gotta be not FDA approved. How did that get FDA approved?
The death grip incident. The death grip is a risky form of holding a barbell. When you pick up the weight for bench press, instead of wrapping your thumb around the bar and securing it in place,
gosh, yeah, I know.
Some gym goers remove their thumbs and place them.
Never can do this, bro. This is the stupidest shit you can do, bro. Make sure your thumb is over it and grip that shit, bro. Don't do this. That just because you want to look cool. Okay, guess what? When that bar falls and freaking breaks your skull, you ain't gonna be laughing no more, bro. It ain't gonna be cool no more. Like, come on. That don't even look cool, though. Like, I don't understand why people do that.
People say that this way of bench pressing helps them focus on pushing the weight more. Others claim that it makes their triceps activate.
No.
Nonetheless,
you know how you can make your triceps activate? By coming here and holding it right here for like a second or two and pushing up, bro. Hold it right here, second or two, and push it up. Keep those elbows in, not out, flailing out like this. You're gonna freaking hurt your shoulders. And you go focus on your tricep right there, bro. You want that? Do that. You know what I'm saying? Another tricep, you get the cables, and you can do supersets of these. You know what I'm saying? Get the cable like these. Boom. 2. Boom. Do a superset. Come over. Stretch your triceps. Boom. Boom. Like, or just do push-ups. You don't have no weights. You don't have no gym. Push-ups, bro. Get in a push-up. Hold it. Boom. Boom, like that. Come on, bro. There's so many ways to work your triceps, not no fucking dumbass grip on the barbell.
A stylistic way of benching that is extremely dangerous. And on a Monday, at a gym in Ankeny, Iowa, a 22-year-old student at Iowa State University would find this out the hard way. The weights clanged, the music thumped, and lifters pushed themselves through the grind. For this young man, the bench press was just another part of his normal routine. It was something that he had done countless times before.
Yeah.
That day,
that's countless times a bad habit right there.
He made sure to fully load the bar to 315 pounds in an attempt to beat his PR max.
Like,
With the plates 3 on each side, this was the kind of weight that demands respect. The man laid back.
That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, if you're gonna do that stupid death grip, at least do it with some, like, just a barbell or maybe 10 pound, whatever. Something that's light to you. You're going at 315, you about to do a death grip right now? Are you dead ass?
And grip the bar. But in order to really focus on doing his absolute best in this bench press, he switched his normal grip to a death grip, then unracked it.
Bro.
He took a deep breath, and for a moment, everything seemed normal. But before he could even attempt to bench the weight, in an instant, his grip gave way.
Oh my god.
The barbell slipped from his hands.
Oh no.
The full 315 pounds came crashing down across his jaw, neck, and chest with unstoppable force. The sound echoed through the gym
as
lifters rushed toward him. Massive internal injuries were already done. His spotter and bystanders fought to pull the bar off, but the damage was irreversible.
Yeah, when it comes to that, I feel like that's why I feel like a barbell bench press and maybe, I mean, I guess a squat. Yeah, it could like literally crush your body insides too. So the squat and a barbell bench press are like the two most dangerous things to do, but it could also be very safe if you just use the right technique, bro. In this case, he was not using the right technique at all, especially with grip, which is the #1 thing. You want to be able to grip the bar and not have it fall. You know what I'm saying? At least if you're gonna like not be able to do it, at least you still got the grip and you have the power to say, hey, someone come help me. So, hey, come on, I need help. Instead of like you literally dropping it, nobody can do nothing for you in that time, bro. Like, it's cooked.
Hospital, but despite everything doctors tried, he passed away from his injuries. His coach later said, he was lifting weights, something I did with him 1,000 times. But that's the cruel truth of the bench press. It doesn't take recklessness.
He said he had a coach? Hold on.
He passed away from his injuries. His coach later said, he was lifting weights, something I did with him 1,000 times.
Okay, if you did this 1,000 times and he's still using the stupid ass grip, then it's your fault that he died, bro. I'm dead at you're the worst coach ever. Come on, bro. Are you serious right now? Like, who teaches the death grip? That's the
cruel truth of the bench press. It doesn't take recklessness, only a second of misfortune. I hit the gym frequently, and I won't lie. I usually find myself using a death grip whenever I'm doing bench press.
Nah, don't do that, bro.
The truth is, no lift is worth your life. Always use a safe grip. Have a spotter, and never gamble with 300 pounds of steel. The gym should build you up, not bury you.
Exactly, bro.
May this man's soul rest in peace. The dumbbell incident.
Dumbbell?
It was a late evening inside a...
Yeah, I can imagine something happened with dumbbells, bro. Because like you could just drop them on you. And obviously depending on the weight of it, they're usually like made of metal and shit. Rubber. It's usually like a metal handle and then rubber weights, but still it's fucking heavy as shit.
Small gym in Medapally, Telangana.
Some dumbbells are all metal.
The clients had finished their training, the weights were racked, and the silence was broken only by the clink of iron as a 34-year-old trainer and owner cleaned up his facility. But then, out of nowhere, the calm was shattered. 3 men walked into the facility, and for some odd reason, an argument broke about between the two parties.
What the
as the feud reached a boiling point.
Like, how do you go in a gym and argue out of all places, bro? Oh my god, that's why I kind of hate like when people go in a gym and they have like groups of people and stuff. Because like, first of all, you just waste a whole bunch of time. You're not even working out, hogging machines and shit. And then like stuff like this can happen where you guys argue or whatever, or you have confrontation. Like, take that shit outside, bro. We trying to work out. Like, what the f y'all doing, bro?
Without warning, one of the men grabbed a heavy dumbbell and drove it into his face.
Like, what?
Instantly obliterating the man's head. The men began smashing the trainer's body with dumbbells, striking his chest again and again, with each blow being more devastating than the last. The trainer's body was left mangled on the ground, and the place that he had once built to help people improve their bodies and strength now became his final battleground.
Bro, like imagine seeing that at your gym, bro. I would never go back in my life. Like that's just bad juju right there. Like somebody literally got freaking slaughtered with the same weights that I'm trying to lift, bro. What the f?
Immediately after, but luckily they were caught by the gym's security camera.
Hell yeah, I hope they
disappeared into the night. The man was rushed to a nearby hospital, but the injuries were too severe. Doctors fought to save him, but he succumbed during treatment.
Damn,
Investigators believe the motive may have been personal, a suspected love affair, or twisted grudge. Something definitely not worth.
Nothing is ever that fucking serious where you have to smash somebody's fucking head and body in with some dumbbells, dude. Like what?
Something definitely not worth a human life. The tanning incident.
Tanning?
On a quiet Friday evening, a 39-year-old Indianapolis man walked into a Planet Fitness on Hardigan Street. He checked in, went about his routine, and got ready to leave after finishing everything he needed to finish.
Chat, any of you guys go to the gym, bro? If you do, comment which one do you go to, bro? I used to go to 24-hour fitness. Right now, I have a home gym now, so I'm just doing that, you know, in my garage for now. But when I was going to the gym, it was 24/7 because I would always like to go late, bro, because that's when I do everything late.
But before he left, he decided to make a quick stop in the gym's tanning bed to give his skin a nice finish. It was quick. The man hopped into the tanning bed and was blasted by tanning lights for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think I've been to a bougie gym with a damn tanning bench, and I wouldn't go in there anyway. That shit looks scary.
Left the gym, went back home, and slept happily ever after. Except that's not what happened. You see, the man's car was left parked in the gym's lot. It never left. And his family became extremely worried when he didn't return home for a day. One day turned into 3 days, and before you knew it, the truth finally came out. The man struggled with an addiction that I can't mention on YouTube. It's speculated that the man had consumed some of the substance before slipping into the tanning bed.
And
while the machine tanned his skin, he quickly realized that he had consumed too much of the illegal substance. He began convulsing while trying to escape the tanning.
I wonder what it is, dude. I can't make a correlation because I don't know exactly what chemicals and stuff happen from the tanning machine and then what coincides with it, you know, when it comes to drugs and stuff. Because it's obviously something that's not mixing well together. I don't know if it's like a skin infection that he's getting or something internal. I don't know.
But it would be to no avail. For 3 whole days, the man
made him not
stuck
breathe
inside with his body trapping the energy from the device's UV lights, causing him to become disfigured. Finally, a staff member of the Planet Fitness discovered his body locked inside of the tanning bed. He had been there since Friday, alone, silent, and hidden in plain sight.
He was just there the whole time?
Immediately called when they found him, and by the time police and investigators pieced it together, questions were everywhere. Why did it take so long for someone to find him?
That's what I'm saying.
Why did no alarms go off? And was it really just the substance he consumed that caused him to become stuck in the tanning bed?
Like, honestly, if they're gonna have a tanning machine there should be some type of safety protocol for that. Because, like, dude, how do you know everyone in there just is gonna responsibly use it or even know how to use it? Like, somebody could dead-eye get trapped in there or something. What if it's like somebody little kid or something just wanders around and gets in that? I don't know. Like, a whole bunch of dangerous things could happen. There should be at least like an alarm or something. Like, if it's getting used for too long, something should go off or the thing should just automatically open. I don't know. That just seems very careless of the owners or, you know, just the safety protocols of the whole place.
Substance he consumed that caused him to become stuck in the tanning bed? His mother later confirmed he had been struggling with an addiction, but she still remembered him as the kindest person with the softest heart. Bro. The gym is where you shape yourself into the best version of who you can be. It's a place that builds not only strength, but also health and happiness. But none of that matters without safety. Safety always comes first.
Facts.
Train with a spotter when you can. Pay attention to your muscles and joints.
Because a lot of people, you know, say they go to the gym and they're like, oh, well, no pain, no gain. You know what I'm saying? I got to feel pain today. I got to hurt myself today. Let's go. Or else I'm not working hard enough. And it's like, you know, it's true to some extent. Like, you have to work hard. You have to feel the pain and stuff. But you don't literally have to put yourself in pain, bro. Like, there's a way to work out where you work out, you get good muscle and everything, but you don't literally kill yourself. Like, dead ass. Because if you know, you're too worried about how much weight you're lifting or how big you look or blah, 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 then you can get severely hurt. And you can set your progress back months or even years or even decades, depending on how severe the injury is, all because you wanted to look cool or whatever, bro. Like, dude, go to the gym, do things right, stay safe, and over time you're gonna appreciate yourself because you did everything right and now you're in the best shape of your life.
I want you to slow down and never load more weight than you're truly ready to handle.
Facts.
With that being said,
don't be like this guy in the top. Oh my god, I seen him on the bottom right. His name's like El Campeon or whatever, and he freaking literally lifts the most weight and doesn't do any range of motion. Right here, chat, it looks like he's lifting this. No, he's literally like, bro, his legs are going like this, bro. Like that. Like, he's not lifting nothing, bro.
Have a happy day.
Oh my gosh.
The asphyxiation gooning incident on June 14th.
Bro, we got exquisite ass names for this shit. Asphyxiation. Asphyxi. Nigga, he just going to die. Okay, no. Okay, let's take this serious though. Come on, man.
The asphyxiation gooning incident on June 14th, 1994. A 38-year-old man left his small home in Asheville, North Carolina, telling his family he was going for an evening walk to clear his mind. He often visited a wooded area behind a local park when he wanted privacy.
So he visited the wooded area and pulled out his wood? That's what you're telling me? The fuck going on, boy?
The route was familiar enough that no one thought much of it. Clad in casual outdoor clothing and carrying a small backpack, he walked into the tree line just before sunset, disappearing into the dense, quiet forest. As daylight faded, he ventured farther off the main path than usual, eventually stopping in a secluded clearing about 50 yards from the trail. He set down his backpack, removed several personal items, and began preparing an...
This nigga packed a bag, bro. This nigga packed a bag. What the fuck he's doing with this rope, though? First of all, what is you doing with that? Anyways, you got the baby on and shit. You packed the whole bag, went in the woods, and pulled out your wood, bro. I don't even know what's about to happen right now. Like, how? Like, what? You trying to do some adventurous going in? Like, what the fuck?
And began preparing an arrangement using a rope tied between two sturdy trees. The setup appeared practiced, done with deliberate care, suggesting this was not the first time he had been in this spot or
definitely
engaged
not
in this ritual. As night deepened, the man engaged in a sequence that involved controlled pressure and suspended positioning. At some point during the process, however, he shifted his weight incorrectly or misjudged the timing. The rope system, meant to allow controlled release, failed to do so once he lost consciousness. The moment he blacked out, his body became completely unsupported. Without the ability to adjust himself or break free, he remained suspended in a kneeling position, slumped forward and unable to breathe. Hours passed, and the forest remained quiet and undisturbed.
So you telling me that this nigga did some freak ass, like he on some freak ass shit where he holds himself by his neck or something and start going in my... What the fuck is wrong with you? Yo, that I don't even know to feel bad or not, bro. Cause like, what? You put a rope between two trees, basically, you know, H-word yourself, not gonna say, and going like, what the fuck is the point of that, bro? Like, you want to feel some pain, like pain turns you on. I know that there's lots of kinks and stuff, so I'm not gonna act oblivious to that, but it's like, my nigga, you borderline H-wording yourself. That's what it is.
Undisturbed. The next afternoon on June 15th, a group of hikers walked along the same trail, taking advantage of the warm weather. About half an hour into the hike, one of them noticed something odd. When they moved closer and saw the unmoving posture of the kneeling figure, they realized something was wrong. They immediately called 911. When paramedics arrived, they confirmed he had been dead for many hours. Investigators recognized the pattern as a classic case of accidental death during a private high-risk solitary act of gooning. The Goonside incident on January 8th.
It's like, bro, like, I just don't understand, bro. Like, I get it, niggas gotta roll one out sometime. You going in the forest for this shit? You gotta get adventurous, and on top of that, you gotta do some dangerous ass shit just to pull your wiener. I say this with the most sincerity of all times. Get your freak asses on, man. Unless you want to end up like these motherfuckers, man.
Goonside incident. On January 8th, 2025, a 27-year-old man named Nautica Malone drove his sedan into the drive-through lane.
Oh, this is a thing. Yo, I actually talked about this in a video before, bro. Yeah, this is definitely like, this is definitely top 2 worst things that happen, you know what I'm saying? In terms of like gooning literally in public and it getting broadcasted to literally everybody and then get super embarrassed by it and, you know what happened next.
Through lane of Bikini Beans Giants Coffee in Tempe, Arizona, just after 7 a.m. He had left home unusually early that morning, according to his family, saying he needed fresh air and a change of scenery. As he approached the service window, a barista preparing for the morning rush noticed him rolling forward at a slow, measured pace. When he reached the window, she greeted him, expecting a routine order. But within seconds, she realized Nautica had no pants on. She pulled out her phone and began recording the encounter, capturing the man's quiet, vacant expression as he sat behind the wheel. The video lasted only a few seconds before the car eased forward and exited the lane. The clip was shared privately at first, circulating among co-workers, but by late afternoon, it had been forwarded again and again until someone uploaded it to social media. Within hours, it was widely circulating across multiple platforms, gathering captions, jokes, and commentary. Over the next 2 days, Malone withdrew from friends and family. According to relatives, he stayed mostly in his room, leaving only briefly to pick up mail or get water. He ignored calls from co-workers, disabled...
Why the fuck is Dead calling, bro? Yo, who the fuck is Dead, bro?
From co-workers, disabled several of his social media accounts, and stopped responding to messages. His brother later told reporters that the shame and public attention seemed to overwhelm him almost instantly. And on the morning of January 11th, Malone left home quietly. He drove west toward Goodyear, Arizona, taking a long, looping route along the highway, avoiding busier exits. At some point during the drive, he called his brother, but the call went unanswered. When the brother returned the call minutes later, it rang without response. Just after 3 p.m., a passerby walking through a quiet parking area near a small business park noticed a black sedan parked at an odd angle beneath a tree. The engine was off, and the driver inside appeared completely still. The passerby approached slowly and tapped on the window, but there was no movement. Alarmed, they dialed 911 and reported an unresponsive person in a vehicle. Police and paramedics arrived.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Nigga like me, I'm not checking that car, dude. I ain't checking our car for the reasons that, like, it could just be some weird ass serial killer or something could be going on. Now, I would probably call that one if, you know what I'm saying, looks sus and stuff, but ain't no way I'm walking up to that car, bro. Ain't no way.
Police and paramedics arrived within minutes. After forcing the door open, responders determined Malone had died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, with the estimated time of death several hours earlier. A firearm was recovered inside the vehicle. On his phone, officers found a short message addressed to his family, written earlier that morning, apologizing for the pain he felt he had caused them.
Damn, bro. See, like, you know, the situation was gross because, like, you know what I'm saying, he was fucking driving and drive through with his whole, like, pants off and shit. It's like, I know people are probably gonna feel different ways about that. Well, oh, you can't drive, you know, with no pants, you can't drive with no underwear. Like, I feel like wearing underwear is one thing, but, like, dude, literally being completely naked and driving, like, come on, there's something wrong with you, bro. There's something wrong with you, dog. Like, ain't no way I'm hopping in my car butt booty naked, my nigga. Like, first of all, that's not comfortable. On top of that, that's weird as fuck. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, and then I think, like, he was actually, you know what I'm saying, like, doing stuff. So yeah, it's super embarrassing, but you could feel sentimental for this part, because anytime someone goes viral on the internet, especially for something, you know, weird like this, and then they get labeled stuff, and obviously family gets dragged into it and everything, and it turns into a real complicated situation into which, you know, it could drive people to want to commit S-word, you know? So I definitely, like, feel sentimental for that part, and, you know, feel bad and stuff, but it's like, you just can't be doing this stuff, bro. It's weird. It's weird. You can't do stuff like this and not expect it to get exposed, for real.
The falling Gooner incident. On March 18th, 2011, a 32-year-old man returned to his small Milwaukee studio apartment after a long work shift. He dropped his keys on the counter, turned on his TV for background noise, and headed straight for the bathroom. A few minutes later, he decided he wanted to goon. He brought a small stool from the living room and placed it beside the bathtub. He
Okay, my nigga, what is the stool for? Like, what is we doing? Is this another dangerous ritual, my nigga? Like, hey, is you gonna start choking yourself while you choking the chicken, my nigga? Like, what is it?
Placed it beside the bathtub. He propped his phone upright against a shampoo bottle, playing a video he wanted to goon to. Based on the coroner's office reconstruction, he climbed onto the small stool so he could goon in a certain position, but the stool wasn't stable on the slippery bathroom tiles. While he was in action, the stool suddenly slid out from under him. He lost his...
I can't believe he really drew his little penis, bro. Like, I don't need to be seeing that, man. You could have just did the hand motion. We don't need the little penis, man. But yeah, I already know where this is gonna go. Like, what the fuck? I just don't get it, bro. I know niggas want to switch it up sometimes, make it interesting, bro. We on a stool, man. You got the phone propped up and shit. Like, they just watch it, do it like a regular person, man.
He slid out from under him. He lost his balance instantly. He fell backward, hitting his head hard on the edge of the bathtub, and was knocked unconscious immediately. With no one else in the apartment to help him, he stayed on the floor without ever waking up. When he didn't show up for work the next morning, his co-workers requested a welfare check. The landlord entered the apartment and found the scene unchanged. The phone still playing, the stool overturned, and the man lying on the bathroom floor where he had fallen. Paramedics were called to the scene, and they confirmed he had died from a head injury caused by the fall.
Hell yeah. I mean, anything thing where you fucking smacking your head at great force into something, I mean, that's automatic skull damage, and that travels to your brain moves around a little bit, and then boom, you could just be out. I guess worse, or at the least, you know, be in a coma or something, or just have permanent brain damage, or your skull was just broken or something. But yeah, like that bathtub, especially the corners of bathtubs and shit, they be really kind of not sharp, but they're, you know, sharp enough to where if you slam your head in the right angle and shit, that shit will fucking puncture your skull, bro. Especially he was on top of a stool, chat. So imagine you're on top of a stool and you're falling, you know, he's probably a little on the taller side, so you're taller, you fall more, the more force and shit, and then going straight on your head too. Oh hell no.
Ladder incident on June 11th, 2019, a 38-year-old man in rural Oregon carried an aluminum ladder behind his house and placed it against a tall pine tree at the edge of his property. He often climbed the tree to get cell reception, and neighbors later reported that he had a habit of spending long periods alone outdoors. That afternoon, he set up the ladder in a secluded spot and climbed roughly 15 feet up, settling on a sturdy branch. Yo,
what's up with these niggas, man? Nah, that ass, bro. You don't gotta be on wood to pull out your wood. What's up with these niggas? What's up? No. Okay. Yeah, the first nigga and this nigga pissed me off, bro, because ain't no way, bro. You climb up to the top of the tree. You know, I used to say that little song in elementary school, just tease you and your little crush or whatever. You're like, something sitting in a tree. KISSING. Nah, these niggas took it serious, bro. They took it to the heart, bro. And instead of being what they crushed, they just what they did, bro. Get your freak ass on, man.
Sturdy branch. He began engaging in gooning while seated on the branch, believing he was out of sight and in complete solitude. As the minutes passed, he shifted his weight repeatedly, bracing his foot against the tree trunk while using the other to maintain balance. The branch beneath him was stable, but the ladder he had climbed was not properly secured. At some point during his activity, his movement caused the ladder to tilt backward. Startled, he reached instinctively toward it, losing his balance on the branch in the process.
Like, this is just so stupid, bro. Like, for what? Nigga want a dangerous gone, bro. Like,
within seconds, he tumbled together with the ladder down the slope beneath the tree, striking the ground chest first. A hiker on a nearby trail heard the crash and discovered him unconscious beside the flattened ladder.
With his meat out, bro.
Services were called immediately, but despite resuscitation efforts, he was pronounced dead at the scene from blunt force trauma to the thorax, including multiple fractured ribs and cardiac injury. During the investigation,
falling straight on the chest like that, it's not good.
Police found his phone, open browser tabs, and physical evidence confirming he had been engaging in solitary sexual activity moments before the fall.
That's embarrassing.
The D-cut incident.
That's literally so embarrassing. It's like, bro, yes, this is accident, not meant to happen. I mean, all these were pretty much accidents, except, you know, the second one where he took his own life. But like, most of these are accidents that happen because they're fucking weirdly goning, bro. Are just doing weird shit. Like, it don't even make no sense, dude.
The D-cut incident. On July 14th, 2016, a 45-year-old man returned to his small apartment in Eastern Europe after a day of running errands. He set down his bags, turned on a small radio for background noise, and made his way to the bedroom. He retrieved a homemade metal device he had been experimenting with and brought it to the bed, arranging it carefully for use. Based on investigators' reconstruction, he attempted to use the device while sitting on the edge of the bed. The device was unstable, and one of the metal parts suddenly snapped under pressure. The broken piece caused a deep cut to his groin. He tried to stop the bleeding, but the wound was severe and involved a major blood vessel. Alone in the apartment, he was unable to get help or call emergency services.
My dick bleeding, cuz. What you mean my dick bleeding?
Within minutes.
I ain't gonna lie, if I got a text like that from my homies or whatever, I'm just gonna say, hey, it is what it is, bro. Just chop it off all the way, man.
He lost consciousness due to rapid blood loss.
Oh my
When he didn't respond to friends who visited later that evening, a welfare check was requested. Authorities entered the apartment and found the scene unchanged. The device broken, and the man lying unconscious on the bed where he had been attempting to use the device.
Bro, we watched the video about a guy that's in the paramedics, bro. What was the channel called? And he was just describing the most weirdest things that he's had, or making a skit on it that he's had to like see while being a paramedic and shit. And it's so crazy, bro. Like, just imagine this, just being a paramedic, bro. You gotta walk into niggas' houses and they dick cut off, bro. The cause of death, dick cut. Are we dead ass, son?
The device. Paramedics confirmed that he had died from hemorrhagic shock caused by the laceration. The obsessed gooner incident. On October 14th, 2020, a 33-year-old man woke up in his small apartment in the city. His nights had become sleepless, spent scrolling through videos and live streams of a single adult performer he believed was secretly communicating with him. To him, every post, every glance at the camera was a coded message meant only for him. Investigators later found that
I mean, to be honest, like, every single one of these guys on here are, you know, classified weirdos for sure. I I would say probably the least weird thing was the guy in the stool in the bathroom. It's still weird, but it didn't seem like he was doing something absolutely crazy. The first nigga's crazy, second is crazy, and then the one that climbing the tree is crazy, and the one that cut it there, that was kind of an accident too. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this kind of summarizes like the weirdo gooner activity that be happening, bro. The reason like things like OnlyFans exist and all that shit, because like niggas be really getting obsessed with some virtual things, or it could be real people, but they, you know, using bots and shit to respond, or like in this case, this guy just thinks everything's for him. He thinks the fucking world revolves around him, and he's just so obsessed with this girl or whatever, and yeah, it's gonna cause him to do some very stupid things, I'm sure.
He had stopped going to work, cut of his friends and family, and had isolated himself almost entirely. Notes, screenshots, and printed messages littered his apartment, all meticulously annotated with interpretations of the performer's signals. Over time, his fixation had escalated. He convinced himself that he needed to meet her in person to prove his loyalty. That morning, he packed a backpack with essentials, including a handwritten letter and several printed screenshots, and left his apartment. He traveled by public transit to the city where he believed she was filming, following directions pieced together from interviews and online posts. For hours, he wandered near the area, checking security cameras and rehearsing what he would say. He refused to contact anyone for help, believing that any interference would ruin everything. As evening approached, he attempted to climb a fire escape to get a closer look at the studio where he believed she was working. Surveillance footage later showed him pause midway, hesitate, then lose his footing. Emergency responders arrived too late. He was already dead. The medical examiner ruled the death an accidental fall.
Yo, I thought it was something was gonna happen where he like saw a girl that looked like, you know, the girl that he thinks it is, and then he ends up getting killed or something. Damn, he literally just fell climbing up something. That's crazy.
Death an accidental fall, noting that exhaustion, sleep deprivation, and distraction from obsessive fixation had contributed to his fall. Law enforcement later confirmed that the adult performer had no knowledge of his existence, had never communicated with him, and played no role in the accident.
That's crazy, bro. That's actually fucking insane. Yeah, he died from basically exhaustion and stuff, but that was due to being so fucking obsessed with finding someone and being obsessed with Goonie in general, bro. Now there is a part 2, chat. If you guys like this part 1, maybe we could do a part 2, but this was weird, man. But hey, you know, there ain't nothing too wrong with just Goonie in the first place. I don't recommend it, but it's just like, don't be fucking weirdos like this. Like, Jesus, just be normal, bro. Just be normal. Just be normal. But yeah, chat. Let me know what else is read to, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.